right that had dropped. But you can see they haven't been able to salvage anything much more than an MP7 at the moment. So bomb will explode, but at this point, if Dignitas can find some exit kills, that would be fantastic.
They're in a good place for it too, actually. I didn't know there was music on that map, to be fair, at that point. I got really confused then. And looking at this, 3 players stay alive for Nip, and no other recovered rifles. Or any recovered rifles, should I say. That's
actually 3 rounds in a row now. So NIP showing that they do have what it takes to compete here. At least it was a 4-0 deficit to Dignitas to begin with, but fighting back now. And you can see the money for the young Danes still hasn't really stabilised. Not a single orb or kit once again. They really do need to find a round here and make it 2, to be honest, to actually stabilise things. But Forest trying the old wallbang once again. Not going to amount to anything at the moment.
Absolutely not. Now, a lot quicker presence from Get Right out towards B. And look at that play. MSL gets punished this time. He was doing so well prior to that, but again, NIP going to get the early man advantage. Freiburg had been handing those across to Nip earlier, but now Get Right fancies a little bit of the attention back towards himself. But that bomb yet to be moved. Still not yet the plan, but I like this from Tensky a little bit further up, trying to switch it up on the A site.
Well, they lost the first man once again. We can see whether Dignitas will be going for an aggressive face and try and get the man disadvantage back. As NIP has slowed it right down now, just biding their time. You can see how they've bled the CTs out here. Only have 1 smoke to work with and a couple of flashbangs. That's about it. And potentially he's going back towards that inside take line. And it's been so effective for them so far. Freiburg, he's getting 3 or 4 kills every single time. Why not? Here's a reaction play from Conflict. Gets 1. Can he make it 2? He does. Still alive here, but Get Right finally takes him down. It's going to be a 3-on-3. And once again, NIP is slowing things down. Going to see where the CTs lie as they enter the bomb site here.
That flash caught all 3 of them. That was so deadly then, but still NIP just be pouring in. There is 1 man on the site so close here. Kievi lays in wait, but Freiburg finds him. What a critical frag at this point, as they do need to start getting that bomb down and quickly. But Tensky was already rotated. Rubino is not far away. This is still very possible for Dignitas here in this 2v3. Maybe not so much now, as Get Right does find Tensky. And now, just caught between the trains, Pitt joins in on it.
Yeah, Config there. That was the reaction we were looking for, and what a reaction it was. Did find 2 stellar kills, but it wasn't quite enough. That inside execution proving to be a thorn in Dignitas' side here. Unable to hold it off, as Kiabi did what he could from the spools, but Freiburg once again taking him down. He's having a great game so far. He's on 9 frags, actually top fragging for NIP. It's only Config that's above him. So we're going to round number 9 now. It's going to be yet another eco for Dignitas, and really impressive showing from NIP in these latter rounds. Actually got 4 in a row now, and there's kills flying in. And Tensky does take down Pitt as a response, but the bomb should be planted momentarily.
Yeah, very much so. Exist going to find any players there who are just dropping down by pop, and Tensky is the last one standing with the Deagle. Not long for this well, but yeah. The one thing I'm thoroughly impressed with is on these buy rounds, their plays towards B. They've been absolutely stellar. We haven't seen much of a choreographed piece towards A on full gun rounds.
Well, this is the thing, that they've been quite effective at getting this first man pick, and when you get that pick, it's very unlikely the CT's actually going to leave 2 players in towards B at that stage. You normally, when you've lost a pick towards outside, you need to get back them up. You can't allow you to be at the man deficit, where that's normally the favourite side, to be fair. So it's a very good mid-round calls coming in from NIP so far, and it seems like they're actually playing these T rounds, the main gun rounds, perfectly. Like, the Forest Orb hasn't had to have too much of effect. It's been all down to these simple plays towards the inside side. Freiburg doing his job again, finally, with his entry picks, and it's been working really well for them. But finally, Dignitas, after hitting the maximum loss bonus, they do get the AWP back onto Rubino. So this is where things potentially get slightly interesting again.
Yeah, Rubino was the one who got that beautiful 3K in that first round, actually picking up the players just where he was looking. With the boost coming out, that was a little bit suspect. But yeah, that was the first gun round that went into Dignitas' favour. However, off the back of that, NIP have looked substantially stronger. But let's see if there's going to be a factor coming into this one. If Nip actually do go for A, it's going to be one of the first rounds they've really gone for on a full buy, barring that first round. So this is like almost a rinse and repeat, I guess, of that first buy-up if they do go here. But still, Kiebi's holding down Ivy, Forest, Get Right, and Exist all heading that way. This could be trouble. But then again,
still yet to use a single utility in terms of smoke. 5 for them so far. Let's try to get some sort of map control here. Rubino's coming back to Ivy. That's where 3 players are going to be live right now. Going for that first face. Somehow doesn't hit that shot. I thought he had that all day long. I think he took Get Right down to 25 HP. So there it is. And that's going to slow them down a little bit at least. As you can see, Kiabi lying in wait there. That's actually a really nice play. And they decide to commit to this.
Kiabi has to be so ready. There was a step that he's going to have to hear it, and he's got to know they're coming through, and they don't check it. They turn completely, and he does at least get 1 out of that, leaving 2 of the players pouring through. Forrest and now Pitt going to try and pincer in, but Pitt's a little late to the punch, and now he's just last man standing, and timing is not on his side as Dignitas just close out both of the sides of that attack. and well controlled in the end. Again, the AWP coming through, Kiebi having a lovely time of it down by Ivy, just sitting there so well. I'm surprised no one checked it, to be fair.
It's one of those things, right? Like the time's ticking away, and you've just been tagged as presence from the AWP player. You're right, they should be checking it, but he only got one, and that's when the round started to get a little bit crazy for them. So Dignitas win the round, but they did lose the AWP. It's going to be Config on the Mag 7, Rubino back on an M4. So NIP still 5-5. This would be a great round to win. This would be a full reset coming for Dignitas, and that's going to help. The new boy Pitt taking down Convicts a much faster round, and Freiberg emphatically making his way towards Ivy. It's Rubino to take him down.
Trying to kick up the pace here in IP, and so far it's going okay. A bit of a one-for-one trade out, but they are out on the bomb side. Tensky's super close, though, as is Kiebi, but Pitt wants to get into this, and he's going to find Tensky. Big plays from him, and again delivering. That's what you want to see from Pitt coming into this one, these big important kills. But now, the last two players, we know what MSL did before, and my God, do not dare let him do this again in IP. Got 2 players left, a bomb plant. They should be able to work this one out. But then again, MSL says no, it's down to a 1v1. Rubino up against Forrest. Forrest knows where he is, he's got the plant. And now, seconds ticking. He takes the shot and he gets it. A big round for NIP, but again, MSL, he's closing these gaps so often.
That was the nightmare round for Dig to lose, as well as I mentioned. That's the full reset coming in after that 5-round deficit. It's Pitt, the new boy I mentioned, going on a very fast round there, getting in, finding 3 headshots with the AK, just opening that bomb site by himself, and Forrest with a nice, calm clutch there. Didn't really have to work too hard for it. You could see the CT panicking a little bit. Low HP, didn't really have full control of the situation, and it's a massive round for them to win. You can see the CT's now just with 5.7s and a USP. That's about all they've got to work with. Not going to be rushing inside or anything this time. They're going to be just holding back on more of a standard setup. NIP will be well aware of the financial situation and just making their way towards inside once again.
Yep. Is this going to be the forefront player there? But Kievi's got himself to the spot again. Oh, the timing on it. He thought maybe there'd be a boost above the box or someone hopping up and over. Not the case. Exist is going to walk in and say hello to the rest of them, as this is going to be a very clean one, I can imagine. Bomb is down. Densky getting a little closer than maybe they'd like, but doesn't just get the kill then, but not too much to worry about. He was the player with the UMP, so I can imagine Exist was always willing to bite the bullet if required, and Freiberg does shut it out. So for a T side thus far, actually quite impressive.
For an NIP T side, yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's just, I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this one, but they've been very regimented so far. It's actually been quite an impressive performance in terms of individual skills. Some players, Pitt showing up with some great entry frags, Freiberg having a great showing as well. It's been a rare, well, it's been a long time since we've seen him top fragging for an IP, and he's doing it right now. 7 plays 5. It's going to be a single AWP on Rubino, glass cannon, and Tensky on a scout. Convict's got a Mag 7. You can feel this game falling out of control for Dignitas here. Forrest once again going for those wall bangs. Doesn't land any damage so far. I don't think that's worked out for him at all at the moment. It's just the idea of that shooting towards connector and finding players that are running out and hopefully doing a little bit of damage. If you headshot them, you can take them down. Rubino does spot a player towards Ivy, but missing the shot once again. No leg this time.
This is a position I haven't seen Dignitas in with this current roster in a little while, where they're not, causing the upset when they're the ones now on the receiving end. Curious to see how mentally they deal with this, because MSL is the guy at the forefront who does massive amounts of impact as well. So kind of a very interesting game between these two. I want to see how well they play out the rest of this.
Now they've established as a scout, they can almost assume the utility will be very low for Dignitas, right? So why not just go back to that inside play again? It's worked out so successfully before. This time you're having an even bigger upper hand, because you know the money's weak, and just having a look at the CT equipment, they've got 1 flashbang remaining. So 1 kit, 1 flashbang, do the same inside take. It's worked so effectively before. It's the perfect call right now.
This is I guess, kind of insight that we don't normally see from NIP, or the NIP of just the last couple of months when they did play. So this is a great addition, whether it's threat or just a renewed attitude, who knows, but thus far it's going well. So the bomb is going to go down, 5v5, just as the trades come in. Tensky found Pitt, and now Get Right did respond. So now you can see the push-up comes from MSL, and gets a bit of damage towards Exist, but not enough to take him down. Config comes in and finds we're down to 3. Suddenly it's not looking so good, but Forrest and Freiberg coming up with what they need. But now, on the rotate, Get Right doing what he does best, and actually Config's checking it. 23 HP, but
you can't justify staying for too long there, to be honest. It's going to be Get Right to finish this off. Coming for an easy frag in the back onto Config, and just Rubino with the USP can't really do much. They fought all they could. They just didn't have the equipment or the weapons to actually take them down there. So, unfortunately for them, they will be on to another force buy here. We enter round number 14. You can see them going for upgraded Pistols, CZs, Scouts, and you assume this round going in favour of NIP once again. You can see them reading the situation quite effectively as well. It's going to be 2 SMGs that can act as a recon player, getting in there first, not getting dropped to the Pistols, but a double Scout set up for Dignitas, in fact. So, interesting to see where they decide to go with this. It'll be a very fast play towards outside once again.
Certainly could be. Molly's going to force a little bit of an adjustment from Config there. He's going to have to get himself hopping in between the trains, a little bit of a fluff of the lines, but Forrest still will pick up the frag with the rifle tap. Beautiful. Follow up, just the one tap towards Rubinho. As, to be fair, they're making these kills look easy. Bearing in mind there is upgraded armor, but there's the response. Suddenly Dignitas come alive. We're in a 2v2, but far from ideal as the bomb will be put down. I can imagine towards B as they're already slipping through, but Dignitas aren't fully aware of this just yet. Bikiebi's in a perfect position to make this very awkward as Get Right is a million miles away.
Kiabi and Tensky just have a Scout and a Mac 10 to work with, but it is a 2-on-2 situation. Forrest inside of the bomb right now, but Kiabi actually in a really advantageous position in terms of where he is compared to Forrest. Just needs to hold there and wait for the plant to come in, and that's a free kill. Fortunately for Forrest, Get Right's on the other side of the map, so this could be devastating. I don't really think he can justify planting right now. It would be an absolute nightmare for him to be dropped.
Get Right just being given a little bit of time to work with, maybe to find out some information, maybe to spot out a player, ideally take down one of the two. But time is going to be running out very shortly, and as you said, Kiebi in a perfect position to really cause some havoc with this.
I can see 30 seconds remaining. Get Right's trying to find anything he can with this. Forrest decides to move now. Looking like he'll be going for the safe plant towards connector. He's hoping Get Right can rotate in. It's actually working out perfectly because Kiabi obviously in the upper ramp position. Won't be expecting his unorthodox plant. It's a really sloppy exchange. But Forrest, that's much better. Really clean headshot on the Kiabi to finish things off. And that's really nice controlled teamwork there. They had a plan. They stuck to it. Get Right coming towards outside. He was going to come into connector when that default plan was towards the connector area as well. It looked really nice setup for them. And Get Right, with Forrest, that really nice shot to finish things off as well. A really nice, clean and effective 2-on-2. So we go into the final round. It's going to be another force buy, obviously, for Team Dignitas, Famases, Scouts and Deagles and CZs. And NIP potentially going to double figures here in the first half.
Certainly could be, but MSL going to switch up the pace and it pays off. Exist falls and the trading does eventually equate into favour towards Dignitas. They can back away comfortably here. Get Right could not trade them out, sadly, as Pitt yet to take control of Pop as he has been doing consistently, but this time he's got the bomb, so there was a difference in regard to that, but still, Get Right desperately waiting to see if he can find any information as Rubinho's starting to look for a little bit himself. And even on these just kind of shoddy buys, I guess, for Dignitas, it's certainly not a bad start.
Well, this is the thing, like when you've got such little weaponry and equipment, someone needs to do something. MSL pushing towards inside, that's perfect. Gets a first kill onto Exist, at least stops any execute potential that NIP had in mind at the start of the round. You can see them making their way back towards the inside bomb site. I'd be surprised we saw that same execute coming in again. Just going to be Freiberg towards the main entrance of outside. Did spot Rubino. He's changed his position up. They're kind of hoping that Freiberg can find one kill out here and just pull one of the CTs out of the inside bomb site before they execute.
He actually might... We'll see. Molly's going to go down. I don't think that's going to cause any problem for Config so far. So Freiberg making a lot of noise. He will find Tensky, but right above him is Rubinho, so a nice trade out again. But Freiberg did enough. He kept their attention toward the site. But there are two players here for Dignitas, Kiebi and MSL. MSL completely white at this point, but Kiebi's got his back. Forrest falls as he pushes through. And now Config on the flank. Stunning shot comes out. Pitt gets denied. Rifle recovered. Get Right can't save it. And Config again. This boy with the deagle is out of his mind. But let's just kind of take a step back, because that was a very solid showing from NIP. Something
Absolutely.
I've not seen in a while.
Yeah, very impressive. Even after losing the pistol and actually going 4-0 down, they come back and win the half 9-6 on the T side of train. That's not something I thought I'd be Dignitas. NIP stayed composed, and they knew what their strategy was going forward. They had a nice mix-up of fast, loose stuff towards outside, and they had the solid execution-based stuff as well towards that inside bomb side. We didn't see much of the set pieces on the outside side, like wall of smokes and bombs going down in that respect, but it didn't really seem like they needed to. They actually knew exactly what the objective was, whether it was a pick-based round. They were getting the picks quite effectively, working that Ivy area, and it just seemed like you could see how that was affecting Dignitas. They're actually in a disarray with their money, couldn't really get things stable towards the end. They're kind of lucky, I think, to get that last round on the board. It just came down to that big MSL play, pushing in towards that lower ramp. Had he not found that frag, that could have been a 10-5 in favour of NIP, but he did manage to do it. And we have a very interesting game on our hands here. Dignitas no slobs on their terrorist side as well.
Definitely not.
So we'll see what NIP can bring to the table on their CT pistol, whether they'll be bringing something aggressive and trying to get in the faces of Dignitas, or it's going to be sitting back and allowing them to execute.
I think this could be a really nice half for the likes of, Config to have a little bit more control on it, MSL to kind of come through, and individuals to shine a little brighter, I can imagine. But still, NIP, a lot to be shown. One good half isn't quite saying that the return is back. It's just a nod in the right direction, really. And I just think it feels like there's a little bit of a different composure to them. They just seem like they're playing a nicer game of CS than where they left off. But then again, first game I'm watching, still early days with your new players coming in.
Of course.
Call it a honeymoon period if you want. You've got a new coach. You've got a lot of new factors there. So, all of that aside, this is the first half in, well, we've even got another map coming up afterwards. So there's a lot to be seen here. And Dignitas still have so much potential to certainly upset in this one. So, Config going to be the one to go on the armor. So yeah, 4 pieces of armor, a little bit of utility with MSL, and on the other side, get right with the CZ very early on here.
Yeah, it's going to be close range quarters combat for him, I'd assume. Look at that big spray down. And Dignitas opting to send most of the players towards inside here. Going to be going for a simple execute, I'd imagine, just smoking towards the lower ramp, flashing in, and trying to swarm the bomb site. It almost guarantees you a bomb plant, so even if you don't win the round, it's actually quite a nice way to set your economy up. CTs do have 2 players in there. Actually got one rotating back in as well. There's the flashback to kick things off.
Great nade as well. Convict and Kirby catch that one, but Geralt can't find the damage really with the CZ that he'd want to, but Exist and Forest are doing the work with USPSs, and Freiburg can't hit a goddamn thing. We're down to this 2v2. The kit is still with Exist, bearing in mind. Pick gets picked up round the back, which is not what you want here, leaving Exist in the 1v1 though. He's picked up 2 this round. Can he find that last player? Smokes in and he's going for it. Full defuse.
What?
I think.
I don't know if he meant to come off the bomb there. That was kind of strange. And there's a knife coming in. Surely not.
Oh
the knife!
My God, Exist. No.
Oh God, I feel sick.
What was that round?
What? He could have
What was that round?
He had a smoke down. He went for the full defuse. Just decided I'm going to go off and keep staring at the bomb, and then get knifed.
What was that round?
Why? How could he not kill him when he's trying to knife him?
I don't know.
Like, once you got the first stab, you thought, okay, it's definitely not going to knife him. That'd be insane. Oh wait, no.
I just wish we had like a Yanko, reaction cam just to see the disappointed face.
I saw his body flailing over there on the sofa.
It is essentially the best way to do it. But Geralt again going to be in this position this time. No help from the nade and makes no odds anyway. So just an upgraded pistol for anything for MSL. I think it's taken away instantly, but still 4v4 here. Bomb will be planted. Pit not going to have the shot of that one as Freiburg will finish it off. And actually Pit is one of those players who absolutely love watching with the Deagle, but doesn't get a chance of it. And now Freiburg looking to do the damage. But still, 2v2, they're making this costly to some small degree. However, the last 2 players, at least on the T side, are the ones with rifles. And a good start here, until then, at least for Dignitas.
Well, it's going to be a one-on-one. No kit for Forrest, looking like he's bowing out of the round. Does manage to get 2 frags. So did Freiburg, but I still feel like they'll be recovering from that disarray of the pistol round there. That was absolutely... This is
getting flashbacks every time Forrest got his knife out there. Just please stop it.
Like, that was crazy. Like, it's one of those rounds and you've had such a successful first half and you've actually done all the work you had to. And it looked like that bomb was planted in the smoke. He went for the full defuse. I just can't imagine that. He wasn't I don't know why he got off it. Like, he didn't... If you're going to get off it, you'd obviously turn around and try and have you pre-fire where you think the terrorist is coming from. Like, anyway, they did go for the force by NIP and it didn't really... they got a few kills, but unfortunately didn't manage to take the round there. So it's going to be Dignitas back onto 4 rifles and MSL on towards a MAC-10. Forrest did save the scout, so something to work with, but this is going to be Dignitas leveling things up here at 9-9.
Really good stuff from Dignitas, showing that, this is certainly not over. They have just as much presence. Oh, beautiful movement from MSL, and thank God for his sake, as here we go. Forrest and Get Right doing the dirty work as Freiburg finds one. And what is this round? Again, how many of these rounds are we going to see turned? But it is down to Config. The rifle's been removed. And, well, Exist still has one, but then again, he finds it very hard to take on players with knives. So I don't know how much I want to read into that, but there is a scout. The bomb's in a bad spot that probably is going to be spotted out by Forest, or if not already imagined to be there as such.
So an inside rush. That turned into an absolute horror show there for Dignitas. Great exchanges, and Forest picks up 2 frags, and Gerai getting one as well. He gets a Mac 10. Exist with the AK-47 and Config now with all to play for. It does have 1 minute remaining, but no real positional control to speak of. Just going to be walking around towards Pop Dog here, seeing whether anyone will gift him a frag. Any rotations, but you can see NIP just poised and ready for this. 3 players towards inside. And the good thing is, why they can do that is Forest is just in A main patrolling that area as well. So decent gamble here, I'd say, for NIP, and then the round should be over in the next couple of seconds. Or is it? There it is. Get Right finishes things off.
And they get the upgrade as well. Perfect. I don't think Pitt can quite make it, but still.
After they suffer that horrible little round in the first pistol, they kind of get a little bit lucky themselves. And inside rush really working on their favour. Forest, great scout work down. It's kind of weird why Dignitas would do that. You always put a smoke down at least towards the ramp, right? It's like, even if you're rushing it, you want to chuck one of those down, you're going in a flashbang as well. They just went completely dry, and NIP capitalised with that scout. Perfect placement from Forest. And now it's going to be a force buy from Dig themselves. They've got Khalil's AKs and 3 pistols there, so with the smokes they have, they could do a full execute here, looking like they will be going towards inside side, so it'll be very similar to what we saw from NIP, I'd assume. Very similar methodology. Smoke go all over the bomb site, flashbangs come in, and just bust into the bomb site and try and get the bomb down as quickly as possible.
I'll certainly be punished if they don't put those smokes into the right places this time. Get Right is waiting there. I believe that's a molly to hand. There it goes. Actually goes deeper than the smoke does, so they will have to walk through if they do want to back him up. Perfect flash as well to follow. Get Right gets the shot towards Rubino just before he gets flashed, but they are completely wide and he still gets config. Frustration aplenty, I can imagine, but he can't find Kiebi, who does at least trade out on that. But by now, Dignitas are just down to 1 man. They've taken themselves towards the B side. The bomb's left over towards the other side, and there's Freiburg closing it down. So Get Right certainly having a great time here on this B side, doing wonderfully.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from him. That force by not really equating for much for Dignitas here. A noisy little replay coming in, but I'm enjoying it. Get Right, great work there through the smoke. And finishes off as well. So there it is. Dignitas will be on pretty much a full eco here. Well, exactly a full eco, not a single thing purchased whatsoever. 5 Glocks and no utility. So this is an almost throwaway round. Just going to try and get the bomb down any manner they can. Looks like an inside rush coming in. Get Right, are you ready?
There we go. The spray down begins. There's 1, there's 2. Looking for more. 3rd. Not going to get the 4th. But by this point, there's Forest with the nice little bit of, I guess, trigger control at the end. Just savouring the bullets.
Is that what your analysis of the round? A bit of something to take away from it. Oh, it's something to work with. Yeah. No, it's a pretty clean round. Like, they wanted to get a bomb down.
Are you giving me shit?
A little bit. Got to keep you in the
Sorry,
toes.
what scoreline would Dignitas be wanting right now, Henry?
Oh, there it is. That's what we needed. That's how we can spice this cast up.
That's it.
Some redundant questions. Let's keep those coming.
Why am I getting the abuse today? Just because your marriage with Matt is failing, don't take it out on me.
We'll actually have a good couple of days.
Sorry. Okay, I'll leave you with a good couple of days. As so far for Dignitas, that T side is not looking like a good couple of rounds as they're starting to dwindle. And, well, Nip, holding on to this one.
Well, it's a really nice pick there from Get Right to open it up. Aggressive, of course, towards the lower ramp. Takes down Config, and any chances they had of working a pick towards that inside has been eradicated. And we can see the bomb still towards T-spawn here, and no orb whatsoever for Dignitas. So they'll be trying to work a pick in the form of Rubino. He's made his way towards the end of Ivy. Shots being rattled off by Exister. This frag's going to be huge. If he can get this one, it's going to secure the round for an IP or potentially open it up at Dignitas. Let's see where they decide to go. Still have 1 minute remaining, and they have got smokes as well, so it could go into more of an execution-based attack here.
Very specific analysis then from you, Henry. Thank you ever so much.
That's what I'm here for, in a way.
So it's just for the denim. But Exist did, I think, just see the barrel of the gun as well. So he's got the information there, but Forest will at least find Kiebi, so that's a good start out there for Nip. And Exist does get the frag, as you said. Quite an important one. It could have maybe created some options there, but Dignitas, sadly down to 2 players, are going to start finding this incredibly hard to find any way into this. But that's a good start. MSL going to find one. Can't quite get the spray on towards Freiburg. And Tensky just dancing with the devil right now as Pitt is the one pushed up. Waiting to see if anyone will wander down and think Tenski's got a shot at this one, sadly, as Pit will close it. And again, NIP dealing with everything pretty well so far.
Yeah, it's a really nice reaction from Get Right to open it up, falls back, and Dignitas had to try and work with something that didn't really have the NAWP to open up the map for them. Just slowly walking into some key areas, not finding the frags, and it's going to be yet another eco coming in here. You can see they've upgraded their Glocks to some Deagles, but well, 5 Deagles in fact. These guys can be very proficient with them. We saw Kialbi at DreamHack recently, Leipzig, looking incredibly on point, especially on this map as well.
Yeah, let's not remind any Polish fans of what Config can do as tiers will form, and that's a start and a half. All right, ECS, just a nice kill for free. And sadly not a single shot going to be particularly connecting so far for Dignitas, and it's down to Config and Tenski to find anything.
Absolutely, the scoreline's going to be 14-8 here, and it's actually Dignitas who have won both pistols as well. So they went 4-0 up in the first half, and hello, okay, Tenski with a pretty outstanding shot at ECS, and as I finish my point, they win the pistol here on the second half as well, and the fact the scoreline's 14-8, that's pretty impressive statistic for NIP. There we go then, just going to be 2 players remaining. Tenski and Config. Config with another wonder shot towards Freiburg, and just going to leave Config once again above the pop dog area, bomb in hand, and a dream. One I think is going to turn into a nightmare.
Beautiful play-by-play, Henry. Thank you so much.
It's
for
good,
that.
right? I think I saw that
It's
from Matt,
poetic.
actually. I think he said
Really?
that. Yeah. Shout out to Cedicus.
Shout out to Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks for inspiring us on the daily basis. To be fair, he does come up with some quite ingenious things, but back to that in a moment.
Some, yeah.
Some. As Config's looking for a scalped claim, he does get the tag as well, but not enough to close anything down. And 14-8 being the scoreline. 2 players falling this round for NIP, not the end of the world. The money is flush and they are well set going forward, whereas on the other side of things, they're going to have to put this one together and hope for the best, because otherwise, NIP looking like they're back on track here, just showing what they can do on train.
Well, there we go then, yeah. 1 point away from map point, and Forest with the AWP once more. Interesting to see whether they try to mix things up here, go for a really aggressive play towards Ivy. I would say this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. And looking like it actually might be coming in, you know, it does exist. And Pitt going fast towards that area. It's going to be Forest with him on green train here. Just looking for that pick towards A main. Exist has got aggressive towards Ivy, but just battling out through the smoke there, gets away with his life. Dignitas set up in a pretty standard position right now. Bomb left towards T-spawn. And interesting enough, though, Pitt has made in towards main entrance, so that's a decent bit of intel for them at least.
Yep. I wonder if he's going to dare to go further. That's the thing. The bomb isn't actually that far away either.
I think at this point you literally have no idea what the terrorists are. You haven't got any control. So I think staying in this position is great. It means you've eradicated main entrance being a possibility. And it also means you can see them kind of adjusting themselves. So you've got Get Right by himself towards inside, just from the M4. It's very passive indeed. They've got 4 players committed towards outside. Interesting to see what Dignitas bring to the table here to at least open the map up for themselves. Looking like a smoke execute here potentially.
This could be a lovely position for Pitt as well if he
Yeah, this could be, you know.
if he does well. I think they're going to pop flash this. He is turned, waiting correctly, and actually does get the drop towards MSL. Another player tries to run the gauntlet, but he makes it through. Kiebi is there, the bomb not too far behind, but Freiberger already at the gate just says no, and suddenly we're down to 2 players remaining for the T side. Bruno in a decent spot, but Config as well, having to do all the heavy lifting now as he's the only man alive, pushing right down towards the eyes of Forest, and it ends about as well as you'd expect. But really nice stuff from Pitt then, pushing up a little bit closer, but Freiberg being the one to really support him out on that.
Yeah, really nice stuff indeed. Like Dignitas, unfortunately for them, didn't have any control of the map whatsoever. They hadn't gone into even main entrance. They hadn't got someone to Ivy. They were all outside towards T-spawn, went for a full smoke execute. And even though Pitt only got 1, it was enough. It slowed them right down. It allowed them to get a nice early call off as well. Freiberg came in, mowed them down, and that's going to bring NIP to first map point here. It's after losing both pistols, a really convincing scoreline. Forest continuing the assault here as he takes down Tenski. It's a much faster approach here from Dignitas.
Config did make it out at least, so he's maybe got the drop on 1, but no, Pith was waiting perfectly, and now the line of NIP players are sending these boys back one by one. Kiebi, the only one to make a breakthrough, as MSL thinks maybe he can save the day. He's clutched before, but this might be a step too far, as there we have it. NIP.
They're back. It's happening, the year of the ninja.
Oh, wow. Really?
No.
You going for it? No, Henry, you believe.
I'm just saying that was actually one of the best NIP performances I've seen. Like I said, losing both pistols, and that's just really solid terrorist approach from them. They actually seem they've been doing their homework. They've got tactics to fall back to, and they can rely on the faster loser stuff as well. It was a great overall package. 16-8, that's a fantastic way to kick things off with the new lineup, really, and threat coming in as well. It's pretty convincing stuff.
That's what I can't wait to see the impact of down the line, because Freya has yet to have really any time to build with them. So this is a fantastic foundation of a new form nib if this can keep up. But then again, maybe Dignitas not having the best of times, but still enough of our thoughts. Let's hear from the analysis.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Brilliant stuff from NIP there. We're excited to see what they were going to bring to the table. And honestly, it should have been even better, because they should have won that original opening pistol.
Everyone jump on the NIP train.
Yeah,
Best team 2016 confirmed they're going to win the major, everything. I mean, it was a great performance from them on this map. They, as Henry pointed out, they did lose both pistols in a really terrible way, but managed to win it pretty convincingly. But I still wouldn't, you know, I think that it's obvious that Dignitas is not as comfortable on this map as they are on some others. So for me, the real interesting point to see how strong NIP is right now is the next map, Mirage.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good point, because the timing for Dignitas was something that was really obviously very good 2 nights ago on Mirage. Tonight there wasn't that same cohesion. Rubino walking in Ivy without much support walks into Exist, who already spotted his gun barrel as well, so it was kind of peculiar he was that far forward, but just little things like that. But the one thing about NIP I want to say is that I kind of highlighted Freiburg to be a guy to step up. I thought maybe Pith could help that. I don't think Pith necessarily did in this game, but Freiburg played way more aggressively than normal. Yeah, his T side, he was running all the way through the B side, taking a lot of map control, giving them a lot of ground. I have to say, a lot of the first half, the reason they won so many rounds is just how many kills he got that was 2-for-1 trades in his favor.
Yeah, absolutely. It was they were 4-0 down as well, and it was him that really turned it around. If I've even got it written down, it was the big 3K, and then straight away round afterwards 4K. So it was real big stuff from Freiburg when they were getting picked off. So stepping up when it counts, it's what we like to see. This is the old NIP that we're hoping we can start to develop throughout 2016. Now they've got threat on the table as well.
I mean, everyone was playing really well. Get right on the B bomb side, on the CT side too. Pite had that good round when they were changing the pace with the outer
Should
rush.
we mention the Exist knife?
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
that
was just weird, but in the grand scheme of things, no one cares, because they won the
Exist
game
cares.
They won the game pretty
Damn right
easily.
it does.
But
Taco cares.
Taco cares, right? I mean, yeah, but also it's refreshing to see NIP with some, you know, good late round strats and so on like that. Those B executes have been pretty crisp. So yeah, maybe Threat did have some time to.
So Forrest trying to hit that wall bang every round as well.
Well, it's probably doing it for a reason. I mean, we didn't see it work in this particular.
It was
game.
so close though as well. At one point, it almost got him.
It's enough if he gets a tag. I mean, there's not much he can do from that spot early on. You know,
so you might as well take a chance.
So why not? Maybe someone runs into it. He doesn't lose anything by trying it.
Yeah. So fantastic stuff. Obviously, the opener, it is Train. It was technically NIP's map, which we expected. Obviously, moving on to Mirage. What do we think? We think this is going to be a very different ball game. Or more importantly, actually, I want to talk about Dignitas. Like, is this a sign of Dignitas when it's not going their way? They kind of teamwork falls a little apart.
I think that it was as much the map as much as I don't think this was necessarily a crumble from them. I think the map's obviously different for them because of the fact we saw that Rubino was the main opera. They still haven't ironed it out. Whereas Mirage, I think they are a little more set. I can't say this was a choker or crumble by any means from Dig. I just think the timing wasn't there to begin with. However, what I will say is going on to this map, this was a map that NIP traditionally were bad at. They never liked. They brought in Alu, and then they had the influence from Natsu. Then they started to bring that Finnish sort of touch to it and got better. But now without them, I'm curious to see if they can even still play this.
Well, we'll see how it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it will be Mirage for Dignitas versus NIP. Welcome back, guys, to the ESL Pro League. It is NIP versus Dignitas on Mirage coming up next. Let's talk about that one. The man with the NIP scarf on the end here, we know which way he's shouting for this one, but that's a big ask, Matt, because Dignitas took down VP 16-5 on Mirage earlier in the week.
They looked a much, much better team on Mirage. Now, this will be the indication right away then if tonight's an off night or if terrain is just the off map, which I think is more the case. Their timings were very good. Their coordination on CT side was very good. They were willing to take risks on force buys and saves. Eco rounds on that CT side. We saw that push on mid to catch out Virtus.pro, and they weren't letting Virtus.pro execute very much. So I think that they've definitely got something in their up their sleeve. And we also saw the roles a little bit shuffled. Rubino wasn't the main opera per se on Mirage for them, so it was more MSL.
I also think you made a really good point that Mirage for NIP, it hasn't been a good map for them historically. It's something they tried picking up at times even when they were still playing with Flare, and then as you said with Natu and Alu they started playing it more, but never had much success on it. So Mirage is definitely one of the best maps for Dignitas, so I feel that we're going to have at least a closer game than we had.
Yeah, I mean, Matt just hit it on the head there. MSL Orpin this time around, we expect. But Forrest obviously seems to be the main op, but we expected it might fall to him. He certainly was taking that role over on Train. How do we feel that's going to fit in over on Mirage?
I mean, it depends. Dignitas state themselves, the MSL is not the opera of the team. They don't have an opera. They have he's the quasi-opera, picking it up when they feel they need to, and so on. So he might not even pick it up if they have a different idea. So it's going to be interesting to see. Forrest, as I remember, he plays the catwalk area, so that's a position you can be more aggressive with the op and not smoked off as often as you would be from window room.
Well, that's just it. We don't really know what positions they're going to play because obviously Alu is no longer there, so people could be shuffling around again.
Alu was traditionally in the window, and if Forrest is going to op and go toward the window, we have seen Get Right play on the catwalk before quite successfully. So there is a chance for that. I do like Get Right a little bit more in the A site. I think he's a little bit more aggressive. He's quite clever how he plays around the executing smokes and finds openings for himself, but if there is a roll shuffle and Forrest goes to window, I wouldn't be surprised that you see Get Right on catwalk instead, which is actually a decent combo because Forrest is not necessarily the best operator in the world, is not necessarily going to hit every shot, but if he has someone like Get Right who's very good at reading plays and situations to support him, to pop out on flashes and smokes, that could still be a good 1-2 punch in the mid area for them.
So what are we expecting? Are we expecting a big T side from either of these teams? I mean, Dignitas started off so strong on the T side against VP.
I would expect good T-sides from both teams, honestly, because it seems that NIP did, introduce some new things to their game and so on, and Mirage is even a bit easier to play on the T-side than Train is. So, yeah, we don't know much. That's why this game is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it should be good to watch, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the game is about ready to go, although I'm getting a bit of a over from Lawrence. So we'll see whether it's ready to go, because Henry can take it away either way if Lawrence not set up. But over to you, casters. Henry G and Fancy.
I got this.
Crack on. The producer didn't tell me, so I ignore it. And then the host just calls me out. ESL. Solid. Sorry, you take it away though, Henry, because I've been told off. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the final map of this evening. NIP showing things that they can actually bounce back from the 2015 very disappointing season for them, but they actually come back on their train. 16-8 after losing both pistols as well. Very strong showing from them. We're going to Mirage next, Lauren. This is another very strong map for Dignitas, so still not out of the woods just yet. They can definitely. This is not a best of three. It's two single maps that equate to individual points. We have got the knife round underway right now, so it's going to be Mirage. Dignitas looking for redemption. It didn't have any particularly strong showing on train, it has to be said. Didn't really have any moments that really impressed me. Got 4-0 up in the first half, and then kind of the game ran away from them there. So let's see if they can bounce back here. Who won the knife? I didn't even see. Did you see?
NIP.
So I assume they'll be staying on the CT half here. You would assume. Let's see how the buy goes down. We are on the pistol round now. Dignitas will be purchasing up armor. I'd assume 2 sets of utilities while smoke towards the jungle steps and then executing accordingly. I've actually got 3 smokes here, so let's see how they decide to go into this one. We'll have a look at the buy for NIP as well. 4 sets of armor of them, Freiberg on the kit and 2 flashbangs. And it's looking like the bomb will be towards A as well. So these are the smokes I kind of anticipate. I think they'll be doing the 2 smokes, one of the steps, one in front of jungle, and then one towards spawn, and then trying to get the bomb down as quickly as possible. Maybe a nice open plant towards a ramp.
Well, here we go. It does seem as though the smokes have been put down. Forrest instantly looking for the reflex off the back of it, but he's actually going to try and take mid-control, which could have worked out, but Rubinho finds two. Pitt and Forrest both go down, and now suddenly, even without the players heading towards A, they're in such a good position here, Dignitas, with Rubinho doing such wonderful work, and now suddenly Freiburg surrounded on all fronts. What is going on with this game? MSL not able to hit the last shot then in the end. He did get his get bailed out by Config, and exists now 1v3.
Yeah, not really much footing into this one. Looking like Dignitas are opting to go back towards the B bomb site. Exist. They have to frag this round. MSL just holding towards the vent area here. It's going to be, should be a clean kill for him. I don't think Exist will necessarily be checking it. As I say that though, he does. And does have something to work with now. Bomb is blind towards B, but still two players to find. We'll pick up the kid as well, so that's boosted his percentages a little bit.
Yep. Maybe going to try and get those flashbacks of that last map and how that pistol went for him then. Out of his mind. But here we go, in towards the B site. Bomb is ticking. Config just holding by bench as well. He's going to be checked, and good connection from Exist here. One more bullet would do the job, but does eventually get it. But time is ticking. The bomb is planted for sure, and Rubinho should play this perfectly. He'd need the instant hit on that one. He didn't get the shot he needed, and Rubinho picking up 4 that round.
Yeah, I thought that would be a much cleaner exchange in that last one-on-one. Just needed to land one bullet. Exist coming off the bomb. Had he hit that single USB headshot, could have been devastating, but wasn't meant to be. And Dignitas will be picking up the pistol once again. That's 3 out of 3 for them. As we go into round number 2, it's going to be a full force by coming in from NIP here. They've got CZs, PD50s, and 5.7s, and Pit with the Deagle. So a nice array of weapons coming into this. Not showing any heavy aggression just yet. We can see, get right towards the window, and you can see how passive Dignitas are being. They threw a couple of rounds away on train. Has to be said, as clean inside rushes, no smoke shoes whatsoever. So I'm sure they'll be making sure they don't make the same mistake twice.
This looks like an absolutely rinse and repeat, nice and clean A hit. But Forrest has got himself pushed up quite close here. He's just going to flash him in, and he actually gets the drop on Kirby. That's not a gun he can get back, but it's a great start here. So now bounds away and actually resets things, but Nip are all heading over toward B, barring Forrest.
It's kind of interesting, the fact that Dignitas have no map control whatsoever. They don't know what's going on. They don't know if they've lost real estate here. They need to be acting right now. Here come the smokes, and you assume they'll be following in shortly after.
Forrest is the one close just by Dark. They're holding on the edge with the CZ. Deadly at this point, and showing you exactly as to why. That's 2 back-to-back, but Exist falling means that A is completely open. Smoke's still into position. That bomb could go down, but in CT you've got Pitt and Freiburg. Could possibly boost above that smoke, maybe get a peek in. And Ding comes out, a little bit of a reminder then, and danger certainly ahead as Freiburg finds Rubinho.
2 players remaining now, Config and Tensky. It's not the best plan in the world, but it's definitely workable from the position they're in. That should be the round tied up. Tensky doing some great work there. Galil there, and just get right with a CZ and 2 HP. Gets taken down as well. Tensky gets his third the round. So it was Forrest who got flashed into the ramp, opened things up quite efficiently. Got his second as well. But Dignitas with the full execution, bouncing back. Once the bomb went down, that was pretty much it for NIP. Did what they could, but ultimately will not be having much of a showing into this round. It's going to be an SMG buy from Dignitas. Only 2 rifles for them, and you can see NIP not really investing anything at all into this round, apart from a flashbang on Forrest. They stacked B last round, and they're looking like they'll be maybe looking to face towards middle. Forrest ready with the pop flash towards window. There's the flash. And here comes the face from mid.
Lovely as well. It's going to work out really nicely. Good work there from Pitt and get right to get the kill. But all in all those 4 players just converging at the right time off the back of the flash. Now, okay, they only recover a Mac 10, but it's still damage done considering they literally only had a flash pretty much into this round.
Well, that's it. They've managed to get the Mac 10, but not really much else they can do with this round. You see they have got some control over towards Connector right now. Kiabi with the Mac 10 looking to do some serious damage here. That's going to be the first kill for him. Can he make it a double? And actually gets taken down by Get Right. Exist, dealt with by Tenskin. That's going to be the round done. Pitt's going to be the last player remaining. 7 HP and just a USP. So 3-0 once again in favour of Dignitas. And NIP are going to be struggling next round as well. Won't have that AWP. Probably won't have any kit. Oh, well, actually Get Right is not too bad. So he could drop if he had to. He's the only player that could do it. So I guess he didn't invest as heavily as the others, but they won't be opting for the AWP drop here. It's going to be 5 rifles.
Okay. I was curious to see how much of a primary AWP and how much of attention maybe Nip were going to put towards putting Forrest towards that early on. Other teams would have maybe taken that little bit of a hit on it, but rifles is more than capable in their guys' hands. But Exist going for the early aggression here, going to put himself down towards that underpass, but no one really going to be there. This is a very similar round from Dignitas. Again, MSL toward mid, and the 4 players towards A. But it looks like they're going a little bit faster off the back of this. Just going to be playing ahead of the smokes here. Straight out we go. They are not into place yet. Taking these fights head on is maybe not the most advisable thing right now. Freiburg at least found Tensky, but there's the exchange. Straight away coming through. And now NIP down to 3. That's a Dignitas, but that bomb is being planted as we speak.
Well, it's going to be a 3-on-3 still, so definitely a big opportunity here. But that frag, Freiberg caught looking in the wrong direction. This is going to mean everything for Get Right. Manages to take down Kiabi and keep the dream alive here as they are on the full retake. Teammate coming in from Connector. The Terror is set up in a decent crossfire. Good news is for NIP, Rubinho is on 10 HP.
Kit's on Get Right, so that's down in CT. Exist does not have one, and Exist absolutely baffled as to where he's getting shot from. Then he will eventually find one, and the second is not to follow. And Dignitas rinse and repeating this A hit, slightly different tempos, slightly different pacing.
This is the thing.
And it works.
They're quite famous for this, actually. They do the smokes, and then they come out just as they're flying over. They don't allow them to bloom. They're hoping to catch the CTs with their grenades out and still kind of adjusting to what they're seeing coming in. It was actually Freiberg that picked up the first frag, but he was dealt with pretty quickly after, and it's going to be Team Dignitas going in 4-0. You can see NIP now back towards the pistols. It's a slight partial buy for them. They've got some body armor. Get Ryan Freiberg. Is this gone for head armor, surprisingly? He's up against 5 AKs. That's not going to help him out too much, but it's a nice pick from him as he does take down Tensky in that underpass once again.
And that's possibly recoverable as well if they do want to commit towards that, but there's Freiberg being taken down by MSL. He's starting to look to clean this one up as efficiently as possible, not give away too much, but there's a lot of players looking towards Connector here, and Forrest just was wandering through the smoke, and it doesn't go particularly well for him. It's now down to those last 3 players. NIP just looking to maybe catch anyone off. Rubinho should get the drop towards Get Right at that sort of distance, but then again, timing does become everything at this point. There's 3 players from the T side in towards Connector, and they're all about to walk out. And there's Rubinho. Nice timing from him to play through it. Clean pickup from MSL there towards Pit, and it does just leave Exist.
Yeah, not really much hope from him. Maybe he can pick up a weapon or take someone down with him again. He was the only player that fracked this round in the underpass area, took down Tensky, but it's going to be another clean round for Dignitas. And money kind of stabilising for NIP now. They could get the AWP out because he exists just shy of 6k there, kind of considering his options. Will he be dropping the AWP? Or will he be going with a rifle as well? Going for 5 rifles once again, trying to make sure they have enough equipment going forward. They have got 5 smokes and some incendiaries as well. And it's been a very A-based mentality for Dignitas so far. Let's see what NIP brings to the table this round. Nades going towards the top of the middle through the smoke. Not going to land any massive damage here. MSL has made it towards the mid boxes. And Pitt backing him up from short as well. So mid control trying to be obtained here from the Danish side.
So a little bit of an adjustment too, bearing in mind it's normally been maybe a 4-1 split with MSL only being player in mid here, but you know, having the support should be able to do some serious work here. You can see already the commitment towards short coming through, but it's Config and Kievi to find the kills very quickly in this one. Get Right is the player on towards B. Exist is about to be pressured in towards window, losing complete control of mid, and now it's all down to these 3 just to be singling out on these bomb sites and key positions. Exist finds a great kill towards MSL though, as he does peer through towards ladder room, but it's Forrest trying to take the advantage, get someone down. That's one of the prongs of attack that Dignitas were depending on, and now taking their time, and Get Right is going to hear every step of that.
Seems like Dignitas maybe overthinking that situation a little bit too much. They get those first 2 great frags there. It was kind of signaled they were going towards B, but they had so much control and so much advantage in terms of the timing getting to the bomb site. You can almost guarantee there'd only be 1 player there. And they decided to slow down, completely change their mentality, went back towards middle, and Exist and Forrest have got them back into this round. So 40 seconds remaining, and he's looking like they're going back in towards an A attack here. This is probably the right response. You can see Forrest up in towards Palace. But that's actually a really strong position for him. The terrorists don't really have much to work with, so going in with 25 seconds remaining, looking for this first kill.
Kievi's push through, but that's not who was interesting. Actually, Get Right gets found first. Now Exist and Forrest have to play this absolutely perfectly. No one is looking towards Forrest. He's going to get the first. He's going to tag up the bomb site player, which was Tensky. Now the pinch comes in, but it's down to Kievi in the 1v1 up against Exist now. And around the world we go. Kievi's going to take the long route. Where's that bomb planted for?
It's full connector, and that's going to be the shot. He's been discovered. Unfortunately, Exist unable to land the headshot there. Going for the fake defuse. He'll be just jumping around there. Perfect play for him so far.
Well.
Oh, it's actually a full defuse coming in right now. Oh, it's going to be close.
1 second.
Super close. Oh my god, so the Molotov there was a lovely idea, but Exist definitely in with a shout taking that one. Unfortunately, wasn't meant to be. It was Forrest up in that Palace area, did so much damage there. Unfortunately, they did just get the bomb down just like within the nick of time, and Kiabi coming with the 2-on-1 clutch, stepping up massively, and you can see how that's affected the money going forward for NIP. They've gone in for a force buy. MP9 on Forrest, Get Right on the Mag 7, and 2 Famises from Freiberg and Pitt. So another mid-focused round as MSL to open things up again, rips the head off Freiberg there, and it's the disadvantage towards the Swedish side once again.
Dignitas bringing out the A game. We asked the question, can they step up into map 2? Will It'd be a 1-1. We can see a 2-0 in Nip's hands. No, this is looking like Dignitas have turned up now. This is the map I wanted to see, and Nip not yet maybe to get to full grips with the issues that they certainly had prior on this map, but still. Dignitas again taking mid here. This is what they did before, and it worked out pretty well. They almost got a little bit close on that, but in the end it did work to their favour, and it looks like they could go either side at the moment. Tensky's still by B if they get a pick there. You've got Rubinho in towards Palace, that's no surprise, but Exist has put himself closer towards the site. Forest pushing towards ramp. And now Forest waiting to see if there's anything coming his way, but Exist is playing a dangerous game. No one's actually watching Connector, so you've got to be a little careful here.
We have got Config up in the ladder room, drops down as well, so I would have heard that. I would assume, and he actually is the one that gets taken down. Maybe he didn't. The Config opens it up. Exist, he's been fragging sensationally so far, unable to convert those into rounds so far, but he gets his second of the round, and it's going to be 3-on-3 right now. Forest and Get Right with those lesser weapons. Actually, Exist doing some serious work here. A 4-kill of the round. It's just going to be Config remaining now. He's the one who takes down the Danger Man, and that's actually one of the biggest scouts he could have taken in the context of this round, because of an MP9 and a Mag 7 rename.
And it was Get Right's flash then that completely blinded Exist and denied him what could be an ace and what could be a hugely critical round. Now, Forest took the long road, but there we go. Get Right will step up to the plate and get the job done, but huge play from Exist. Kind of baited out Forest on ramp a little bit, like fell back, took the time off the back of it, sure, and then he delivered. So that's all that matters. As long as you come up with the goods, it doesn't really matter how you get there at this point, as they did desperately need a round. It's the first one on the board.
Well, there it is. They still lose 3 players, so they need to reinvest into this round. It does stop the loss bonus coming in. This is a massive round going forward. NIP need to make sure they win this. It'll be a double eco coming in. You can see they've gone down to absolute 0 here. Replay on your screen right now with that fantastic work from Exist.
I'll tell a lie, it wasn't Get Right's flash. I was blaming him.
Stop lying.
Henry, when did you become this guy?
It's
Be
just
so
it's
nice.
all fun.
Oh,
It's a bit of horseplay. You know? We like to have fun sometimes, Lauren.
I've never owned. I don't know what you mean. Fun doesn't, you know,
Okay, let's
come
go
into
back.
my
Super
job.
serious.
Super serious. This feels very pressured, Henry. 3 players going towards B. Finally, Get Right and Pip might have a bit of action towards this one. 2 players up towards short. Dignitas yet to really test the waters over here, so it's the first time they're actually going to be going for this, if they do.
We have got the B split coming as MSL going really aggressively up towards short. Freiburg and Pick getting the first frags, but they're quickly taken down, and it's 3-on-3. Actually, it's Get Right. He's still lurking on the bomb site. He gets dealt with as well, and it's a 2-on-2. Bomb will be planted. You can see the CTs pretty far away from the situation. Forest coming towards the kitchen now. Bomb planted for short. Great setup for the T's. It's going to come down to Exist once again. Can he continue the great run he's had so far? He can. Takes down Kiabi, and this should be a successful retake coming in for them. He's spotted Config behind the bench area, but he's losing one of that damage, and Forest finishes things off there. So a massive round, a must win for an IP. The full reset would have come in, and it's Exist with that wonderful shot from short to secure the round.
Please just pick up what you've got there. Just checking around, I can imagine, see what was on the board and on the plate for Dignitas. Oops, for free. Yet to see one being really featured for Nip. Have we actually seen them pick one up yet?
They actually haven't, no. They could have done a couple of times, and they have decided not to.
Okay.
So, interesting stuff so far. 6 plays 2, NIP bouncing back here. They did have that massive deficit on train, and they came back and actually won the half. So, no reason why I still can't do that. We go into round number 9. It's going to be Rubino. He's feeling the pressure a little bit more. He's just got a CZ. And they have been playing much faster rounds, getting up short very quickly there. There's decent exchanges from the CTs. Kept them in the game, and Get Right finding one as well. And a good clutch from Exist and Forest to finish the round off. Another big round here. Was a full investment from NIP to get themselves back on the board in terms of the equipment.
There's a hell of a lot of attention actually coming out from Nip towards mid now. You're going to have Freiburg adjusting. Pitt's already got himself up towards ladder and kind of pushing himself off of that B side. Get Right's pulled himself closer towards short. And Dignitas still utilising the smokes well, trying to get themselves infiltrated through into better positions at this point. But see what they can make of it. Flash comes out. Going to look towards Connector. No one can see a damn thing at this point, but Tensky's trying to look for options. Rubinho's waiting to go. It's going to be on to Freiburg to do the damage, but he gets completely flashed up here, and they are all piling up, but it's Config to get the kill. Exist again delivers. That's a lovely little 2-piece coming out from him, as now just in this 3v3, he has the freedom to work with Forest supporting from CT perfectly, and there's Get Right coming in towards jungle, and again, I've got to say, it Exist being let off the leash here a little bit finally.
Yeah.
And you can show exactly what this guy can achieve.
14 kills with him, looking very strong indeed, getting 2 frags almost every single time with that A-bomb site. It was a fast connector play from Dignitas, flashbang coming over as Freiburg, who got the flashbang completely in the face, but Exist came in to save the day, and a nice flank coming in from Forest as well to back him up. Dignitas now finally been broken in terms of the money. They're going to be on to Desert Eagles and Tech 9s. Just a flashbang to work as well, looking like they're going for a simple contact B play here. And this will be, as soon as they're spotted, going to burst into the bomb site. That smoke's maybe going to slow them down, though.
I do like the adjustment, though, from Get Right. Putting himself all the way back towards Kitchen. Giving up the site to some degree, but doesn't want to just take these deagles and these pistols lightly. Then again, it leaves Pitt in a bit of a bad spot here. Leaves Pitt out on his own towards short. He gets picked up super comfortably, and that could be a gun back into the hands of Dignitas now. Bomb down. This is not going well. Rubinho's having an absolute whale of a time. That's 2 kills back to back, and the damage comes in again, but Freiburg at least hits the shot. But there's Kievi with that deagle. Suddenly the rifle's back to play towards MSL, but they're keeping this one to check. And this config can do some of that deagle magic and just about controlled by Exist in the end, but you've got to start worrying when you get taken down to one final player in a 1v1.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, right? They didn't really invest that too much into that round. Just that CZ doing some absolute work. It was Pitt that got dropped first without a single return. Retake was very difficult indeed, but Exist stepping up once again, gets his 16th frag after 10 rounds. He's firing on all cylinders right now. And that's actually 4 in a row for an IP, so definitely bouncing back after the initial 6-0 deficit. Still not picking up an AWP. Money still isn't a fantastic situation for them. All these rounds coming down to these 1-on-1, and they are just about holding on by the skin of their teeth.
It's just having that huge swing up in form here. Certainly assisting towards that A side that they were consistently losing earlier on. Forrest just getting a little overwhelmed with it, so great adjustment coming through. Freiburg holding mid now, a little bit better with Pitt as well, but Dignitas yet to get that full play through, and it looks like they're going to try and just pick up the pace here. And Freiburg, again, completely flash, unable to deal with it, but Forrest this time is completely blind. He's right next to them. He can only find one in the end. And now the trades go favourably towards Dignitas, leaving the last 2 players stuck in between a rock and hard base. Before Exist again, last man alive on this site at least, and it's perfectly handled.
He gets another 2 kills to actually secure the round. He's like the last player alive. He's like, Freiburg seems to be getting dropped as soon as they come through that connector area. It doesn't seem to have much impact whatsoever. And as soon as Exist is just left alive, you just know he's going to do something with it. Staying patiently between for the shadow area there, takes the bomber down, gets the second as well, secures the round. It's him and Forrest really are leading the charge. There's a replay on his screen right now. Such influential kills. And it's Get Right to finish things off there as well. But there we go. Dignitas unable to get the bomb down there. It's actually full loss bonus for them now, so you can definitely get AK-47s going forward. You can see Exist so confident right now, spraying through the smoke. Doesn't manage to land any shots just yet. But once again, Dignitas going for the similar mid-play we've seen. Is much more aggression with the Seeds this time. Freiburg's dropped down towards middle. It's going to be a flurry of frags coming in for the Swedes. Freiburg and Pitt picking up one each, and now they can actually justify falling back and allowing the Danes to answer back here.
Actually like that little bit of a switch up coming out from Freiburg then. He
Yeah,
was
it's good.
struggling, to be fair, in window, in connector. Well, all right, let me see what else can I do here. All right, let's pressure mid. A little unfortunate for Dignitas, obviously, at that point. MSL and Kievi have been absolutely fundamentally brilliant playing through that, but now Get Right's going to be the one on the verge here with Pitt, holding into this B side. Tensky and Config, both around. Rubinho's a mile away from this. He's still over by A Palace with Freiburg and Forrest still watching, so you're going to see the peak come out. And actually, Tensky gets it towards Pitt, but the flash is perfect. Pronax, the one who kind of came up, or at least came to the forefront with that one, and Config burning alive, eventually gets put out of his misery by Exist. But, oh well, words are hard. Handled round.
It's not like you're paid to talk for a living or anything, so
Jesus Christ,
don't worry
Henry.
about it. It's fine.
I tried to be so nice, Henry,
Yeah,
and this is
dunno.
all I get.
I'm just in a mean mood today, I guess.
Yeah, apparently so. It was all that gin last night. It just made you a little
I
bitter.
don't drink.
That's
so
a lie.
Anyway, we saw a nice aggressive mix of a play there from NIP. They went forwards middle, flashbangs coming over, Freiburg jumping out of connector. They find the first 2 kills, and it's a lovely setup towards B. That boost up on the side from Pitt, spotting footsteps for Get Right. He does the perfect flash, and they secure the round. That's 6 in a row now. So it went from 6-0 to 6-6, and now we have Dignitas onto yet another partial buy here, just with Tech 9s, smoke grenades, and some armor as well. This would, for me, would spell out an A-sided attack. But they've got 3 players on underpass right now, so that's a huge grenade, does a lot of damage, and Exist getting valuable information as well.
Yeah, Freiburg being put towards the side this time. So adjustments again being formed here by Nib. Not just going to be sitting back on and resting on their laurels. It looks as though they're dealing with this one perfectly well and not losing a singular player. Really nicely done in the end, and Pitt picking up a couple. Finally going to buff out that scoreboard for himself. It's been a little bit lackluster, to be fair, but then again, they've started to pick up the rounds and start to deal with Dignitas. He hasn't had too much to handle, to be fair. Very few B plays coming through without Get Right.
He's been on the retake a lot of times, and coming back to the bomb side. But finally, Dignitas do get another full buyback on the board here. They've got 5 AKs, no AWPs that actually exist. Uncharacteristically picking up the AWP, so let's see what he can do with it. Does almost take down MSL there towards middle. It's going to be Forrest keeping the aggression up. Double kill from him towards the A ramp. And Exist does take down MSL, but finally Dignitas do answer back. But they are a man down here on the A site.
Alright, Exist, what do you have? How much more can you give? At the moment, just kind of roasting alive. That's not too much, but it is down to these last two players. Tensky's yet to get towards the site as well. He's got the bomb to hand, so smoke's down towards jungle. You've got CT being held, so he's relatively safe in this one, unless someone went on a crazy push through smoke, which no one's going to do. And it's retake time now for the CT side. Every player has a kit. They've got a hell of a lot of utility to clear out all these corners. So T-side going to try and take the turn here, and Pit gets the lineup, and he gets down both. And the defuse will come in nice and easy.
Obviously, Dignitas didn't really have any footing on any part of the bomb site there, so they needed to swarm something, get some control. Went for the flashbang in CD spawn. Pit dodges it effectively and gets a double spray down. That's very efficient kills from him, and actually keeps 3 players alive for NIP. 8 in a row now. Dignitas feeling the pressure once again. Very similar scenes to what we saw on Train. Great start from them, and this seems like once NIP get their heels stuck in and start to stabilise their money, they have really come to life. It exists keeping the AWP, as I said, uncharacteristically. We don't really see him at all in the previous iterations of NIP. Sometimes picks up the auto sniper, but that's about it.
Maybe he's their new main AWPer, who knows?
I definitely don't think so, but it's a poor smoke towards the top of middle, and he will get some sort of vision on it. Forrest, on the other hand, takes down Rubino once again. He's been so aggressive on that A ramp, gets another pick, and now then exists looking towards underpass, getting some backup towards the top of mid, because that's where Dignitas actually are.
And there's some terrifying confidence to stay out here at the moment, but he's going for it. Flash comes in, and I guess if he's feeling the play at the moment, he's going to just run with it. But it's MSL to find Freiburg, so that's his support system gone down, but it doesn't seem to matter. He finds MSL anyway. Pit comes in from short, and suddenly it's not looking so good, but at least for Config and Tensky, they're finding kills to bring it back to this 2v2.
So 1 minute to play with as well. Forrest and Get Right up against Config and Tensky. They don't really have any sort of information to work with the T, so there's going to be apartments here. And Forrest coming in from underpass gives his hand away and brings it into a 2 versus 1. So much time to play with. The mind game's about to start. Get Right needs to work out where he's going to position himself going forward. Decides to go in towards the underpass himself. So this could work out very nicely, you know. Like he'd have a full backstab coming in. It does, if he does commit to actually going in towards B.
Alright, Get Right. What have you got here? Config and Tensky are taking their time. They are being super cautious about this, and
I'm not sure if he spotted one of the butts
he's going for
of the T's, but I don't
a bit
think
of
he
a
did.
fake flash towards me. He definitely didn't, but you're going to hear the plant noises coming. You're going to hear a couple of footsteps now and then. But this is going to be an awkward retake for him. They're not actually keeping this in mind at all. They are completely positioned for a push coming down short, maybe towards kitchen, but the longer he takes now, the more they're going to start considering, okay, where is he? Well, there's the first one. He doesn't get the clean shot, but he does get it off in the end. And now he's got to know where the remaining player is. Fakes it out, waiting patiently for Tensky, and Tensky goes on the peak. He gets the tag, but he backs away. And oh, the great timing from Tensky then to take the fight. Get Right caught with his pants down, or I guess a grenade in hand. And just well done.
Yeah, it's a difficult clutch, right? Because it's very footing into that clutch whatsoever. He manages to get one with a decent backstep from the B apartments, but it was a really nice face from Tensky. As soon as the fake defuse came in, you would assume like Get Right would go back onto the fake defuse. He pulls a nade out. It's just a really good read from him.
Yep.
And it brings them finally, after losing 8 in a row, they get number 7 on the board. So it's a big round for them to win, but NIP actually winning the first half there on the CT side. So that's, I consider the deficit they had. I think that's not bad at all.
Yeah, good little turn up. But for Dignitas, again, looking pretty solid here. Comfortable at the moment. I think once they got into the swing of things early on, I'm hoping they can find their form a little bit in the second half. I want to see NIP kind of pushed a little harder on their T side. The T side then again did look very nice on train, but I don't know if you can really transfer too much between these maps. But then again, the core dynamics and the fundamentals will always transfer. But it was Freiburg who stood out to me as well with his entries. He was actually on point.
Yeah, well, for me, the MVP has to be exist of this first half. The fact
100%.
that what did he finish on? It was like 24 frags or something after the first half. I don't really have it,
ridiculous.
but it was just like every single time they're on the back foot, he found 2 kills by himself. Was just so effective on the A-bomb site, big in some clutches as well. So I feel like Dignitas feeling the heat a little bit. Let's have a look at the second half. Pistol buy here coming in, and will be NIP switching over. We'll see what they'll be purchasing. PT50 drops. And NIP actually do this quite a lot, they can drop a couple of PC50s and then just have one player on smoke, and it means they boost the gunpowder. It's not like a raid boss, you just have one person who's got the upgrade. It's a couple of guys who can have armor and PT50s. And that's going to be Forest on the PT50 this round. It's actually only a singular this time, but flashbangs and sets of armor. Let's see what they decide to do there.
So Forest going to be holding the rotate in mid if they do go for a straight up B hit, but not to be the case just yet. Bomb is being left back in the apartments. A couple of players toying with underpass, and MSL getting a little bit ruined early on. Not ideal to be down to 2 HP, but look at Config going walkabouts. He just turned at the wrong second, and Pit will pick up the kill. Opening up this B bomb site, and look at the pace coming out from NIP. They are pouring into this. They've now spread out the player towards short as well. Tensky's position duly noted. The fight, the challenge comes through. Get Right finds MSL, and the site is looking more and more clear at this point.
Really weird decision for Config to push into the B apartment so early on into the round. They haven't really gained any intel whatsoever. He drops, and like you said, they make their way quickly into the bomb site. But Rubino, though, coming to life, he finds 2 kills and suddenly makes this realistic for the CTs. Well, that definitely doesn't. Trying to build some romance here, Lauren. It's like trying to make it feel like they could have done something with that round, but unfortunately, Rubino's efforts were flattened. So there we go. NIP gifted a kill towards his B apartments to kick things off. It felt like that was a very early decision for them to be pushing the B apartments. Can be a very effective strategy when it's a kind of mid-round. A couple of kills have been exchanged, and they've showed heavy footing towards middle, but there it is. NIP finally winning their first pistol this evening. 1 out of 4.
That's a very good point. They have been a little bit lackluster on it. That's the only thing they've seemingly been lacking, but then again, they've been able to bounce back well enough, so I guess I can't really give them too much stick until it becomes a real issue, which may be down the line at some point. But for now, confidence keeping them through in the gun rounds, and we'll be seeing a little bit of a mid-touch coming out from MSL. And there's the swing out, doesn't go too well, and the Deagles and the CZs will be put aside, and not a piece of damage placed towards the NIP boys, as they do take a little bit of their time here.
Not a full force here from Dignitas. Just going to have Rubino on there. CZ and head arm, and the rest of the guys just getting some deagles, trying to keep the money a little bit more honest. It's a 5-on-3. Should be a 5-on-2. A big struggle from Exist, and actually gets punished as well. So a little bit of a whiff from him, but does get taken down by Get Right in the end. This could be Tensky and Rubino remaining now. Bomb making its way towards the B apartment. You can see the CT's kind of sticking together towards middle. That Deagle and Tensky could cause some damage from short, but let's see how this one pans out.
Forrest peering in, already has the angle towards short. That's Tensky down. He took a lot of damage for it, but kill nonetheless. Bomb planted, 4 in sight, and already Get Right expecting maybe a play around the back, and Rubino maybe looking to see if he can get anything out of this one, get in a position to catch someone on the way out, but I doubt Get Right would let him get away with that as he is closing in. But then again, let's see what position they end up in and see if Get Right's expecting this.
So Rubino, the last man remaining. Bomb is ticking away. They might be about to get the double figures here as well, but Get Right is ready. Does take a headshot, but finishes off Rubino there. We'll have a look at the money for the CTs. This is supposed to be a pretty much full eco coming in from them. Don't really have much to work with here. Could get a 5-7 on Kiabi. We'll see whether they go for a push up middle, maybe a stack towards B. Let's see what they bring into the table this round. You'd assume NIP are going to take this very slowly indeed and try and work out where this pressure may be applied.
Right, did have a decent enough spawn to A. I wonder if he fancies his chance. He does only have the SMG, so no, backs away, just chills that out. And again, as you said, taking it cautiously. Don't know what Dignitas are doing. You don't know what they're coming up against. You can see instantly keeping their eyes trained towards that mid push up, bearing in mind that MSL did end up flying up there. Then Kiebi tried his luck as well. So, well worth keeping in mind. And we do see that Dignitas do like to do this, gain that knowledge throughout the map as best they can. But so far, a very slow and patient NIP coming to this one. Get Right being given fair bit of freedom over towards A. He's just been wandering around trying to get anyone out of spot. There are 3 players over there, but pretty far away by this point.
Not really much to report. CT spread out. That's going to be the first pick coming in for Forest. He does take down Config towards the B site. I assume he was jump shooting. And we'll see how the CT's rack. See, they've got 3 players stacked towards A right now. This will be a matter of time before NIP will be closing this round out. Get Right solo towards A. Just trying to show his hand there. A couple of smokes coming in. Get a bit of attention towards that side of the map, and that's going to be a lot of it if he gets the first kill. That's going to take him out Matensky in the end, but that's going to be signalling the rest of his teammates to make their way towards the B-bomb site.
Oh, lovely as well from Forest to find MSL, just waiting ever so patiently on the side, but can't get much for it, and the bomb not yet to go down. So hands a pin, just waiting to see if anyone poured through, see if there's anyone to challenge it out, actually. As Kiebi will just kind of walk into existence. Tensky, last man alive, he did recover the SMG, but I doubt he's going to find much with this one, as only Exist is really towards short at this point, and he's looking so readily for a chance. And actually gets a good connection then, but they're going to go for a couple of jump shots, and he can already hear the footsteps closing in, and NIP are desperate to punish all of the Dignitas guys here as Pit is just round that corner. Pre-fire comes in, but Pit gets the kill. NIP getting themselves up a nice amount of rounds here, and Forrest being another player who's been consistently thriving as well with Exist.
Yeah, absolutely. He's obviously currently on 20 kills as well, so hitting into the 20s, looking very strong indeed, and he's picked up the AWP to enter round number 4 here. We have got Team Dignitas with 5 M4A4s. A little bit of a difficult buy from the incendiaries, but let's see what they can bring to the table this time. A couple of kits to work with, and we can see Rubino making his worst, going to go towards connector for a gun Molotov out.
Oh, this is going to be big. Forrest straight in on the peak here, expecting for the jump up, maybe the peak from the side of the van, and tags up Config. Lovely little hit, but then they just whizzes past and still looking for more. He might need to readjust here. 1 minute and 30 on the board, and the kills are starting to come in favour to Dig, but Pit through the smoke just finds one out of nowhere, but MSL gets him a little better off here. And there we go. Finally the pinch comes in from Get Right, playing through that Palace position. And now 3v3. Bomb still over by the B site. Things should settle down soon, but then again, Tensky wanted to get the peak.
Config was that player who got tagged at the start. He's gone on 23 HP. And I still with plenty of time to work with as well. No smokes, but they have got flashbangs and a Molotov. We'll see where they decide to go. Interesting enough, they look at Kiabi. He's pushed down the lower ramp here. He could be the thorn in NIP's side here. He pushed up. He's quite an advantageous position, but Forrest is ready. He takes him down. That should secure the round here, as we've got Tensky and Config on the retake. They have no real control of the A bomb site right now. NIP looking confident as they make their way into the site.
Tensky would have to pull off something pretty incredible to really make a dent into this. Config already knows that as well. He's going to go around towards connector, see if he can hinder maybe a plant towards short, see any information, find anything out. The spray comes in from Tensky. He really doesn't get much connected. No, by Tetris. Forrest is just waiting, just going to adjust a little off the back. Exist waits to sight, and Get Right moves up for the kill. There's Config trying to close in as well. 2 players going to have perfect time in between this, and it's not working out. Exist already finds one, and he finds a second. Just again closing out these rounds well, as NIP's T-side starting to look actually pretty well-rounded. Yeah, they're just working quite a simple game right now, biding their time, not rushing into any sort of commitments or decisions, working a pick. It was Forrest that got that leg towards the side of B, got the player down there, and there's this great actual teamwork and synergy coming in there as well. We saw the tag coming in from connector, Get Right ready on the flank as well on the A-bomb side as the rotations came in. It was just a really efficient round for them there, and it's going to be detrimental to Dignitas going forward. You can see how that's affected their money. They've lost the first 4 rounds there, and it's going to be Desert Eagles and PT50s once again, and you can see how ready NIP are for this for them. Such a passive mentality, looking for any sort of aggression, coming back to the top middle, pushing into towards the B apartments, not giving anything away right now. So far their anti-ecos have been pretty decent, to be honest. They've been playing the double stack up by the top of mid, just waiting to see people push up, which, to be fair, has happened on occasion, especially when we had this sort of buy before. A couple of pistols between them. But then again, we didn't see many of the later stages of this, see how well it worked out. Generally, they got the pick to start with, or at least gifted an opportunity to then work off the back. So I'm interested to see how they want to define getting that advantage. They have a lot to work with, still 3 mollies to hand as well. So plenty on the board. Still a lot of time here. You can see them making sure they don't make any mistakes. Want to keep the CTs guessing here. They're for a 4-man stack towards A.
It's going to be poor old Tensky towards the B side of the map. It's looking like NIP are shifting their mentality towards an A split, though. You can see 2 players ready by connector, and the bomb making its way through T-spawn as well. So they'll just be waiting for the setup to come in, and you'd assume they'll be pintering the bomb site momentarily.
Well, at least the stack's in the right place so far.
They still have loads of smokes as well. They could do a full execution onto this side of the map if they wanted to.
I'm curious to see how well Dignitas can actually deal with this one. It's going to be tough. You can see the smoke coming out towards stairs. You can see the little pop flash towards ramp, and here we go. It is time to get into the side, but there are 4 players waiting. Now, Kievi was the only one with a bit of armor. He was holding on that push-up from Connector. Now the last remaining 3 trying to keep their cards close to their chest. Rubinho shows his. He does finally get challenged out, but there's still a player waiting in the corner and back of the site. And there it is. That's Config turning up, and Config doing so much work. He needs to hit one more shot. He can't do it. Pit comes out, but if you don't check the sights and there's that one man lurking, so much danger could be up
This is the thing. They looked really disciplined and controlled for like the first minute of the round, and then you saw NIP panicking a little bit. They were kind of walking over the way and realised they only had 25 seconds and actually executed. It got really messy, and when you only have like 10 seconds remaining and you still haven't cleared the bomb site out, some mistakes are going to be made, right?
Yep.
And Config at the back there somehow comes out and takes the bomber down, unable to finish it off. It would have been an absolute abomination for an IP to lose that round, but they just about hold on. Another clutch going in their favour, but when it's round number 6, it's a stabilisation of the money for Team Dignitas. Have got their AWP back onto MSL. Definitely not renowned as a world-class AWP, but it's more of a necessity that he's having to fulfill this role at the moment. But there it is. It works out for him as he takes down that first pick onto Pit, who's trying to make his way up towards short.
Yeah, not been able to see too much of it on the CT side, so maybe a nice presence in towards these next couple of rounds. They certainly need a little bit of a deal breaker here, because NIP was starting to get a real flow to their game going, but at this point, Dig yet to really have to worry about too much, as they did get that opener gifted to them as Pit did just step out a little too far towards Sean. Of course, MSL will take that challenge readily, and Reno needs to be a little bit cautious here. Getting challenged down by Connector. Tries to get out of that corner as he does. Pop flash towards window, and Exist looking to maybe find a little bit of a challenge if he can, but no one's going to be caught out at this point. And again, NIP taking their time on these rounds.
Yeah, they're making even the man disadvantage here, looking like they're setting up for another A attack. They don't have the smokes to work with this time. It's have to be more of a slow approach, walk into the bomb site, see what you can do here. And it's going to be Forrest with the AWP. You'd assume they're waiting for him to try and open this up, but once again, 30 seconds remaining. Exist towards the middle, trying to cause a little bit of distraction here. Here comes the contact play now from the terrorist. Exist opens it up, and they actually have vision of the CT player as well. That's going to be Kiabi waiting, lying in wait.
It's such an awkward shot to hit. Forrest was considering it, but it's MSL who's keeping this round perfectly in check until then. Exist takes the fight. He's got 3 kills coming in for NIP so far, but he can't do any more. Now Forrest in the 1v2. He does have the P250, still great tag then, but now being pressured from both sides. The bomb is planted pretty perfectly for him. He needs to take one of those 2 fights, and he can't find the timing on it. Kievi is there, well handled by Dig in the end, and the difference that AWP made coming for MSL was massive.
Yeah, he picks up 3 frags. That's a pretty huge contribution going forward. They did do a decent showing on that 2-on-2. It looked like somehow Forrest could have done something with the PT50, but unfortunately, just the pincer coming in from the CTs was too strong for him, and he gets taken down. So finally, after 5 rounds in a row, Team Dignitas finally get around here. It's going to be 13 plays 8, but it's a full investment coming in once again. If they were to lose this round, Lauren, that's going to be pretty much GG at this point. They need to make sure they win this round. They can't afford to lose it. Well,
all right, MSL, can you do it again? I'm hoping you can find something here, because he was so big in their previous game, especially on this map as well. But then again, NIP just hitting the brakes, waiting to see if there's that touch of aggression, waiting to see if anyone's trying to do some crazy plays almost to try and tip the odds into their favour, but not this time. Both sides, knowing the weight of the value to this round, just can be taking as much time as possible. And of course, CT side holding onto that utility as long as they can. Still a good couple of smokes, flashes, nades, and even a molly on Tensky. So eventually going to have to invest in this, but so far doing well enough. And NIP fully set as well.
No one really committed to anything just yet. You can see NIP holding towards the top of middle very patiently indeed. CT's making the same mistakes. They're pushing into B apartments. Just going to be holding back. And now this is the time to gain some control. Exist in towards the underpass. They are to smoke out window as well. Just going to be clearing out areas like Connector and seeing whether any AWP is going to be a nuisance to them. It's going to be MSL smoked out for now. He's on the A bomb site. It's looking like maybe a B split coming in from NIP. They're setting themselves up quite nicely for it. 1 player holding Connector, 2 in B apartments. The next frag will be coming in as Config. And hear footsteps coming for his way.
And Rubino's already pushed up towards the B site as well. There's very little vision or control there towards mid and short, or the B apps at the point. we are at, but the boost is there, and I think Rubino's going to try and take the fight, but gets overwhelmed. Pit takes him down, but MSL has adjusted with the AWP. How much can he do? Config is still on the side itself, but NIP methodically checking it, and they do get full control in the end as MSL left a mile away, but still doing damage, but this should be 14-8 now.
He really needs to save his AWP at this point. As I said, this is a full reset coming in. CTs will only get $1,400 going into the next round, and after this, it's going to be 14 plays 8. They need to save the AWP. It's the only lifeline they have going forward now. So I would say as an NIP player, let's hunt him down. We can't afford to let him stay. Keep that. Let's just finish this right here, right now. Currently towards CT spawn, looking for any exits he can, and you can see the T's don't really have any idea as to his position. So should be able to save here. After getting 2 frags, he definitely deserved it. Let's see whether he can hold on as the bomb is about to explode.
I don't think anyone's close enough. Freiburg did look for it in the end, but ended up checking down by ramp, and no one thought to look at CT, and MSL just about gets away with it. I guess you have to just just give it a good try at that point if you're digging test and just excuse me if you're nip. But yeah, this is pretty much, as you can see, the money there. Going to be a real tough round, and MSL is going to have to put the team on his back pretty much.
Well, he could have dropped a Famister as well, so that's kind of interesting. I think he had like $2,600, yeah, $2,700. I'm not sure why he wouldn't drop a Famister, kind of try and boost him up. It's going to be Forrest to open things up there. He takes down Kiabi, and it's going to be a 3-man stack still for Dignitas towards A. Pitts coming in towards Palace now. Rubino waiting for him in the CZ. This could be a very key exchange. If you find the first kill here, could mean everything, but it's going to be Pitt that comes out on top.
Yeah, Rubino goes down, but will they expect more players by Dark? Config just swings out on it. Tensky gets the kill, and there we go. Suddenly it's into a 3v2, and look at all the guns on the Dignitas side. NIP just doesn't get the hit they need, and now Get Right left reeling off the back of that. Great little stack from Dignitas, and you know, certain players like Tensky just pouring through at the right time, basically.
Must-win round there for Dignitas. It wasn't actually the AWP that stepped up. It was the CZ players going in aggressive on lower ramp, and you feel like NIP have been so disciplined and patient on all the other previous rounds. This round they decided to just walk into the A bomb site, get punished for it as well, and it's just going to be Get Right here. Not an impossible situation for him. If ever there's a man to clutch a 3-on-1, he'd be up there. Well, the bomb in hand towards middle. CT don't really have any idea as to where he is right now.
The thing is that Rubino is watching this. Excuse me, Tensky is watching this, but then again, as you said, it's Get Right, so there may be a small chance at this one, and now the 2 players polarized by both sides.
MSL pushing off towards short. We have Get Right still. He's made his way towards underpass. Time ticking away though. 25 seconds remain. You can see the CT's feeling the pressure a little bit. They're not together. Most teams in these sort of situations would be, let's stay together, let's make sure wherever he goes we can retake effectively together, but they've actually opted to separate here, giving him a real window of opportunity. Making his way towards the B apartments. Actually will spot the barrel, and that's the kill, and has plenty of time to plant as well. This would be an absolute shocker for Dignitas to drop here. 3-on-1, worked so hard to get into it. Config has got a kit to work with, and an AK-47 as he comes through kitchen now.
Get Right knows exactly where he is. That flash gave away the game to a degree. Now Get Right just holds the angle, and he gets it. Beautiful stuff from the veteran. You said if there was any man who could pull it off, it would be him, and Dignitas... Oh, you've got to be absolutely bitter after dropping that round.
They worked so hard for that, and like I said, they separated in that kind of clutch situation. Even if you're not going to play separated, play very safe. Like play in that kitchen area, I'd say. Like there's actually just make sure you've got a place to rotate effectively, and you can spot him and call for your teammate to come in. I was playing on short. I'm not really sure what he was watching there. There seemed to have no real consideration that B apartments might be a possibility, but there we go. This is potentially the last round here. NIP looking to finish it in similar fashion. 16-8 was on train as we go into round number 9 here. First pick coming in for Pitt, and it's going to be him getting a double as well. Very nice work from him indeed.
Great stuff from Pitt there. Now 5v3. Yeah, he still has the rifle though, so maybe he could find something. But again, looking flustered, frustrated, he's going to peek out and go for it. Can't get much done as well. I think Dignitas are kind of playing with the mindset that this one is all but done. As they're down to the last 2 players, Exist will find Config, and Rubino, the last man standing with the CZ. Sadly, absolutely no chance in this one. And there it is. Pitt will close it down with the 3K and a great debut in the ESL Pro League from NIP.
Absolutely, 2-0 here today, and this is a new-looking NIP. They seem like they've kind of done a lot of homework here. They've got a lot in their strategy book. Seems like they're being very disciplined in certain situations. So that seemed to be very impressed. Exist dropping a 30 bomb there on Mirage. Very impressive stuff. I think most of the guys hit into 20s. There's only Freiburg, who after having a very convincing train game, only got 8 frags total. But it doesn't really matter. The team are winning 16-8. Like, it's not a massive deal. He was struggling towards that connector area. But there, NIP looking very strong indeed. And colour me impressed.
Yeah,
that was good.
I don't know what to say. I think Pitt, I think we need a little more time with him to see how he really fits into the role. But it seems so far that it's more the composure that NIP is showing that's really impressed me. It's a massive difference and a great step up. I can't wait to see how much Threat can do with that as well. See if that's an addition they can find. But then again, this just makes everything so much harder in the Pro League for any other team who's not having a good day. Because now suddenly, not only do you have Dignitas who can play, you've now got Nip who've actually turned up a little bit. But then again, this is early. That's enough from us. But let's hear from the analysis desk.
Thank you very much, guys. What a way to end it there. A beautiful little 1v3 from Get Right. Or, I mean, you could say well done, Get Right, but you could also say what a disaster for Dignitas. Well, they were a bit of sea there.
It was obvious that there was some miscommunication going on with MSL watching
Kitchen,
Kitchen. But I don't know why in that case they just don't. MSL doesn't just go big, enters the B apps and goes a bit forward, because he had time to do it, and the other player, I think it was Tansky, he could just go A apps. That way they can, play a safer position, and still if Gatorade has to come into a site, right, to plant the bomb, and then they have an upper hand. But yeah, it was a good play from him in the end.
Let's rewind.
Some vintage Gatorade and right there.
Absolutely. Let's rewind all the way back to the start, of course. It was a 6-0 start for Dignitas. They only got 8 rounds total in the entire games. Everything was going so well for them. And then it got to the second rifle round for NIP, and then Exist just turned it on.
Yeah, Exist was nuts. I think he played very, very well this entire game. We even saw him go to the AWP. He was feeling so confident at times. They get 18 kills when the rest on his team had something like 10, or the next best on his team had 10. As much as Exist did very well inside of that A site to buy himself some space multiple times, I think that Dignitas was also a little bit one-dimensional tonight. I don't think they went B more than maybe twice at best in the entire first half, so it was a little bit predictable.
His ace kind of just going away from him. Wasn't flashed by Get Right at the end. We figured out
this round, like this, just where Exist was the default side position. So Dignitas did their thing. They went for mid control, but they didn't have anyone coming out of A app. So when they pushed connector and ramp, Exist was untouchable in this spot. He could just peek left and right, and there was no one from A apps to trade with him. That's exactly why you always have a player going A apps on the T side, so he can trade with a player playing from site.
Yeah, and usually not only that, it gets even better because they can Molotov down from the ladder, which we often see, which means he has to get forced out and into a wide angle against the guys at ramp.
Following round, he was in shadow.
Yeah. There was a couple of rounds that were very close, though. I mean, it was going down to the wire on a lot of them, a lot of one-on-ones, but NLP were just coming out on top in the duels mainly.
Yeah, they won a lot of those clutches. It felt like, Config was in that force buy round. He had a deagle and a couple of great rounds from them all around. It seems that they just look really good.
And you
really
spin
solid.
onto NIP's T side. We saw obviously they won out the pistol, and then clearly a bit of homework done, because we were saying at the time, Dignitas, when they get those deagles on the second round, they pushed up like they did against Virtus Pro. They pushed up the top of mid and caught them off guard. NIP just sat right back waiting for them.
I think that's the influence of Threat.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because the NIP looked much more patient, I think, than they ever have in this game. And I think Henry highlighted a few times that they were willing to sit back and just wait to see what Dignitas was going to do. And I think that MSL's been relying a little bit on catching teams off guard with some aggression. And in this game, I think individuals failed to adjust in some ways on Dignitas, because once their initial play broke down, their default broke down, NIP ran away with a bed of rounds. And the economy favored them as well. They reset them late. I think they reset them in the middle of the half as well. So it was just the worst case scenario for their CT side.
Yeah, and they also had some good executes, getting that mid control, going for a B split, and you can see that Dignitas even had 3 players on B, so they knew it was going to be a B hit, but it's just that they lost control of Catwalk, they lost control of B apps, and at that point you're getting pinched, and no matter how many, even with 3 players, it's hard to defend from that, and they were on point getting all the entry kills as well.
One thing I want to go back to on the CT side is just to mention Pitt, because we haven't seen as much from him. He was in the B site, and initially, if you press tab and looked at his score, I think he was like 4 for 12 or something, or 5 for 12. I don't think that was representation at all of his play, because if you're only ever retaking a site, down a man, and there's no one coming to you on your site, you're going to look bad. But then all of a sudden, within 2 rounds, he had 3 kills and 2 kills. So he shut down B the time they did go there, that 1 or 2 times they did. And then on the next round, and actually, no, I take that back. He got the 3 kill actually walking out catwalk. So he was really good in his rotation to know mid needed support. And on the next round, they went A. They'd already shut down mid, and rather than going through mid, where it was already taken care of, he rotated through CT, which was actually quite smart because it put him, again, in a position to clutch out with 2 kills. So I thought he was actually quite good at communicating and rotating. So
Yeah, not a bad opening debut for him in the Pro League. And not a bad opening debut for NIP overall. 16-8 both maps. Are we all aboard the NIP train for 2016? What's going on here?
Nope.
Nope.
I mean, they are looking.
I'm suited up and ready to go on the NIP train.
They're looking solid, but I need to see more from them before I can call it really and say that they're back and they're a contender again. So yeah, so far so good for them, but still need more games.
Certainly a good fresh start for them, no doubt about it. Let's check out the results, obviously, as they stand from tonight. It was a pretty decent night of action overall. Na'Vi, of course, 16-9 and 16-12 over Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro, it's just been a stinker for them. The start of the Pro League has gone horrific, and they are almost out of qualification chances already just within week 2. Disaster stuff. NIP, though, started off fresh. 16-8, both on Train and Mirage. Looking good against Dignitas. Good stuff overall.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of... I just saw Taz tweets like a work in progress, stay calm, which is, I mean, a good way to go about it. You know, they are working on something, they're trying to change some things about their game, and that's a process which takes time. You know, obviously their results so far are taking a hit, but I mean, if the final product is what they want it to be, I mean, it's just something that needs to be done.
The crazy thing is, too, like a team like that, we always say they show up on LAN, and they've been favorable enough to walk into the LAN situations and get into those situations because they're already pre-invited, so majors included. But now with this league meaning so much, they do have to address the online.
It's a $200,000 hit they've taken already, basically. I mean, that's not going their way. It's as simple as that. It's a bit of a disaster for Virtus Pro fans, of course. Let's check out what is coming up tomorrow night, and that will be with just Pansy and Henry G going to be taking it away. We're going to be on flight to Barcelona. It's going to be Flipside up against FaZe Clan, and then Virtus Pro, well, work in progress or not, they've got to face Mouse Sports tomorrow, and that will be on Mirage and Inferno. That won't be an easy night for them either.
Definitely not. I mean, Mouse has been performing well lately. They even finally, I think they found a coach / in-game leader. It's NKJ as far as I know, but still, this might be a chance for VP, you know, to get a win, because on Inferno, that's not a map that Mouse Sports played a lot traditionally. They picked it up, you know, maybe just a couple of months ago, and yeah, might be a chance for VP to regain some confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys at home, don't forget also there is American action. If you would like to tune into that, it will be in around about 3 hours time. It's going to be Renegades up against CLG, and that'll be followed by Complexity versus Enemy. That is it for us tonight. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 7 Central European time. And don't forget this weekend, it will be Barcelona. We will all be there. We're flying on a plane at 6 a.m. in the morning, guys. We're all hyped for it. We'll see you there.
Where do you even go with that?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how we go with
So, tonight, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse, and that's to watch some 6CS. Otherwise, I'm going to have my boy Turtle over here come over to your place and have a few words. So, Turtle, how you feeling?
it is quite a clashing look we've got going on tonight. Like two ends of the fashion spectrum, I'd say, but both nailing it at the same time.
That's CS casters, man.
Yeah,
nobody's got anything.
We know
on
what
us.
we're doing. Yeah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling strong. Nice long sleep. Lovely Leicester as well. What could be wrong with my life right now?
No, it's perfect, man. You know, if you're at a LAN or a studio or whatever, if you can get more than like 6 hours sleep, you're doing something right.
This is godlike. This is like to have
doing
12
something
hours is like unheard of. So yeah, pretty good. And we've got an awesome night of CS coming up as well.
Oh yeah.
We've got NIP currently on a 4-0 win streak in 2016. Like that's
Some would say they've had an easier time.
yeah. Well,
A little bit of an easy time.
I don't mind that so much. Obviously, they're warming up. We're not sure what to expect from Pick coming in, and obviously Threads joining them. And I'm like a secret NIP fanboy. I think everyone knows that. Like I think everyone, yeah.
Except that I'm supposed to be eternally biased, right?
Yeah.
Because we used to, do Nip Gaming TV. So
Yeah, true.
of course, I never tweet about it, but I actually have, over my heart a Nip logo tattooed.
Oh, you're one of those guys as well.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But you'll never see it,
So NIP going against Navi. Tantalizing proposition. Obviously, this is the real test coming up now. We've had Mouse Sports, we've had Dignitas, two very good teams, but now this is it. You're coming down to the world-class status now. How do you feel?
On Train as well.
This is the thing, okay, so I actually casted the game between NIP and Dignitas. And on Train, I've never considered that to be an NIP map, at all. Like, it's a map they can play, and it's all right, and they have close games, like, they have taken Fnatic down to the wire on this map before, but they never seem to, win it. They never seem to, it's not a home map for them by any stretch. But when you watch them against Dignitas, right, it seems like they have been doing their homework. A lot of people call them out saying they potentially don't keep up with the meta, they're not actually employing the same sort of strategies that a lot of teams are, but watching them play against Dignitas, their inside executes and the way they're actually approaching the defaults to each round was actually pretty impressive. It wasn't a nip I've ever seen before. It looks like they're actually, you know what, well, we're actually going to listen to some of the comments this time and maybe take on board some of the criticism we've taken on the desk, for example.
Well, they're like right now they're fully in flux, right? They're trying to figure out how to play more of a structured side, and we saw that yesterday on Overpass, right? Where the comment was, well, they keep running the same strat over and over and over when they're taking that mid side on T side, right? The thing is, though, is that's necessary because Nip need to figure out how to play a game where you do have a plan and you are going to keep running that plan, and you need to know how to be able to adjust that plan on the fly because they're so used to playing this style that just relies on individual talent, a la Envy, a la Fnatic, right? Yeah. Where there's like an overarching game plan, but mainly it's every man for himself and just team play. Nip are trying to figure out, okay, we have that. Now we need to figure out that next level, which is to actually have some kind of strategy going into it. And, this is the tactic that we're going to run, and everybody's going to know what everybody's doing, all that sort of stuff, right?
That approach they have, right, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, like you mentioned before, Fnatic obviously rely on a much looser play style. They have a general overarching idea of where they're going with this and what areas they're going to be taking over and where eventually where they may be ending up. Like, obviously, mid-round calls are very important. That's why Fnatic are so sick of this game. Like, they can actually read the game so well and actually base their calls on the picks they get and adjust accordingly. Obviously, they have the skill to kind of back up anything that goes wrong as well. That's what makes them so good. But teams like NIP, I feel like they can do that, but when things go wrong and necessarily not making the frags or getting the picks they need, if Freiburg's not finding kills, he's having a quiet game, they need the set pieces and the executes to kind of fall back onto, just to kind of get them into a bomb side first. And I've casted games before when they've actually not even got the bomb down on T side. Like games on Inferno especially seem to struggle tremendously.
This has always been their Achilles heel, hasn't it? The fact that, they've always lived or died by their entry frags.
Yeah.
If Nip were able to get an entry, it's kind of like how now we're seeing that with Fnatic, where it's like if Wolfmeister gets the entry, like 90% of the time they win that round.
Yeah.
Like they're just so good at closing out the round once they have an advantage. Nip used to be like that. Nip used to have that same style. The thing is, though, if somebody were to tell me now that actually Fnatic, they all exited the womb together. They're like 5 twins. They have that bond where they grew up and they could read each other's minds. And they're just nobody could be closer than this team. To each one to another, right?
Yeah.
I'd believe it.
Yeah,
because
sure.
Fnatic, like the buddy system with that team, the ability to play off of each other is unreal. Like they are just so good. Like that's why they don't need necessarily these super strats because they're just so good at peeking angles together, at working together, making sure they trade, never losing that advantage, as I said, right? And if they get that entry, they know what to do from there.
Also, we briefly touched on it yesterday, the whole in-game leader vibe as well, like holding certain fraggers back. Like, is this actually can be a very strong fragger? If he's in-game leading, that kind of affects him. And for me, I said it yesterday, if that does affect you, you shouldn't be an in-game leader whatsoever. Like, if he's going to hold you back fragging, you actually feel like it's actually weakening you as your contribution to the team. I feel like that's actually suggest you're maybe not cut out for it. The fact they brought in Threat now, who's apparently, allegedly, going to be doing all the in-game leading. I'm not sure how well that's going to go down. Trying to control the NIP players. I think Natu can testify how difficult that can be, trying to even suggest ideas to them and make them change their minds. And whether this works out will be fantastic. I think Bjorn's got an amazing understanding of the game, and he has that experience, and he knows these players very well. And I hope it does work out for these guys, and they can hopefully relive some of the magic from 2014 and 2013.
I wonder, right? You know, the hope is there, but I suppose when Natu came in, they weren't quite at the bottom of the hole, right? You know, they were still kind of clinging on the side of the wall.
Sure.
You know, they just saw the vast black deep, you know, beneath them, but they could still see the light. And so maybe that's why the players never really, you know, adopted what Natu was saying.
Yeah.
They could still say, you know, if we just try hard enough, we can get up there again, right? Now with Threat, he's got them at the bottom of it, right? So there's nowhere else for Dip to go.
Can't get any deeper.
They can't get any deeper, so there's nowhere else for Dip to go. They need to actually listen to what Threat has to say and give to them here in these matches.
Right then. Well, we're getting into it. The pistol round has begun. Is going to be NIP starting on the T side here on Train. They have 4 sets of armor and a raid boss on Get Right as well. Freiburg with the single smoke. This normally suggests smoking down lower ramp and just bossing the bomb side. Basically, try and get the bomb down in any scenario. If you win the post-plant situation, that's great. Flamey of the HE grenade as well. You assume he'll be ready for them for the retake. He's actually in the inside bomb side as well. As soon as he spots this, he'll drop in the airstrike and trying to do a little bit of damage and potentially stop the bomb going down.
Yeah, they're making good use of their USPs here as well, although as I say that, Flamey takes a bullet to the face, so that's going to drop him down low. But still, they're trying to play exactly this angle. NIP aren't having any of that, though. They're going for the hard counter to this. It's like, you're going to play at the other side of the site? Great, we'll come and find you. We'll take away that range advantage that you have with the USPs. Although, as I say that, Edward hits 2 headshots right off the bat. Guardian follows up with another, and they're getting bogged down a little bit here. Get Right will trade up 1 for 2. But that's now just going to leave Freiburg alone here in a 1v2.
He has some control over this, though. He actually has a decent position. As I say that, they kind of overcommit to that,
Nice,
I would
Henry.
say.
Nice.
And it could have worked out, right? If they'd gone down the main tracks there, it could have worked out for him. He was hoping they'd go down, stick together, using the buddy system you mentioned earlier. Then he comes in for the backstab. That would have been cool. Caught out, like I said, overcommitted slightly a little bit too much. But NIP's approach to that round was actually pretty textbook. As soon as you get the bomb down, you're pushing up, like you said, taking the range away and just swarming any CTs that may be in there and trying to get to the connector area and towards spawn before the rotations come in. Unfortunately, Edward stepping in massively there, double headshot at the close range. Didn't really work out too well there. Bomb does go down for an IP, as I mentioned before. With an inside strat like that, you're almost guaranteed the bomb every single time. So it's a pretty low risk to obtain the bomb, and you potentially still have the chance to win the round, obviously. So looking like, do we have a pause?
We had a brief pause there.
It's okay.
I think it looks
It's
like
fine.
it was probably a technical issue,
So
though.
a lot of teams recently, especially yesterday, were actually opting to force up AKs in the second round, and I bring the Tech 9s as well. I feel like NIP are going for a more traditional approach here. They'll be going for full AKs next round and hoping that Na'Vi haven't prepared for it. But you can see 5 rifles. They're expecting a full AK going into this round, kind of make sure they don't drop a single frag here, Na'Vi, and just make sure they go up toe-to-toe next round. They're not going to risk any SMGs close range here.
No, just straight flash, exactly. A little bit of a dangerous position here for Flamey against P250s like this. If he gets flashed and they come bumming down that ramp, it's going to get nasty for him. He'll be within headshot range, and you run out of bullets so quickly, full spray with that FAMAS. So this is all going to come down to whether he's dead on with his aim to keep him alive, because the reinforcements, they're far away. Seized is all the way over in Link, just now starting to rotate back.
Yeah, so here, lower ramp, he knows he's going up against pretty much clocks. He can get a couple of kills and fall back. There won't be much chance of them taking him down, but here comes the first phase now. He will be spotted. Doesn't get much for his money, but he gets the intel. And fall back to this spools area. Flamey likes to play around here, / bomb drain. We'll see C's coming in to back him up as well. And the thing is, NIP don't really have many options here. There's no utility. There's 2 P250s and
4 P250s. Come on, Henry.
That's true. Why did I see 2? Is this me waking
I see a
up?
flash. I think that's the important thing here. I see a flash, and that flash is completely useless. All right.
Okay.
What? Oh, Pyth! He did it again! Pyth killed himself on the ladder!
Actually getting kind of interesting now. Forrest picks up a kill as well. Get Right's going to drop, but it's still a 3-on-2. Forrest with that FAMAS in hand. Guardian rotating in as well. Freiburg just at the PT50. They're kind of holding on now. They're actually doing some very decent damage here. And Forrest picks up a second as well. It's actually going to get down to the wire, you know. I have no idea how this is working out for an IP, but it's fantastic. Guardian now has got the kit and the M4, but 2 players to find, and he should be actually out of position there. Freiburg does do a little bit of damage. And now it comes down to Forrest. Can he finish this one off for the ace?
Yeah, Guardian's got that kit, but he is trying to play it smart. He has no idea what Forrest is, it seems. He's actually thinking he's all the way in the back trains, and that's going to cost him everything. He actually has to back out of here, and Forrest isn't going to let him. Ace on a full eco from Forrest.
That's insane.
All you need is one P250, Henry. That's the lesson that we learned here.
Apparently so. He picks up an ace. He takes down the first player, picks up a Famus, and Forrest. He had an amazing end to 2015. Like in terms of obviously NIP weren't playing very well, but him as an individual was absolutely fantastic, and he's carrying on this form into 2016 as well. We saw it yesterday, 40 kills versus Mousesports, and he's doing it again right now. Picks up an ace in the second round, and that's massive.
I'm sad that I got a little distracted with Pyth now. Forrest gets that ace, but there's some kind of weird balance in the world where Pyth, if he comes off that ladder on upper, he's just going to die. Pyth and ladders just don't mix. I think that they should start banning trade in the future just to try and get around that. Freiberg, speaking of which, he's going to wrap around onto the site and catch out. Actually, he doesn't even get the kill. He'll get the kill on Edward in the end. So nice turnaround here for NIP. Everything going pretty much according to plan, keeping 4 players alive in that anti-eco. And just sticking together as a unit, basically pushing onto that A site. So textbook stuff again.
Yeah, that was actual force buy from Navi as well. They had a scout and they had upgraded pistols and head armor as well. They were going, do you know what? If you're going to do that to us with PT50s, we'll do the same with 5.7s and the scout. But didn't really get much for it. So NIP know they're in a fantastic position here going forward. Got 3 AKs, a Deagle on Forest, and this the MP7 on Freiberg here. You'd assume they'll be slowing things down right now. They'll just be holding for any aggression coming in from the CTs. It's an inside stack actually from them. 4 players towards the B site, and it's just going to be Zeus. I gather some intel. I actually like this approach from NIP. Obviously, we saw Mousesports throwing away a lot of these key rounds and having some very questionable decisions yesterday. But NIP, I'm sure, have disciplined themselves from boot camp here. Every round counts in the E-League. You don't want to throw anything away here.
And I imagine they have threat setting right behind him. Hopefully he's got a bat or something.
Exactly.
Just like somebody peeks, they get smacked upside the head by threat. That should be everything going according to plan. Zeus is trying to take a bit of a battle here. Doesn't have exactly the best firepower for it with the P2000. Couple of headshots would do the trick though, so we'll see if he actually manages it. But he gets spotted on the train. Flash comes in, and without that Kevlar, he's just going to get nailed by Freiberg with that MP7. Pyth is there to wrap on seized, and just like that, the A side is wide open here for business. NIP rotating that bomb into the site. So now it comes down to Navi kind of just lurking around, hoping to be able to get lucky here. But so far, it's not really working out for him.
Yeah, very efficient stuff from NIP so far. Inside stack from Navi obviously not working out. They chose to go towards outside. Found Zeus, who was holding that area by himself, and now it's just poor old Edward with the USB against 5 players and a bomb to find. He won't even have a chance at an exit kill here. To be fair, he might as well try and do something with this. He's not actually saving anything. The only real benefit of staying alive is not giving NIP another $300. That's about it.
Or 6 if it's Freiberg, right?
Oh, yeah, that's
You want to
true.
get away from Freiberg, basically. Die to the other guys, that doesn't matter. But if you give Freiberg an extra 6, it's going to be Forrest on his way out, though. He's got the Deegs. That's the best action. That's actually the best chance, and he nearly does it. Edward, man, he's so scary with the pistols.
Well, then we go into round number 5 here. The problem is, obviously, the force buys come in. Guardian's not going to AWP. The world's best AWPer. This is why normally on the force buys, your AWPer won't pick up armor at all. He may not even get an upgraded pistol just to make sure he has the AWP and has something to work with, maybe a flashbang. But he's going to be going in now with the M4A1 and a smoke and a flash. So big round for Navi here. No kits as well. You'd assume they'll be looking for some sort of kill, maybe try and push towards Ivy, try and make something happen here. But Forrest, of course, on the AWP straight away, does spot a single player there. But just going to fire off a shot. At least that gives away to Navi that an AWP is present.
That was really slick there by Zeus. Using the ladder to kind of change up that angle. Had he just run across, he'd have been doomed. Instead, it's going to be Flamey pushing forward. 1-for-1 trade. Not totally on top of that. Seized is nowhere near. Seized was actually close enough, perhaps, to move up there with Flamey and make that an effective play.
That would have been perfect, right? If he held lower ramp while he was going for that push, then he could actually get his back when the refrag came in and actually had a chance of doing something with that. Now it goes down to a 4-on-4, which obviously favors NIP considering the buy Navi have here. They don't really have anything to hold them off now. Not a single smoke, no incendiaries, and no kits. NIP, very good inside execute, as I mentioned before. They use all the Molotovs, all the smokes. Once that goes down, I just don't see how Navi can actually hold it off. They just have C's now. Has got backup from Edward, but this inside execute, you're going to see this a lot this game, similar. They're really very good at it, NIP now.
50 seconds, yeah. And now, well, Navi, they kind of have to go for the catch-all approach, 2 on each site. Oh, wow. Unfortunate timing there for CZ. He just gets caught out in the open as they push out from upper. Nice shots coming in from Edward. He does manage to get the refrag at least, bring it back to a 3-on-3. But that bomb's going to get planted. And, well, Navi don't really have much utility to use. They have 2 flashes here to make their lives easier. Whereas NIP, still even a Molotov, 3 flashes, an HE. They have a lot to work with. Forrest is there to take out Guardian. Edward gets caught on the long train. That's Freiberg picking up that kill. And just like that, it's going to be Zeus pressing forward. He gets 2 kills, but he's not able to pull the 180. He's not able to win it for his team, and Pyth just barely enough time there to save the AWP.
That was actually,
we've lost somebody.
That was actually pretty close there by the end by Zeus. Actually, it was quite impressive. Was it Zeus disconnected? Didn't he just get the 3-man spray done and he's just out of the server straight away?
He's like, yeah, no,
I'm done. I didn't win.
I'm done.
Game's over. I'm out of here.
What?
He must have actually like punched his keyboard or something. I don't know.
How
I
does
won't
that happen?
Instant disconnect. Hit F10 by mistake. I have no idea. It's a sound problem. So maybe as soon as he died, he's like, "Oh, damn sound! I would have won that."
Must have been the sound. Would have heard Pyth upstairs otherwise.
Well, there we go. NIP with another convincing round there. We did see Flamey pushing towards the inside ramp. Like I said, needed to make something happen there. Just depth, no utility, no kits. Someone needed to find that man advantage. Unfortunately, went down to the 4-4. Good refrag coming in for NIP. And like I said, simple inside take. Zeus made it interesting towards the end, but ultimately Pyth had him out position completely there. And they actually continue here in pretty impeccable style. They're going to have, what, like 2.8k for Navi now. And they can't really justify much more than the pistols once again. Loss bonus will be building up. There'll be a maximum after this one, so you'd think the orbs will be coming out, and that's when the game really begins. And we'll see how Forrest can handle himself.
I'm digging this this quad HE buy, though. I'm wondering where they're going to try and put these in.
Normally it's all made entrance. Just straight in there, see what you can do.
There's one. Yeah. There's two. And there's three. All right, they're making it a little bit easier for themselves here, Na'Vi, but then it just actually doesn't pan out at all.
How much damage they've done there? That's actually pretty good. Like, obviously, one more nade would have actually may have done it, but Flamey now, just the PT-50. And maybe we'll get maybe 1 or 2 kills here, depending on who he runs into.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that smoke goes up. Everybody's so low. Flamey definitely accurate with the pistol, so I mean, that would have been pretty sick, but we'll have to see how it plays out here, because NIP right now, they're roaring ahead. They've got a huge economy as well.
Absolutely.
That's the main thing. A couple of these rounds, they've won with like 4 players alive, so that's really making a difference. They're all sitting around like, between 5,000 and 7,000 pretty much. Now they bump up to over 10.
Yeah, ECS is on almost 12k as well. Like, they're actually high rolling right now. Same story really for Navi. They're going for the double orb setup, which can be very effective. Like, C's is one of those players that can pick up the AWP. He's definitely on Guardian's level, but he's more of like a standard turret style orb. He's very good defensively, and they can put him towards the inside bomb site, and he can hold that no problem at all. So this is when it gets interesting, right? This is where we're going to find out, can Forrest go toe-to-toe with the absolute beast from the east, Guardian? He loves this wallbang, man. I'm not sure I'm a fan of all these wallbangs he tries to do. I haven't seen him really land one of them yet. It just seems like you're kind of giving your position away where you're going at the start of the round, and
there we go.
It is up.
And you're right. I mean, it's that turret style right there for Season. There's nothing wrong with it. If you're going to hit the flicks consistently, which he does, bam, Pyth tries to take that fight. Seized is there to take the man advantage here for Na'Vi. Nice take on Alley there, though. 3 players showing themselves for NIP, and they're actually just going to take control of this part of the map. Charging forward, get right, taking point. That's not something you expect to say every day.
Well, he's actually in a decent position here. You can see Guardian rotating right in front of him. It doesn't even need Guardian. Apparently, Exist has got the aim to take him down straight up there, and it comes back into a 4-on-4. Edward now, they've got no real position control of Ivy. So this is actually an interesting position for Navi. How are they going to react to this and actually get something back?
Now, it doesn't make a difference that Get Right hasn't shown himself, because Guardian has no idea that Get Right's here. So if Exist were to show himself somewhere else on the map, maybe there's like an extra layer here.
Setup, right?
There's an extra layer here that NIP can play off of. But they do bring it back to a 4-on-4, and NIP have so many nades right now to work with. So great position here from Zeus, though. He's actually close enough to hear that rotation going up into the halls, so a little bit of information here for Na'Vi to work with. Seized is already rotated over, but then he decides to get greedy. He decides to press forward, and Forrest, he was ready for that.
The thing is, though, like, Navi just had nothing to work with. Time is ticking away. They could probably feel that full inside execute coming into them. And he thought, well, I need to find something here. And there's very good awareness from Forrest, waiting for any pushes to come in. We come down to the 20-second mark. This is obviously, I would say, going to be...
They're cutting it really close. Why are they still walking?
This is the thing. I'm trying to work out where they're going with this. Obviously, Gerrard's still towards side alley here, looking like the inside execute coming in. But they lose his first frag. They only have 10 seconds to work with.
Yeah, this is really cutting it close. If only there was a single nade, a Molotov, anything like that, it would have been huge. Instead, it will be a successful bomb plant here. Exist catches out Flamey. And just like that, Na'Vi have to back off. Too much fight here. Yeah, right. Not going to let C's get out of there with the AWP, though. And now this is all on Edward. If Edward can stay alive and somehow get that op, that would have been huge. But full wipe on Na'Vi. Going for a very expensive strategy as well. The double AWP means that they have to go for a quasi-buy here in this round. If they force up, they're not going to be able to get that op again.
This is the thing, right? You get the double orbs out. That's a full investment across the board. You're only going to have $3,400 coming into the next. And you're absolutely right. It's going to be a quasi-buy coming in this time. And NIP going up 6-1 here, potentially 7. Looking incredibly strong. But the thing is, this is classic Navi, though, right? We see this time and time again. The way they handle their economy. They love force buying. They love doing unfavorable situations. Even if they get forced themselves, that they don't want to take a full eco on the chin sometimes. They love getting themselves in this position. They can always get out of it. Like, that's absolutely fine. But they always get themselves in difficult positions in that first gun round, especially.
That kind of comes down to the style of the players as well. Like Guardian, right? Guardian just thinks he's so good that he's just like, I will force buy. I don't need the op, right? I'll just go for pistol Kevlar and stop myself from getting that op. But it doesn't matter, because when I have the deagle, right, I'll have an impact. And
yeah,
sometimes it works. Most of the times, though, it comes back to bite him. That's also like Starix, Zeus, their style. They do like to get those forces out there, Zeus in particular. Starix is trying to change things up, it seems, on Na'Vi.
So NIP have got the first pick once again, 5-on-4. Just sticking together. You can see, even if Pipe goes down, he would have had the backup, but the refab would have been there straight away. So I didn't mind that whatsoever. So they actually come out trumps there as well. It's going to be a 5-on-3. They can bide their time again. They don't need to rush into this situation. They can see how the CTs react to it, go for another full executors, make sure they go in with 100% success rate here, have nothing lying in wait. But it's going to be all 5 players committed to inside. Actually going to be going in with quite a tactical approach as well. Smoke's going down, and I'm sure some flashbangs going over before they go into the site.
Yeah, they've got the mollies as well. Look at this. Perfect timing to catch Forrest and Guardian. Now he's got an op. This is his moment to shine. Decides to stretch, to still press forward with the Deagle instead of actually going for the AWP. So that's not going to work. But Edward, 3 shots landed, picks off a man at range. That's get right down. And it's going to be Flamey now, trying to push down here from lower. Exist, he's got nobody watching his back, but he plants safe. Really smart play there from Exist.
Nice
they had
work.
control of that part of the bomb site, so he just guaranteed that they would be able to get that bomb plant down. And now, well, man,
16k on Friday.
so much money on NIP.
This is crazy. That's actually 7 rounds clean in a row for them as well. Double orb setup once again. We did see C's get that inside pick before, so I'll be interested to see how he approaches this again. Will he go for that aggressive play? And this means once you get set up and up around like that, even if you have no one to face, the fact you have that completely locked down, you have an orb set up there, it means you can actually justify 4 players outside and actually lock that down. But inside has been a heavy area of contention, but it's a change of pace this time. Freiberg has made his way out of the A main here, and it's definitely a little bit uncomfortable for the CTs once again.
Oh, a little slow there for Freiberg, not going to get that aim on. So Zeus opens up, and man, they've used so many nades here in IP. They're just charging out. Pyth is finally going to take down Zeus, but Zeus made it worthwhile, and Guardian catches out Exist. That was at the back of the train towards A main, so it's not looking too healthy here for NIP. This is it. They attempted to change up the pace. They tried to go for the rush, and Na'Vi were ready and waiting for him. At least they got the bomb plan out of this NIP, so they can try and fall back and exactly play the angles. Forrest is gone. Forrest with the second onto Guardian, and now it gets interesting. Seized is now the last man alive somehow. A 2v4 situation, and Na'Vi, they've got picked off one after another. Seized is going to try and make this play happen, and he picks up the first one. Instant headshot on a Pyth. He's going to hunt for Forrest as well, but Forrest, he's trying to play for time. He's dancing around the train, and they both missed their shots. Finally, Seized is going to get it, but does he have enough time for the defuse?
I think he's okay.
He's just barely got it seems. Yeah. That extra 5 seconds.
That's it, man.
That extra 5 seconds making all the difference.
That's kind of crazy how he still had time for that. You're obviously a 2-on-1 on train. That's one of the most difficult clutch situations in the game, actually. Like, once the bomb's down on train, there's so many different angles to hide from. Obviously, Forrest with like a godlike player. The fact he's got so much awareness as to what's going on. His first kill, Edward just have no idea. And this is the shot that really impressed me. I thought Guardian had him dead to rights. I thought that was game over. Pyth comes in with the third, and you think that's it. They've won another amazing round there. But it's Na'Vi that lose 4 players. They're definitely going to be in a horrible situation. The money reset has come in. They're not going to have that loss bonus to rely on now, so they need to make sure they win this round going forward, or it could be a double eco.
Oh yeah, it would be a catastrophe. With only the one man surviving, they just don't have any kind of money to work with, and you can see that in the nades.
Yeah.
Again, NIP fully kitted out. Of course, they had all the money in the world to go for a full buy. Na'Vi, they still have to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel here, so it's going to change up how they hold. They have to try and prioritize holding these nades as long as possible. And we're already down to a minute 20. So when these next, this last smoke, basically, they have a couple of incendiaries as well. So we'll see how those come into play.
This is the thing again, NIP really are focused on this inside side. They tried the outside last time, obviously didn't open up so well, but Forrest did bring them back into contention. I think they'll be going for their inside execute once again. Like I said, it's very strong actually. It's very impressive how they've been working on this and how they're able to get the entry flag. It's actually Freiberg who's instrumental in these rounds normally. He can actually open it up very well against Dignitas. We saw it time and time again.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Flamey not able to pick up a kill on Get Right, who just looked a little slow walking out there, and somehow Pyth finds Seized. Edward with 2 kills. They line up for him. Double headshot for him. And now a 3-on-3 retake scenario here with NIP kind of pinned at the back of the site, so it's not ideal for them. They're going to start feeling the pressure, and there we go. Zeus, he finds Freiberg trying to make it back up into Brown Halls, and it's just down to Get Right and Forrest now. They kind of have an idea of where Get Right's playing from, and this time it's Guardian besting Forrest. Get Right with the lurk through the smoke. Misses the opportunity there to close it out. He might have been able to get the double kill, but he's not able to get the job done on Guardian fast enough.
That's quite an interesting approach actually from NIP going in there. So Get Right, no presence whatsoever, no flashbangs, just jumping down low around. You know what, I'm going to find this kill for him. Like we said, we're not really used to seeing Get Right opening up the map like that. It's normally like he relies on Freiberg or Exists and people going in first. He's actually going in and finding those kills. He's hungry for them, but it was Edward who comes in with the double flag and completely locks it down. It looks like NIP have this completely tied up. There it is on your screen right now.
Yeah.
That's quite fortunate for him, and maybe a little bit of a blunder from NIP.
It's just like the pistol is the issue.
Yeah,
just
sure.
like the pistol. He got the 2 kills, the key frags in the pistol that made it possible for his team to win. And just like that, Edward, again, he manages to pull that off.
Well then, and Navi with a round we said they had to win. They managed to do it and keep the AWP alive as well. But obviously, NIP farmed so much cash in the previous round, so they're absolutely fine. Freiburg making his way out towards main once again, undetected for now, making his way towards the bomb train as well. And no frags coming in just yet, but it's Edward to open things up. Get right answering back straight away. And this is where it gets interesting with Freiburg's position. They have no idea he's there. And there it is. Comes down to a 3-on-3 with NIP in the driving seat.
Scary situation here, though, for Freiburg. He is kind of pinned down. He has no idea that Seized is upper. So he's waiting to see if Guardian's going to be peeking out here, if he's going to get a target to work with for free. The only issue here is that NIP, they're kind of stuck. They don't have any utility to make their jobs easier. So it does come down to these positions, to this lurk. And this is where Na'Vi, they really need to show their patience. They need to just sit, hold the angles, and force Nip out into the open where they're going to be able to land easy shots. Because if they go on the hunt, that's going to be a problem. And it looks like Forrest has managed to track down Seized. Guardian catches Exist on a weird angle there. But it doesn't seem like he's still... Well, okay, now he has an idea that Freiburg is close. So he's able to back up and change.
That was a weird shot to Exist. I'm not sure what angle he's holding. But anyway, it's Guardian just doing absolute work here. It was Forrest that needed to find a pick. He got the first one, but Guardian answers back straight away. Finds the 2 frags onto his teammates. We're not done here quite yet. Forrest does have the bomb in 30 seconds to play with. He can find this kill, which I don't think he will. Going to be caught out by the timings there. Flamey is the one to take him down. It goes 7-4 now. Navi definitely clawing their way back into this. The money's still in a decent position for an IP. They're going for the... it seems they've got 2 options, right? They either go for this fast outside take where they try and get Freiburg in a decent position, or they're going to the inside bomb zone doing a full execution. So obviously it's been working out very well for them so far after losing the pistol and getting 7 rounds on the board. They're looking incredibly strong right now, but now the gun rounds have started and Navi have got rolling. It's actually looking pretty promising for them.
And they get that double op back for free. So that's really nice here for Na'Vi. Attempted shot there by Forrest. He's just barely off. The flash was effective as well. Guardian didn't even pull the trigger there. And now Guardian trying to go for the aggressive alley play. Not going to find anybody there. Zeus is there to back him. I do like that team play between the two in case Nip sent a couple of players over to alley early. Yeah. Zeus would have been there to back up Guardian.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to chuck these more aggressive rounds in every now and then. Just going to go for that first pick. Obviously, Train can be a very execution-based map. If you do find that first pick, that completely locks down one of the tactics they had in mind. So, very justified. Obviously, Guardian didn't find anyone, but he saw there was no one aggressive towards Ivy at least. So, at least he can get something from that. Edward, maybe trying to get in towards main entrance here. Freiburg, quite a passive position. Going to be Molotovs out for now. And you can see the bomb down towards the inside bomb side again. This looks like NIP trying to work a pick. Got the boost going on as well. And they'll probably go into the execution we've seen time and time again.
That's some really clever stuff, though. Not often that you actually see the back train used like that. It was being used earlier in the last round, or the round before last, rather. But this time, no joy for Forrest, so it is going to be down to NIP here to do it the hard way. They still have some decent nades, but so do Na'Vi. Not really on the B site, though. Flamey, he's naked. He doesn't have anything. And Edward, not neither. And, wow, where did Forrest find that kill on a Seized?
So Seized was on that turret style on the upper ramp, and Forrest has went for that straight up kill there. Now, with some... Well, actually, it's only 30 seconds remaining. It's been interesting to see how NIP go with this. You can see Navi trying to work it out. They're actually rotating towards outside. I think this is a fake. Edward trying to hunt for information now. Forrest will probably hear it. Oh, okay. He's going for the real sneaky play here, and he's actually going to get the kill as well. Really nice stuff from Edward.
And now with only 10 seconds left, and Edward here to deny the bomb plant. This is never going to happen for Nip. The body block from Pyth, that's well played. At least they get the bomb plant down, but then the retake couldn't be easier there for Na'Vi.
How many times has Edward could have locked down this inside take? Every single time, apparently. He just goes up towards the ladder. His teammates are ready towards outside. He finds a kill on towards Forrest, makes the bomb plant really uncomfortable. They can't really get any position from that, and he wins the round for them once again. And it was NIP that got that opening pick once again. They took down Season inside. They had time to play with, and it's just Edward stepping up time and time again. Currently sat on 10 frags, and he's definitely causing a nuisance here for NIP. They do get the bomb down once again, so I think this is probably their last full buy before they will be broken. So... we'll see how they approach this going forward. The double AWP setup still rolling for Na'Vi here. It's been Seized at a little bit of a difficult time. It seems like Forrest getting the better of him slightly, but change of pace here. Smoke's going directly towards outside pretty much straight away, and we'll see how they approach the situation.
Well, last time they tried to go for a change of place and go for that outside take, it didn't really pan out for him. Zeus was the hero of that round for Na'Vi.
Yeah.
Trading 1 for 2. Not the same start this time around. Flamey does have an impact, and there's Guardian from alley. Picks off Freiburg, no problem at all. Get right will roast Zeus, and Exist has found a kill on Flamey, so somehow they do bring it back to a 3-on-3, but Guardian is having such a huge impact. 2 kills for him. Get right, though, with a triple so far. Brings it back to a 1v2 with Seized all on his own. And where is Seized coming in from? Pop Dog is the play, and he actually catches Get right looking the wrong way. He predicts where Forrest is playing from as well, but Forrest is going to land the shot. Seized looking to the right when he needs to look left, and Forrest, he's there to bring it back for NIP.
Pretty nice play there from Nip, actually. Considering they have got the double orbs and doing the full smoke execute, that is the idea. Let's get the bomb down, make it a post-plant situation. Retaking with the orbs is going to be a difficult task. Seas did what he could with it, but ultimately Forest, like I said, in clutch situations when the bomb's down on outside on train, it's one of the most difficult prospects for a CT to retake. There's so many different angles to consider, and Seas was aware of Forest, but unfortunately it was him that takes him down. It's actually affected Navi heavily. You can see they've gone into this one with the force buy. They've got the AWP, but the rest of the players with 1 in 4 and 3 pistols. This could be a round that's massive for them, but obviously when Guardian has the orb, anything could happen. Let's see what he can bring to the table.
This is crazy. Seeing a full execute, none of the smokes messed up either.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like they are on point right now in IP, and this is actually an issue that they've had in the past. Players, when it comes down to these sorts of fixed executes where everybody has a different role. All right, we can get more into that later because right now Na'Vi, they're actually catching out Nip. It's going to be down to Get Right and Forrest, the last two, and Get Right's on the lurk. Forrest draws attention to himself, but the bomb will be denied. Double kill for Get Right, and Forrest from main will take out Flamey. But this is a new Nip.
I told you.
What is going on here? NIP all of a sudden, they actually have a hard execute, and nobody's messing up any smokes.
This is what I saw against Dignitas. This is why I tweeted out Year of the Ninja. Because if you combine the talent these guys have with actual up-to-date meta executions and actually approaching the game like every other team does, you've got a really interesting proposition in your hands here. Like, this is actually really cool. NIP are currently 9-5 up after losing the pistol against Navi, and they're looking strong as well. They're looking like they know what they're doing, and they've got an objective every round. There's an idea, and actually making decent mid-round calls as well. The clutches are coming in. Forrest is stepping up, and Get Right's having some big impact.
Well, I mean, let's not over-celebrate. There is, there have been a couple rounds where they have been a little bit late on the clock, right? Feeling the pressure with the time.
Sure.
So, but it seems like that's just a kink that needs to get worked out. Because right now they are looking very good, NIP. It's Na'Vi who are here in the force by pistols, Kevlar, just a handful of nades in the 15th round. So we could be looking at 10-5 here for NIP if they play this correctly, if they take their time and not walk into a trap anywhere.
Well, the trap hasn't really been set. They have 2 players outside, and it's going to be one towards Ivy and one pushing inside as well. So at least Flamey has gathered this intel. It's going to be an outside play, but he should be taken down here. You can see Pitt's ready for him. At least it's actually just a firing squad waiting for him towards Pop Dog there. And now Edward with the max 7 with all to play for, pretty much out of position and out of time here as the rest of the NIP players made their way towards inside. And just CZs in hand, you don't really feel like they've got much control over this situation.
And look at Get Right, man. This guy's one step ahead at every point. Easy shot onto Edward. Edward hears all of these footsteps going towards the inner sight. He's like, is somebody left? Is there anybody there waiting for me? The answer is yes. Get Right. Dude, he is the ninja. You don't even see it coming.
Well then, 10-5 on the T side of train.
Okay then.
Now we have a game on our hands.
Now we actually do, because Na'Vi, they're no slouch when it comes to the T side of train either.
Course.
Different style. They love their defaults. They love to just go for the set plays and look for picks. Just basically make use of Guardian and his crazy ability to find entries with the AWP. I mean, it's still a pretty tall order here. They need 11 rounds.
This is the thing. That's the whole Navi methodology. 1 second. And Guardian is the one they're basing their plays around. They're seeing what openings he can find on the map. He's going towards Ivy. He's going towards main entrance. He's going towards inside. If he can find something and open on the map, they'll react accordingly. If they don't, they'll slow it right down. They'll take advantage of that extra 10 seconds they have for the round now, obviously, and they'll go into like a decent outside take and try and get the bomb down in the last minute. So we'll see what they bring to the table. I feel like if NIP get a pistol here and they can get the 3-0, it's going to be really difficult for Navi to get back into this one. It's actually a pretty interesting approach we'll have going forward. The pistol's going to mean everything for NIP. I'm trying to remember if they brought anything interesting. I think they actually pushed 2 people inside on their pistol last time I saw them. Like they actually went for an aggressive pistol, went for that, hunting for that first frag. So we'll see whether they do anything special, I would say, and see if they can surprise Navi here.
Special.
Yeah. Well, I guess like if you know you're going against a very methodical team and you go for 2 players going inside who're trying to hunt out 1 frag, and then you go back and you don't find anyone, you get a bit of intel. We see a lot of teams do on Dust 2, for example.
Yeah, it depends on how Navi approach it, because they are very good at putting 2 players up into brown halls early on for just that kind of push.
Yeah.
Like the ready and waiting, that is like their standard default. So it's a question of whether they employ their standard default here in the pistol, or if they're going to have something else in mind here, just grouping up and running in. It all comes down to what they decide to buy. They do favor the raid boss strategy with Edward, giving him that Tech 9. And maybe Flamey is going to drop it for him. But no, straight Kevlar, apart from Seized, who goes utility. Smoke and Molotov.
So it's a smoke and Molotov. That suggests inside play as well. It'll be a very similar approach, I'd imagine. Smoking down lower ramp, and then you have the Molotov when the bomb's down.
Exist didn't buy anything? What happened here? Oh, no, he dropped it for Get Right. He dropped the CZ.
So you normally have the Molotov when the bomb's down inside. You chuck it off from upper ramp. Wow. And we can see
Look at the strategy, though. Exist, man. He just sacrifices himself. But it's nasty. It's nasty in the end. Never mind. They got a little bit too ahead of themselves there, NIP. They chose to go aggressive, and they ran right into the firing squad. Get Right with the CZ. We'll find Zeus. Exist trying to put up a fight over here, looking for that headshot. Little does he know, there's a man at his back, and actually Edward flushing a lot of shots. He finally gets the job done. But this is pretty much over for NIP. A 2-on-4 retake when they're already low on HP.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about. They went for the Ivy approach that time, like I said, trying to go aggressive and see what they could do with it. Get Right making things happen on the outside bomb side. Bomb will be planted, but he's inside the smoke. He's making this happen. It's going to come down to this kill here. Seas takes him down. It's going to leave Forest in a pretty much unwinnable situation. Has got the kit, but only 5 HP.
And this is just a matter of waiting at this point. He's got the kit, so I guess he waits and hopes that they leave the bomb early. Never going to happen. Guardian will catch him out. I mean, you can understand perhaps why NIP chose to go for the ultra aggression as well, because they had 2 P250s and a CZ on Get Right. Like, they really tried to go for the hard boss tactic where you had Kevlar and P250, so you really look for that fight. You're like, even if you have Kevlar, I can still shred you, with these P250s.
Well then, this is what I was
Whoa.
looking to see. NIP with this kind of advantage on train, I would say this is probably a bad idea going forward. You have like a massive footing into this map. I would say definitely the underdogs going forward on train, and you force bought, and especially Forrest as well.
Where's the op?
He's expended all his cash, right? And
does it Exist who's looking to
well, this is the
drop
thing.
it eventually?
Exist, for as far as I know, will only ever run an auto sniper. He will very rarely AWP, right?
Very true, very true.
And this is an interesting proposition. Where are they going with this? We'll see. But I would to take a full eco here, make sure the first gun round comes in. They're playing the percentages game and saying, right, we'd rather win this properly in the gun rounds instead of taking a massive risk like this and potentially dropping 5 because you just won't have anything to play with in that first gun round.
No, this might be a bit of a disappointment. At the same time, you got Freiburg, you got Forrest, you got some guys who are pretty effective with the Deeg, so we got to find out if they can actually land the shots when it comes down to it. Edward going to be setting up that inner push now. He's going to get that smoke down on lower, flash to follow. And this is just a beta response, and this would be perfect for NIP considering the fact that they've got 4 players on this B site ready and waiting for Na'Vi to get this push going.
Well, Freiberg will be outside by himself, but like you said, Na'Vi with a lot of utility here, just waiting and seeing if they can find anything with it. It's going to be Edward holding that lower ramp with Flamey going, and here comes the flashbang. Here's the execute as well.
Yeah, there's the shot, and they're going to miss the first one. Exists. He gets overwhelmed. Pyth is there. Sees that 75 crossfire. Not effective. Pyth will pick up 2 kills, but that's not good enough. 2 of the players for NIP. No impact whatsoever. And now, well, there's the step forward here from Forrest on high. He sets it up for Freiburg to come into it, but then Zeus trades and Sees is there to pick up the final kill on Freiburg. If Exist or Get Right pick up a kill, we might be looking at Nip actually winning that force. But unfortunately, Exist just not able to land a shot. I'm surprised that Get Right as well just wasn't able to do anything there.
It's obviously very difficult. You've got so much going on. You're not sure if you're being shot from all angles. You've got the upper platform to look at, lower ramp. They did have a decent crossfire, but like I said, no one really making it work for themselves. But PT50's coming now. This is pretty much a throwaway round. It'd be an absolute nightmare if Navi were to drop this one, but there we go then. Navi definitely setting themselves up for a successful gun round here as well. You can see them keeping the SMGs, just trying to farm some cash here, but it's actually Pythu who opens up the fracking here with the kill onto Flamey, bringing to the 5-on-4, but there it is, answered straight away.
Decides to take the fight. And once he got that peek on the C's, might have been better to back off there. Unfortunately, now the advantage is here for Na'Vi, and they're out on that A side already, just waiting for the rotations to come through. Get Right was stomping around up in White Halls, Brown Halls, so Zeus knows that to expect somebody from Pop Dog, there's not going to be any element of surprise for him there. Freiburg, long range, though. Well, no, not long range. In Connector is actually going to be able to pick up Guardian. But now it comes down to whether Get Right can actually have some kind of surprise element here to work with. Edward is fairly low, and he's looking the wrong way, but then he's got Zeus there to watch his back. So this should be effective here for Na'Vi. They shouldn't be in any risk of them losing this situation.
Well, this is a 4-on-3, but like you said, yeah, they don't have a kit. They don't really have much to work with. But all of a sudden, though, Forrest does find the kill onto C. Zeus does take down Get Right, but it's getting a little bit uncomfortable here. It does go under the 2-on-2. The bomb will be exploding here, but it's going to be an expensive round, that's for sure. And this does take down one. But Diffuse is actually coming in, Could have, went after 3 seconds?
If Exist, Edward's going to die. Oh, wow, Edward just barely lives.
And the kills they've actually got, they actually have got enough for an AWP here. So the kills they did find on those second and third rounds, at least, I was about to say they could have got an AWP from it. Forrest does have enough by nothing else but AWP.
Get the glass cannon.
Surely. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Sometimes you just have to...
You got to go beast mode.
Yeah.
You just got to make it happen. That was far too close. Much closer than I thought it could ever get. Wow. Now we have the setup here for NIP. They've got the AWP Force just playing Guardian's favorite position over here by Ali, looking into A main, just hoping for somebody to peek. A little bit of a flash there just to distract things here from Na'Vi as they set up. And against Na'Vi, this isn't exactly their standard default kind of setup initially. They usually like to send somebody over by Ali. Right now, instead, they're kind of focusing for either a quick explosion out onto the A side, or if they find anything here on B, they can rotate here very quickly as well.
Well, right now, this is going to be a classic Na'Vi play. Just bleed out the CT for as long as you possibly can. They know they're up against it in terms of the money. And there's actually a shot of the Get Right there. I don't think he knows where that came from. It's actually a little wall bang from the lower round from Guardian. That's actually pretty nuts. But gets him down to 42 HP. And like I said, bleed out the CTs now. They've got no smokes to play over. It's just an incendiary onto Get Right. The rest of the guys just one flashbang. It's not really enough to hold off a full execute. And it looks like it's about to come in as well.
Yeah, it is. Nice timing as the flashes start to come in. Get Right is going to be able to throw that down. And Get Right with the pop. Very effective, but unfortunately he's behind Flamey. Instead it's going to be down to take off C's, and he does actually hit the instant headshot. They're trying to wrap back around. They're trying to change things up here, Na'Vi, and head back out onto this A site, but it's not effective. Freiburg is there to shut down Zeus. And it's Flamey and Guardian, the last two alive. Now just Guardian in a 1v4. What happened to Na'Vi? They get wiped out. They don't fully commit to the B site. Then they try to wrap back around to A, but every which way they go, they're running into bullets.
It's kind of like the bait and switch tactic, right? So they're working that lower ramp, they're doing all the presence there, and everyone's getting back towards Pop Dog and getting it towards the outside. They're hoping that they find the rotations going towards the inside side, and obviously the guys going in towards inside need to find at least one kill just to sell that fake a little bit more. And the idea is they find a kill and they push up towards Connector and they pincer the bombs out in that fashion. But Get Right with really nice positional control there. He actually gets a kill after getting legged at the beginning of the round with the P90. And now just Guardian surviving with the AWP. That is a problem though. Going forward, we know what that man's capable of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's only got the 1,500 because he gets no money at the end of the round for surviving on T side.
Yep.
But the rest of his team, it's not much better. They're kind of in an awkward spot, but doesn't look like that's going to stop Na'Vi. They're going to go for the force buy here.
Of course. What else?
What else? I mean, the obvious choice, Galil. I mean, they've got a variety at least. They're not repeating any kind of weaponry here.
Something to take away from this round. But like I said, Guardian, the master of train. He's going to be going towards Ivy this time, going for that straight-up face. No AWP, actually, for an IP, so they're going to be going for full rifles. So they're going to be aware of the situation. They know he saved an AWP, and probably be playing a very passive mentality, making sure he doesn't have anything to work with.
What's the setup here for Guardian? What is this play here? Because he was lining it up. So he might have some kind of shot that goes through. Yeah, it's a wallbang shot. All right, that's clever. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Exist going down to 51 HP. He's done that. He did that inside round before. Now he's done it to Exist, the exact same thing, like little tricks he's got up his sleeve.
You're right, man. Master of Train, though. He does that from A main as well. He has a wallbang that he likes to use into Connector, Guardian. I mean, yeah, this is top-notch stuff that we're seeing here on this map. But NIP, at least on their CT side, now they've managed to bop Na'Vi on the nose. And it's going to be up to Na'Vi now with this force buy to make something happen. So after going for their tried and true standard default kind of setup here initially at the T side, with Flamey holding in main, Guardian and seized over about Alley, now they're going to start wrapping back over here towards the Brown Halls, it looks like. With 45 seconds left, this is going to turn into a B hit.
Yeah, and they have something to play with as well. They've got 3 smokes and Molotovs. It's going to come down to whether they can get Guardian down lower ramp to open this things up. Let's Get Right to hold them off with Forest as well, though.
And get right, he's got that incendiary. No, just a flash, and that's going to buy enough. It's perfectly timed. Catches out the one. He gets the spray onto Flamey as well, making him dance. And get right, third kill. Runs out of bullets, and that gives him up to Guardian. But regardless, it's a perfect hold on that inner sight.
Absolutely. It's really good timing and facing at the opportune moments as well. Get right. Just dodging and weaving, causing chaos on the ramp there. You can see it wasn't that much of a challenge for me. He wasn't smoked out at all, that situation. They were actually banking on Guardian coming down the low ramp and finding that first frag. If he doesn't do that, though, and he gets taken down, it's just an absolute bloodbath in that area. And this is where it gets interesting, Semler, because Navi's money's been completely destroyed now. Can't even justify a single item or weapon purchased. Full Glocks across the board. And NIP looking to get their 13th round here.
Oh, no. What's up, Flamey?
Welcome to the round.
Oh, that's so frustrating. And Exist will get the shot through. Seized is still waiting around as well. He manages to dodge the nade damage at least, but not the bullets. Exist, dude, he's just... No, I'm not even going to make that joke. We're not going to start a witch hunt. So, doing his thing.
Just doing his thing.
And Edward, Zeus, and Guardian are the last 3 alive here for Na'Vi, and eventually they might find their way out onto a site. Only problem is the defense, it's set up here on the inner site. There's no reason for them to be taking any risks.
Absolutely. At this point, it's just trying to end the round as quickly as possible. Obviously, Forrest up against a Glock and up ramp. It's not really a high-risk maneuver going up against him. He will take down Zeus. Has the bomb as well. And now Edward, 5-on-1, Glock in hand, no bomb. I'm believing.
You're a believer?
Yeah, I think he can do this.
I mean, dude, guy just has an impact every time he has a pistol, right? So,
yeah, this is it. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, anything is possible. Should be growing out that beard as well. Haven't seen Edward in a while, but eventually. Forrest, not going to let him grow it anymore, though. 3 kills for Forrest in this anti-eco, and it's going to be a 13-8 scoreline here. Na'Vi now, with their backs to the wall, this is it, their moment. If they lose this round, that's pretty much curtains, so it's all up to Na'Vi now.
If they lose this round, it's a full investment. Then you get $2,100 into the next, and NIP at 14 rounds, it's do or die right here. They need to make this round work for them, get a couple in a row, in fact, just kind of break the economy of NIP, get some breathing room here, but let's see how they approach it. The AWP is back out on Guardian. They have got a relatively good buy. More wall banks coming in, not Anvil to land anything this time, but pretty close to be fair.
This is nasty, man. Like, I'm just waiting for one of these days where it actually lines up. You know, this is like cash, you know, kind of wall bang, CT side, T side. Chris J was famous for that sort of stuff. Edward decides to take the fight straight up with Pyth, and he wins it, but then he dies to Freiberg's Molotov. So fair trade so far, at least. Na'Vi still coming out with just a bit of an edge, and Guardian will take out Forrest. That was all the way at the back line, it looks like.
Yes, it was. Well then, man advantage. This is exactly what Na'Vi needed. Freiberg, get right and exist, remain. No presence towards the inside bomb side whatsoever. They're going to be fully committing towards outside here. And Zeus, he's actually towards that area as well. If he gets any sort of vision towards inside, this could be so detrimental to NIP. They need to be getting something out of this. Someone needs to be pushing as he get right. Kind of sniffing out Pop Dog right now. They have no idea what's going on. This is a classic Na'Vi. They're waiting for the CTs to make the mistake.
No, unfortunately, forget right. I mean, there is nobody watching the top of Pop Dog, but Zeus is starting to wrap back around here, and it will be an A play after all. So it's going to be coming down to that fight between Zeus and Get Right eventually, as Seized clears out Freiberg from top of Green Train. So the push begins. Exist has been effectively smoked off. He has no idea if there's anybody coming through alley, but Get Right wins the duel versus Zeus, only to fall to Flamey. And it is just going to be Exist now in a 1v3. He's a bit better equipped than Edward was in the last round, so there's always something that can happen. And he drops a bomb carrier, so now the pressure is on here. 25 seconds left here for Na'Vi to get this bomb down. And at least they know where Exist is playing from. They've got him boxed in.
Yeah, he can't really do it. They've got a smoke as well, Guardian. He can drop that any second. As soon as the bomb planted, drop that smoke down. That should be around over that stage. I'm not really sure what Exist options are here. He knows he's up against it. He has got the kit, though, so maybe trying to suggest that he's going back towards T main or something like that. And as he did go for the full-on face hit, but Guardian takes him down. And there it is. That's the round Na'Vi needed. Just slowing it right down, working the picks at the start there. Guardian takes down Forrest, and that just opens up the map for them. They just make sure they bide their time, see what the CT reaction is. We saw the CTs just completely leave the inside bomb side open, And from that point, it was just a matter of time before they were finding kills and facing them from the CT point of view.
Everything changes if Guardian doesn't get killed on Green Train immediately by Seized, I think. That's the main thing. He was kind of the linchpin in that defense. It just didn't really pan out. This time around, though, I mean, NIP, it's pretty much the story of this map. They've had so much money the entire time, so they can go for the full buy here, no problem at all. Everybody's got what they need, and it's all Na'Vi now. And Na'Vi going back to the default, although this time around, Guardian, he's not positioned over an alley, he's not in main. Instead, he's up in Brown Halls looking to see if somebody's going to try and go for an aggressive push from upper on the inner site.
Well, this is the thing. Thorist obviously back on the AWP himself. He's actually gone for more of a shotgun style play, quite close towards main entrance. He's trying to find out if he can get that kill onto Guardian as he's rotating in, but like he said, he's towards Inter for now. Seized towards Ivy, just trying to find a pick. If Exist takes a shot there, he's got Flamey And he's kind of stacked up, ready for that shot. And so far, nothing really to report for Navi. Pythe's trying to gain some intel here, pushing in towards the main entrance. Actually, we'll have someone close by as well. That's going to be Edward on the other side. He's just going to be biding his time there. They're right next to each other, just seeing who will crack first.
Yeah, Pyth, he just needs to play it patiently at this point. Now he's got the angle.
Yeah.
It's if he decides to push in where life gets easy for Edward. Yeah, exactly. Well done by Pyth. He survives, forces Edward back. Could have got the kill, but still, him staying alive is now a real thorn in Navi's side. They are going to just try just holding his own, shuts down Flamey, and Seized. Well, Seized is going to be able to catch Exist reloading. No matter the air control there, you're not going to get it.
I was about to say, it's difficult for Nil to go straight away, but...
Chaotic on Nip's side as well, because we're like, where was the communication? Did Exist communicate that Seized was in the back line? Because it looked like the guys who were playing bomb site got caught in the back unawares.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, you're right.
And then Freiburg, yeah, it doesn't seem like he was aware that he just didn't have, like, if he just sat and hid behind that bomb site, Edward didn't have the time to come and get him.
Do you know what? That would have been a massive round here, but they're going to be on Eco this time. Guardian just coming out towards main entrance, finds that first kill onto Forest. We have got Freiburg towards E-Box, but Pyth with a lovely shot with the Desert Eagle there. Does stay down Guardian, but Edward coming in emphatically from Popdog here and just opening things back up again. Double kill once more. He's had a very strong game here. A very influential rounds. He comes back and delivers the goods.
Pyth really trying to make it work there, but not going to happen for him. Exist is now here. He has actually gone for the P250 and Kevlar. He had enough money to go for that. But there isn't a target for him to work with, unfortunately for him. So he might eventually make his way back around to A main and see if he can't get some kind of backstab going. But for now, at least, this should be a situation that Na'Vi are in full control of. There isn't a whole lot that he can do.
Indeed. P250 in hand for Exist. Has got the head armor, interesting enough. Not really sure why he'd purchased that up against AKs, but each their own.
Sometimes, you know, it's just
a bit of confidence.
Maybe he's like, you know, an old Gaulois or something. You know, he's afraid that the sky's going to fall on his head.
Okay.
So you got to wear that helmet outside.
Well, judging by their money and what they'll get next round, they will be able to have a relatively decent buy. Forest has got 3,100 right now. So he will be able to get the AWP, but we'll see what they can bring to the table. It's been a lot of clutch situations here. That round with Freiburg as well, that would have been enough to probably actually win the game for them, because they're actually been a full reset coming in for Navi at that point, and NIP at 14 rounds. I think that might have been it. And here comes the cash now. Forest once again. AWP has been pretty impressive so far in terms of the picks he's been able to get, especially on the T side, but let's see what Guardian can bring to the table. I assume he's going to be getting the AWP as well.
Yeah, he had it. I think he just dropped an AK for somebody. So I mean, no, not even. He just went full nades. Still, for him, he's been really effective. I mean, at least last round they were very aggressive, Nip. So Guardian got that opening kill, and he had success last round. So he's going to try and go and make it happen again here in A main. So far, though, the angle is not going to work out for him. It doesn't look like Nip are interested in lining up and making it easy. So
they've got a pretty weak buy here as well. They've got a Famous on pit and Get Right on the P90. Obviously, he can do wondrous things towards that inside bomb side. It takes a lot of close range, ducking and weaving, but he can definitely find kills with it. Backed up by Forest as well towards inside, so kind of banking on that area this time.
That is one thing that Nip haven't really tried to do, though. Get aggressive in brown halls.
Yeah, you're right. That can be something that would be very effective to find that first pick.
But it's also Na'Vi are very good at clearing out brown halls. This is something that they do almost every round. Just put two guys up here and wait and see if anybody's going to come and say hello. Then it's going to be a bit of a problem, right? But NIP, it is a bit of a shame that they haven't even tried. They haven't even seen if that could be effective, if they could pick somebody there.
There we go, then. It's going to be an outside execution, at least from the setup we can see so far. Smokes will be thrown all over the outside area. And this could be a little bit of a problem for NIP. They have got incendiaries to hold them off for some time, but they've got the weaponry to do so.
Yeah, the full A smoke. And already, Pyth might be getting a bit toasty there. The Molotov might force him out into the open. He is taking just a little bit of damage, but he manages to dodge back. Majority of the damage is going to be going the way of waiting for it. Nobody actually sees anybody. And finally, Pyth is able to get out of there. He gets dropped down to 14, though. Great leg shot coming in from Guardian. But now they're in a bit of a standoff.
Yeah.
All 5 players alive for Na'Vi, holding all the different angles. And, well, NIP, this is it. Their moment. They have to hit the shots. And Pyth is going to start off strong, taking out Flamey. Forrest trades effectively, but now Guardian is still alive on blue trade. And Guardian, will he be able to actually get this done? Forrest with his second kill. And it's on Edward and Guardian now to hold the line. Nice shot from Edward, and now Guardian, he moves up onto the site, putting on that pressure, and it's all on Pyth, who comes through, picks up one, but not the last.
Wow.
That was chaos for a moment there, man. 5v5 retake, that's a nightmare.
Do you know how much of a dream setup that is for Navi, though? Getting the bomb down before a kill's even exchanged. That's just like textbook Counter-Strike. If you're managing to do that, like, you've played the round perfectly at that point.
They hadn't even seen anybody.
Exactly. Like, that's just like a dream setup for them going forward. And the fact that NIP actually made that so close is pretty impressive. That retake, like I said, I keep saying it time and time, it's one of the hardest retakes in the game right now. And they made it work for themselves. Come down to the 1-on-1, but Viper just like, 12 HP, and Guardian knowing exactly where he was, didn't really have much to work with. And now we go for another Rico here from NIP. Looking like they'll be stacking towards inside, but outside, actually doing the full rotations here. Get right, can hear the footsteps, he's calling them in. Navi going pretty quickly here. It's going to be Get Right to open it up, but quickly responded by Navi here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Get Right, he isn't able to capitalize on that. Good flank coming in here from Forrest, but again, he's the last man alive, and Guardian spots him, but Zeus will get the kill. So at least they managed to get 2 kills on the board here in IP, but that's not really what's going to matter. Like, Navi shouldn't be too concerned. So long as they have the money to full buy, it doesn't really matter like how many people are surviving here. I mean, I do appreciate Navi, though. Like, okay, we could try and change up the pace in a gun round and go aggro, but no, we'll do it when they actually save.
This is the thing, right? They're just trying to hinge a bet, see what's going on, and now they've got to maximum loss benefits. That's actually 5 in a row for an IP here, so getting a little bit uncomfortable. We hit 13-13. We said Navi were going to be so strong on their T side, and they're proving that so far. Forrest back on towards the AWP. He's going to be outside this time instead of inside, and it's looking like actually a faster inside approach from Navi. Guardian once again looking towards lower round, waiting for that smoke to dissipate, seeing if he can work with it. And Forrest is being called back over towards inside, so it'll be an equal setup here, and it's going to be smoke setup. So Navi are definitely not changing up the pace a little bit in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, I am appreciating it, seeing a little bit of variety in their play. They're legendary for just doing the same thing over and over again. So to actually see, them change it up here a little bit, keep Nip guessing, that is really refreshing. That's what allows for Navi basically to just continue to control the momentum here. They finally got it, and they're not going to let go. And now the push comes in here onto the B site. Nades are going in, trying to chip down Navi, make the retake easier, and Get Right just goes charging through. But guess what? Nobody's there. They're already past him. He catches out Seized from on high. Flamey, however, will strike down. And it is going to be a 4-on-3 retake now for NIP. Not looking too healthy for him.
They had 2 players towards the inside, the outside entrance as well. I thought they were going to come in for the full pincer, but it's going to be a 3-on-3. They have got kits, but Guardian is set up, poised and ready. Takes down Freiberg, gets a double as well, and that's going to secure the round. This is getting a bit scary now for NIP. Didn't really get much for it. Get Right trying to push through the smoke. And like you said, just couldn't find anything from it. Like, he's had to commit so much into open space to find 1 kill. Gets taken down straight away. The response comes in so quickly from Navi there, and the round falls apart. As soon as Guardians get set up on lower ramp, watching for people come the connector, they were just done for at that
That's
point.
just a nightmare situation for Get Right, though. Just a little unfortunate, right? Because the guy's dropping 27 frags already.
Yeah.
So already a full turnaround from what we saw yesterday. But another situation could be like, oh yeah, he goes through that smoke and he runs into 3 people and just, sprays them all down. So just the fact that nobody is there for him to really pounce on, that's got to be so frustrating.
Yeah, I actually liked his play though. It's actually quite surprising, pushing for the smoke, making things happen, but unable to make it work. So we go into round number 13 of the second half. Currently 6 rounds in a row for Navi, and they definitely have the advantage going forward in terms of the gunpowder as well. We can see an MP7, Famuses, 1 kit, 1 smoke remaining.
Yeah, no.
I feel like this might be done at this stage.
And you got to like it. I mean, Navi, now they realize, okay, they're not going to have anything. So guess what? We just go back to default and wait and sit.
Yep.
Make them use the nades.
Whatever they do have is going to be used up pretty quickly.
Interstack coming in here, though, for an IP. So this is one variation. We haven't really seen this yet so far. They have stacked outside, but Interstack, and then it's actually going to be Forrest getting caught. And this is a nightmare for an IP. Forrest, he really needed to come through, but he doesn't do a single point of damage to his aggressor.
And once again, they find 1 pick, move on, and somehow Edward getting kills here as well. It's an absolute bloodbath, and just 2 players for NIP remaining. Get Right exists, and Get Right does manage to find 1, gives his position away. And I would assume that means just get towards outside. We know Get Right's there, going to be 1 player just outside, potentially just with a fam as well. It's just going for the face. Punished as well, of course. And now they know exactly where Get Right is. He hasn't got a kit, he's low HP. It's going to be 15 rounds to Navi.
Yeah, it's going to be 15, and it's looking very good here for Navi to close out this first map despite the near perfect start for NIP. 10 rounds. Remember, 10 rounds means that they've only succeeded in picking up 3 rounds here on their CT side NIP. CT side of Train.
This is the thing, right?
But this is a nightmare map if you're CT as well. Just like the ability now with that extra 10 seconds to just run down this clock. You never really have to deal with nades if you're Navi, because by the time you decide to push onto a site, Nip, they hardly have anything left to stop you with.
Especially if you're controlling the money, like they have been in the last 6 rounds or so. You know they haven't got really much to work with, and they're playing it perfectly. This fits in with the Navi playstyle so well. So Get Right needs to stay alive here to have anything to work with, and he actually has a lovely shot there onto Seized to stay alive and take his weapon into potentially the last round. We can see Like I said, NIP will have maximum loss bonus, but on the CT side, that doesn't really mean that much. $3,400 across the board means you have Famises, maybe some Scouts, Mag 7s. You can have that. The fact Get Right has an AK boosts their chances going forward, but a very difficult prospect. There it is. A Scout on Forest, a couple of Famises, and an M4. I've got smoke grenades and an incendiary, but this has just been another case of Navi. Let's just slow it down. We've got the Orbs. They've got a Scout. Let's just see what we can do with this Guardian. Go for that main phase, seeing if we can see anyone towards E-Box and coming out of main, but got to find the first kill regardless. He takes down Forest.
And that was identical to what happened several rounds ago when he last peeked into A main. Boom, Forest is just out in the open, and Guardian, he's way too quick for that. Forest not able to react in time. So now this is nightmare fuel here for NIP basically. I mean, what do? You just haven't been able to get any kind of control going on the CT side. And NIP now just down a man, trying to hold on here on the A site. I mean, they do take a risk by putting Python to A main. That's something, but Na'Vi aren't going to be like really pushing anywhere.
I feel like more has to be done, Sebla.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, him sitting there, it's a very checked position. It's not like he's going to have the drop on Na'Vi just sat there, right? So you can see Freiburg trying to bait him in a little bit and hold that angle and see if they can do something with it. But Na'Vi just so patient. They're spreading out across the map, seeing what's available. The bomb's not even picked up. That's still towards T-spawn. So you feel like the CTs, they're going to have to do something more with this soon. They need to say, well, we need to have some intel here. The full outside execute coming in as well.
Yeah.
This is this hellish, and we've still got Zeus towards inside patrolling that area as well. They've got everything on lockdown right now.
And Get Right's trying to gamble. He's holding far back on Link on that inner side, so he will be able to rotate over fairly quickly here when the execute decides to come in. Now it's all about positioning, and well, they do have a little bit of a solid position. Just the element of surprise isn't even there. Where the hell? What happened to Freiburg? I guess he got flashed out. So Flavy with the double entry kill onto this A site, and just like that, Nip, they're getting picked apart. Guardian lays gate right low, and now it is just going to be the inner push after all. So Na'Vi are not really able to achieve... Well, no, never mind. Nip not really able to achieve much whatsoever.
Well, there it is.
Na'Vi, they achieved everything. They got the win.
That's kind of heartbreaking for NIP, right? We talked about that 10-5 coming into it. They're looking so strong. They lost the pistol, and they still came back with 7 rounds in a row on their T side. They controlled the economy so well, right? And then it was that second round force buy for me on the CT side.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, that's when when you're in that sort of position, you know you're the weaker team here for sure going forward. You just go with that first gun round. You need everything to play for. You need that the full buy, the kits. They lose that round. It was a difficult first gun round for them, and then it just started getting a little bit out of control. So,
out of control. Yeah. We just really started to see the mastery, I think, of Na'Vi on this T side of Train.
Yeah.
They are still so scary. Probably one of the best teams, if not the best team on T side Train right now.
yeah.
They're a real thing to fear. And, well, it's not over yet. We got more at Nip Na'Vi coming up next. So, guys, we're going to have a short break. When we come back, we'll have that match to bring to you. I got it, everybody. I figured it out during the break.
Okay.
So, we're going into the second map. NIP versus Na'Vi here at the ESL Pro League, just to get all that out of the way. Now let's get to the salient bit here. So, when they went for the Deagle force buy, Henry, I know I told you this, Brett. This joke isn't fresh for you. I already told it to you.
I'll laugh still.
You'll laugh still? Okay, thanks, bro. But Nip, if they're going for 4 Deegs, they're hoping for that crazy headshot, right? Problem is, they don't have Nico on their team. So there you go, right? I know you got Freiburg, I know you got Forrest, but Nico's like the only guy who actually does that sort of stuff. Like every time he picks up a Deagle, he gets 2 kills.
Whenever I see him with the Deagle, like he's actually the only player in the game right now who's buying it consistently on pistol rounds as well. Like T pistol rounds, he's buying a Deagle. That's actually kind of nuts. That shows you how confident he is in it. And actually, I think you're right. If you had someone like that on your team and you're going for these Deagle force buys, then you feel like, wow, we've got a real chance of winning.
Can we narrow it down to like that round though? Pretty much like that force buy just really screwed over Nip.
I'm not sure. Like their economy was pretty weak throughout the whole CT side. Obviously, their T side was great. We talked about that. It looked like they've done their homework. They've got these executions finally, not relying on entry frags all the time. It just felt like their CT side, the clutches weren't working out for them. They had opportunities to win that game, by the way. Remember that Freiburg clutch versus...
The Freiburg clutch, basically.
Who was it against? I think it was Edwards towards the end. He had like 1 HP or something. He picks up the AWP main entrance. Freiburg, all he had to do was stay alive. The bomb was down. It came down to like a 1-second defuse. And he just had to stay alive for a few more seconds. And he went for the face and got taken down. That was the game one. Had he won that round, it's a full reset for Na'Vi. It gets NIP to the 14th round. And they had no money going into the next.
No, that would have been it. That would have been it.
So this comes out. That was a 2-on-1 to begin with as well. That was Exist and Freiburg and 1 HP clutch. So to be fair, that could have gone either way. Let's be honest. That's
the thing, man. If it had been a banana there, Freiburg, he'd have never let it go.
I think his banana days are over.
That clutch just slipped right through his fingers.
I think we have to leave the banana business behind us for 2030.
No, sorry.
Like it's done now.
Guy's got an ice cream, a brand of ice cream named after him.
Does that still exist?
King of Banana.
You're from Sweden. Have you ever bought it?
No, I've never bought that.
No,
I did buy the McNip when it came out of McDonald's. Though.
Oh yeah, sure.
No.
You say you never saw?
It was actually pretty horrible, but it was alright.
You never seen a King of Banana ice cream there?
I have not seen this King of Banana ice cream.
Fair enough. It's not as popular.
I know. The thing is, Henry, I don't necessarily need a lot of sweet food. I'm sweet enough. So
classic line. Works every time though. I like it.
No, that's that. You know why I love that line though? Okay. It's because it's from Bricktop. That's the first time I heard it, right?
Yeah.
In Snatch, where he's just like, "I'm sweet enough." And I was just like, "Oh, Bricktop, I love you."
His delivery was a little bit better, I have to say.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like you're talking about Freiburg ice cream, and he's talking about gangsters.
Hey, sweet stuff, That's the thing, And that's the theme tonight, right? So I'm gonna have to come up with some Godfather lines, some casino lines.
Well, you should do your research maybe before the show, and you can have the stuff.
We'll work on this. We'll start
doing some research.
I'm not going to be researching strats. I'm going to be researching like one-liners now from famous gangsters.
He should be like Sadicus then. He actually so here's a little insight to how he works. When we're actually casting, you feel like he's got he does these facts and these jokes and stuff. Everyone thinks, he's this really funny, witty guy, right? No, he's just got them all up on the screen here. He's Googling them while we're casting. So just a little insight to what Matt gets up to. Maybe just go take a look at
the bus, and there it's gone. Oh, Sadicus, what happened, bro?
No,
just throwing your bro under the bus, man.
The stuff he was doing to be at that minor, he deserves to be thrown under the bus. Like I don't know if you saw the video, the highlights, the funny video, but go check that out, and you can see how out of control that event got. But yeah, if you want to be funny, just look it up, basically. No one's funny these days. Everyone's just an actor.
Oh, eventually, right? Eventually, at the end, you run out of that. You run out. Whoa, really loud. You run out of content, right? It reminds me of like Tasteless. There was like a picture taken of him way back in the days with StarCraft 2, right? But he had like a jokes book on the desk with him.
Okay,
like
so
literally, like straight up jokes book. It's just like, okay, bro, okay.
Well then, it's going to be Mirage, and after Train, to be fair, we didn't think NIP had any sort of footing going into Train. Like we thought this out there for a clean foregone conclusion, but they gave us a very good game. Obviously, we weren't able to close it out, but it was much more convincing than we thought it would be. 16-13 against Navi on Train. That's not a bad day in the office in anyone's book. Really.
I agree. And especially when Navi are, just so good at the map. Problem is here. Nip win the knife again, so they actually get to pick which side they'll be starting on. So it will be that CT start. I'm just really curious, really curious. No, they didn't win the knife round. Sorry, on Train, but I'm really curious to see what they have on their T side here at Nip. Because is it going to be more of Train, where it's just like, oh wow, they actually have some set strats. They've been able to put some work in on the map clearly.
I think this is what they played against Dig as well.
Yeah, they did 16-8. I think was the score.
Yeah, you're right, and it was actually the same sort of thing. I was actually kind of impressed. I have to say,
I like how you sound so surprised.
Well, I was impressed. I was actually impressed.
It's been so long in the woods.
Well, I've casted these guys so many times, right? And it's always been like the same odd sort of. As the color caster, they're asking me, like, what are they doing wrong? wrong? Well, what's the approach here? This is so well, they're not making the picks here. They're not finding the picks. They've got nothing to fall back onto. And it was on their team side of train. You could see that working for them perfectly. They actually were going for map control to start, seeing what was available, and weren't having to go them into unfavourable situations. But are we actually live right now?
Yeah, we are live right now.
Okay.
So thanks for the story, bro. I was just gonna let you finish.
I didn't even realise. Why are you just letting me do that?
This is fine. It's still a situation that they can come out ahead in, although Na'Vi... Oh, they're not going to be able to stop the defuse. Forrest with the double headshot with the USP at the end. It was kind of painful to watch, though. I think it was Exist who pushed into pit initially there.
Well, I missed
but then
the
he just
whole
got
thing,
wrapped. He just got wrapped. So basically, let me write it down for you here, bro.
Okay.
So, Na'Vi, they're going for your standard fare, right?
Okay.
A take, three
Sure.
guys up in apartments, two coming out of pit. Nip decide to get aggressive. They try and push into pit. Exist, he does get a kill, but then everybody just comes out of apartments and just basically wrecks him. So,
Perfect.
and then A site would belong to Nip, and then it was just, bad news bears from there for Na'Vi for some reason.
Well, they got the full DVs coming in there, but it's going to be Na'Vi with full Deagles across the board. But Get Right is going super aggressive here in the B apartments. Does get that first kill, and he's not done just yet. He's going to spot Guardian as well. Going to be going for that challenge. The bomb is dropped as well. So going a pretty clean affair so far. Guardian and Flamey, well now just Guardian remain. He's got 6 HP in the underpass, and they haven't actually picked up a single frag here either. So they do have enough for rifles next round. I think they were kind of hoping they'd find a couple of picks of these Deagles and kind of pay them back the debts they've
incurred.
Yeah.
Plant. Not going to happen. Instead, Pyth, he's such a nice guy. He's like, Guardian, you're looking a little tired. You're looking a little flushed. Go ahead, put your feet up on that couch, bro. Take a nap.
You sleep.
Take a nap. It's all right.
Right then, so after getting the bomb down in the pistol, obviously they will be getting rifles here. They're going to have 4 AKs and they get a little as well. But you can see the head armor situation. This is fantastic. It's going to be Seized and Guardian without the head armor and going up against a P90 and Famis's as well. That's actually kind of interesting. We'll see how that affects them going forward. It looks like they're going for some mid control here. No heavy aggression coming from the CTs at the start. But Guardian is going to be pushing for the smoke. He's hungry to open this up as Freiburg is towards the window.
No, I do like that push, and you are vulnerable if Pyth decides to push forward onto Cat very quickly, but it's not likely, right? So Guardian's kind of safe to face the man in window. Problem is that Freiburg was not safe to go for the peek into mid. There were 3 people waiting there for him from Na'Vi, Guardian, and Zeus. They tag team him. And while there's the man advantage here for Na'Vi now to work with, only problem is Na'Vi, they've run out of all of their utility. They actually have no nades left to play with.
And they're killing each other.
Ooh.
Doesn't help.
Scary. But Pyth wins in the end.
So 4 on 2. We can see Seized does have the bomb and Flamey just trying to make his way out towards A main right now. He's actually going to be up towards Tetris, trying to see if there's any kills available. It's going to be Exist there waiting for him, but he's got a decent position here. It's not one you pre-fire for sure. And say that though, of course, Flamey goes in straight away and takes him down and opens this up.
I hate that position so much.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it's a great position if he jumps up onto Tetris, because then you can get that angle right where it's like you have a little gap in the wood and you can spot him and get some body shots in. But if the guy actually pushes forward, you're just a sitting duck. You can't even maneuver. You can't move.
Okay, they've already made 1 team kill this round, so don't make it a second. They still have plenty of time to work with here. 30 seconds. The CT's playing very passively indeed. They're just way to let the bomb go down and then retake together. And here comes the plan right now. Fake plan though.
Gotta be careful. They walk into it, and Forrest missing the shots, and, well, definitely not expecting Get Right to step forward with that P90. For a moment there, though, that looks pretty dicey. Nice flash as well. The follow-up, Get Right making it look easy.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice play from him. Obviously, he knows he's got to go recover that bomb. He's going to be vulnerable. He can't really turn away from the flash. And the P90 coming in full stead there and doing some fantastic work from Get Right at the end. And NIP able to hold off the Force Spy as well. The AK-47 is pretty ineffective there. And then we have the AWP coming out. It's going to be full rifles. They've salvaged some AKs. It's looking pretty promising once again for NIP. They had a really fantastic first half on train and continuing that force here.
In the meantime, yeah, Na'Vi, just straight eco, no problems for them. Nice easy shot there for Forrest to pick off Seized, and he can do this because he's got Freiburg watching top mid for him. Guardian prefers to go solo, but, Freiburg and Forrest, they're inseparable, right? So
Using the buddy system.
exactly. Smart CS. Edward, he does have the dig, and he will get a tag onto Pyth. So doing a little bit of damage, but Pyth is close enough to spot the boost up in the window. Easy shot for Forrest. And right now, everything is going Nip's way. Every step along the way, Na'Vi just keep walking into these different traps, these different setups. So I'm glad to see that Nip, at least on this anti-eco, things are going according to plan for them.
Yeah, it's the thing. We saw it on the first half as well. Keeping 5 players alive can be so valuable, especially on the CT half here. Not dropping a single player definitely helps you going into the next gun rounds here. We'll see. Navi definitely will be able to buy. But so far, they're trying to see if they can get anything out of this round, both towards the top and middle And it's quite a disciplined game from NIP. No one's actually giving anything away. No one's making silly decisions. They're just going to be waiting and making sure that everyone stays alive. And Guardian trying to change that plan as he's hunting towards Connector. It's going to be Pyth to take down Zeus. And he gets the bomb as well. So you can pretty much guess where Guardian's going to be at this point. But still just holding strong and making sure they don't give anything away.
This is brutal stuff. Actually, here. Guardian is now the last man alive. But yeah, so far, I mean, he's just running down this clock, hoping that somebody gets impatient on Nip, and I'm glad to see that from Nip as well. Not only are they having effective setups here, short into window, into connector, you know, that kind of triangle of doom that's so deadly, they're not peeking. They're not actually being aggressive here. They're not going to give Guardian anything for free. And then when they hear the footsteps, Freiburg backs off. Just Guardian has no targets.
They want to make him die after the clock, right? So
somebody show.
They don't even phase, make him try and plant. And okay, it's going to get the bomb down. That's actually a little bit disappointing.
Well, that was a bit of a mistake, yeah.
I like the approach. Like I said, they're probably just trying to make him go down after the time and then face him. But the fact he's got a bomb plant down there, when it's a 5-on-1, don't let him plant. That's the worst thing that could happen in that scenario. That's all they want from this round. That's crazy, right? That's literally the only thing he would have possibly wanted in that situation. He's got it. And that gives him an extra $800. The fourth stage loss bonus as well. Look how strong their buys has become.
Yeah, now it means everybody's got full nades, basically everything they need. Guardian,
sloppy.
It's not even just like a force buy op. Now he's actually got everything going for him. Kevlar, a couple of nades, the smoke, so you can have a say in this execute that could come up here for Na'Vi. As far as Na'Vi are concerned, though, they're going to go for that aggressive mid-take Guardian. He had the spawn for it. He's going to get right up here and take this fight, looking for the man in connector. Little does he know, it's going to be a peeking from window instead. Forrest with that AWP. Now he's got the angle. So they trade places, and Na'Vi doesn't look like they want to challenge this yet. They're actually expecting some kind of aggression mid from NIP.
Well, nothing really coming in yet. They're going to just be holding up and seeing whether there is that aggression shown. We have got Pith on towards short here. He's going to be throwing incendiary towards underpass, but it's Thoris once again with the AWP. Smoked out a window for now, but slowly but surely you would assume Na'Vi are going to be making their way towards the top of the middle with that smoke.
A bit early, though. Look at that. The push into Pit. That was way early in the round, much earlier than I thought would happen, but they have actually got a little bit of map control going for them here now, Nip. Close enough to hear the steps top mid if they want from Pit, but also if there's anybody rotating in for Na'Vi into T-spawn. This is a really solid position here for NIP to be in. But this is not going to be effective for them in this round, seeing as how it's going to be a split onto B here from Na'Vi. With 50 seconds left, the push is about to come through, and now it all comes down to the two players here, Get Right and Pyth. How well do they work together?
That's the thing. Guardian's got full control there. He just takes down Forest towards CT spawn. That's towards A, but the actual attack's coming in towards B. It's a perfect split coming in now. We've got two players into apartments. It's just Get Right to hold them off, but only manages to get one here as well. So that's going to be round over. Exist going towards T spawn, but Guardian, you know what? He's just ready for this as well. Somehow, actually will go down here, it looks like, but you know what? Guardian's just going to hit the second shot. No problem at all. Doesn't actually take any damage somehow. And just Freiburg remains. So for me, NIP were maybe a little bit too passive there. The fact they're giving up so much, like they've got no control of middle whatsoever, that can be fine, but the fact they're getting up shots from connected towards CT spawn and then getting towards a full B attack, there's no reaction from the CTs whatsoever. Normally, if you've got no vision in middle, you're taking over B apartment, right? You're pushing somewhere, you're getting intel somewhere. You can't just fully sit back and allow them to swarm the map wherever they like and find picks.
And that's where it didn't really work out for Nip, because they did go for the push into Pit. So they did have a little bit of something, but then that should also be telling them, okay, well, we're not hearing anybody in Pit, so this has got to be a push towards B. Let's rotate a man off. And instead, once Guardian got that kill on Forest, Nip started to rotate off of B. Pyth, for example, he got caught out in the open on that B site.
Yeah.
So Nip just completely misreading the situation there.
Well, they do have plenty of cash going forward into round number 6 here, but Na'Vi finally arriving here. It's going to be 4 plays 1. Ooh. And here we go. That's where it gets fun. Auto snipers out. And the AWP as well. Get Right's going to be rolling with this. You assume he'll be going towards B apartments, putting on his own smoke and trying to spam through it. Can be a very effective weapon, of course, but it's definitely a little bit of one of the high-risk maneuvers going up against Guardian. We'll see what he can bring to the table here. The apartments. And will actually not be going too aggressive just yet. Just clearing out every angle. And now comes the full phase. They're actually going to have a full A attack coming from Na'Vi. You know, it's actually going to be looking like a full wall of smokes on the A site and go for the plant. It's just Forest waiting for them.
Oh, this is perfect from Na'Vi. Look at this. They managed to lurk their way right through the smoke on the A pit up to Tetris, so now they actually have some control of this A site. This all comes down to Forest, holding from CT. It is a likely spot, though, so he shouldn't... Exactly. There's a deep flash in that forces him off, and Zeus hasn't shown him anything, so... As long as they get those smokes down here, Na'Vi, it should be decent. Edward just going for the full face. Bit of a risky play there, but Forrest unable to hit the shot, so it doesn't really matter in the end. Instead, it's going to be Na'Vi having lost 2 players trying to get aggressive in connector. Nip are going to get the punish on them. Zeus, though, catches out Exist, who tried to rotate through, and somehow Forrest lets Edward get out of that pocket.
I have no idea how he survived, but the frag's coming in. Get right coming to life with the auto sniper. Manages to get 2, and all of a sudden it's an NIP round. And it looked like they had no footing in that whatsoever. Like, Forest missing, 2 or 3 shots there? Key shots as well. And Navi getting the bomb down pretty much for free. I didn't think NIP had any chance, but the connector play comes in. They find 2 kills there. And the famed auto sniper that we were talking about before going into this round somehow picks up 2 frags as well on the retake. That's pretty sick from Get Right.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Get Right. It's so hard to actually make that gun work in a retake scenario like that. And wow, Pyth laying a bit of a trap here, getting all the way up in underpass. And sees he's slow playing this, so he's going to spot it, not see anybody there. But now Pyth, he's going to have the quick flank through. He could actually just rip them asunder here. And he does manage to trade 1 for 1. Seized, though, ready and waiting for that push. That was very well done by Seized. Actually pretty surprising that he has that presence of mind to make sure that is, to realize that that's still an option for an IP.
Considering the setup they had there waiting for Pyth to push, the fact he got 1, to be fair, it's very impressive in itself. The fact that he managed to take someone down with him. But still, the man advantage is going in favour of Navi here. We can see a little bit of reaction coming in. Exist going to be pushing off short and seeing whether we can see anyone going towards connector here. But the bomb making its way back towards a ramp so far. Flamey's already at the end of Palace here. So you'd assume Guardian going for the face here, seeing where Forest may be. He's going to be towards jungle this time. So another slow-paced round is going to take advantage of the man situation. You can see CTs don't really have much to work with. No utility apart from 2 flashbangs, and all 3 players pretty much committed towards B.
Yeah, they really have, again, misread the situation, Nip.
I think this is more of like
a gamble strategic.
We know we can't really win the round with what we have available, so if we gamble on towards B and kind of hope this works out in our favour, we have something to work with. If not, we'll just go for the full save.
And that seems like it's going to be what happens here. I mean, smokes are going down here on the A site. Nip now realize, wait, we're in the wrong spot. Unfortunately, Navi have figured us out. They're going to be able to get the bomb plant for free. And once that goes through, well, Exist was trying to peek for info from short, but he's going to get picked off by Guardian, and now it's just an impossible situation for the remaining 2 players here for NIP. So they get to sit and wait for the inevitable.
Indeed. Well, there it is. We saw some aggression coming in from Pyth. You go with Pit or Pyth?
I just call him Pyth.
Yeah?
I've been calling him Pyth for 3 years. I mean,
so you're sticking with it?
Just calling him Pyth.
He's still cool.
Because, if you try and really say it like full Swede, it's like Pit.
Yeah.
Or something.
Okay. I'll go with
just
Pyth
it's kind of hard to get hit.
Back to the point, though.
Pit.
We saw him go towards underpass. It was quite a nice little idea from him, hiding in the cubby hole and seeing whether they actually went for the face at the start of the round, didn't get face, and then obviously Guardian opens up the map, of course, with an opening frag, and then the reaction comes in, and Navid is reading and so aware of every single possibility, is waiting for that underpass push to come in. They take him down. That was round over at that stage. There's nothing to work with, really. But they do save an AWP and an auto sniper here, so it's definitely something to work with. They can justify forcing into this round. With the Famases, the CZ on Exist as well. Freiburg working out how he's going to go forward. Of course, he's going to bring out an MP7. Why not? Let's see where he decides to go. Obviously, he has to get up close and personal with this weapon. I'd assume he'll push into the A ramp, but it's all going to be about get right. With that auto sniper towards middle. Going to be Molotov out of position for now, so he has to get out of there.
Yeah, mollies are going to go in. So, again, some presence in mid from Na'Vi. Looked like some knife damage, actually. Somebody just got shanked. Flamey. They are being very thorough here, making good use of their nades, Na'Vi, but they're fully committed to this A take, so it's going to have to happen fast once these smokes start to clear up. Freiburg able to trade 1 for 1 with Zeus, but he gets walled down and Exist again up in that awkward spot with the CZ-75, no less. Really not the best position to be in.
Definitely not. And it's going to be a 4-on-2. To me, Forrest hasn't had that much impact in his CT AWPing so far. No. He's been very quiet indeed. And this is where he may be struggling a little bit. Obviously, a very AWP-heavy map. I can see Get Right making this interesting at least. Takes the bomb down. And it's going to be a 3-on-1. He does win these. That's an interesting smoke.
Yeah, the wall bang.
God,
double wall bang, actually.
He doesn't mess around when it comes to those sort of situations. That's going to break an uppy here. But for me, as I was saying before, it seems like Forrest has been very static so far. He's not been like the kind of playstyle we see from, like, let's say, Device on this map. I feel like he's one of the most dynamic AWPers in the game right now in terms of what he does in each round. He brings a new position every single time. He's making things happen. He's more of a point man as an AWPer. Forrest on this map, from what we've seen, he's actually just kind of playing CT spawn or jungle and not really making anything happen. He's kind of hoping that he gets a frag walking in front of his screen. It's not really happening so far.
Oh, it's also Guardian. Like, you'll watch the different styles. When Guardian switches over to CT side, he's the kind of guy who just like jumps out a window to check underpass, and then he goes up to top mid, and then he'll go into connector. Like, he's just all over the place with that AWP. It's so hard.
I feel like that's what you need to be doing as a CT AWP. You can't just sit back. It's obviously a very utility-based map. If you sit back and CT spawn, you're going to be smoked out. You're going to be flashed out. We saw it time and time again in the last few rounds. He's just getting flashed out of position. He has to fall back, and then a Molotov comes in, and the smoke, and the bomb's planted, and then the retake's coming in with the AWP. He's been making things happen on this map, I feel like, as CT.
Well, Pyth has recovered Freiburg's Deagle, so he'll have that to work with. Not going to save Exist life, though, but he will find the headshot on Zeus. Curious to see if he's going to be able to spot out Guardian coming through. The bomb is dropped, and there you go. Free spray for Pith. And now he can actually go in and try and take the fight with Flamey. He's going to get flanked, though. He's only got seconds. But that opens it up for Get Right to get the flank of his own. And then Forrest from Apartments. What is happening? Na'Vi just keep running into crossfires one at a time. Get Right actually going to come out ahead. Unreal performance here from NIP in this round, and they even save an AWP off of that.
It's kind of crazy how that's happened, right? Na'Vi have been so disciplined and approaching every situation perfectly so far. Going into the A-bomb side there, just running into everything. Didn't seem to actually slow down this time. Went a little bit too audacious, I would say. But NIP, after losing, how many was it? Well, actually, there's only 2 in a row. Actually, not doing too bad, but they bounce back here, get back in control of the money. Is this going in with the UMP this round, though? So let's see what Forrest brings to the table this time. Going to be back towards window. Guardian coming up towards him as well. He's just checking out connector right now. They haven't smoked off anywhere to do with middle now. Now he's kind of committing a little bit more. Just ran to overpass.
Na'Vi are really worried about some kind of mid push coming up from Nip, though. This is the second time that they've used this kind of hold. They just do not want to get caught by this if Nip decide to get aggro, which we haven't seen yet. So I guess that's why Na'Vi keep trying to check for it, because Nip haven't really gone through that play yet. Forrest, he's going to try and take a peek there into mid, and he misses his shot, so no joy for him. He gets a little info at least, so he spots out where Guardian is playing from, but apart from that, it's not exactly ideal here.
Indeed, and this is where Na'Vi start taking full control of middle. We have got Pipe towards short. He's been smoked out for now, but Guardian and Zeus getting towards connector. We have 2 players towards A ramp as well, Season towards Palace. You can see how they're setting up. It looks like an A split will be coming in. The bomb's still down T spawn though, so I'm assuming nothing will be happening just yet. Flamey should be thinking about getting the bomb, but he's more interested in finding a kill for now.
They really are looking for that peak. That is one thing that Nip have going for him right now. They're still content to sit and wait, but as I say it, Guardian catches out Pith. That was over in ladder room, so that weakens the B site. With 35 seconds left here, is that enough time for them to rotate back around? Random shots going through, and Exist obliterates Edward. UMP to the face. Freiburg up close, though, gets caught out. And in the blink of an eye, in the space of 1 second, 3 kills for Na'Vi, and soon to be a 4th here. Zeus just comes around that corner with the Tech 9 to take out Exist. So a 4th round on the board for Na'Vi, and an equally confusing one considering NIP, they had a bunch of solid positions there to stop that push from coming in.
It's just Guardian opened up once again. It was kind of an interesting round. Like I said, they just left the bomb in T-spawn the whole time. Like when it got down to like the 20-second mark, they still weren't going back for it. It's like, you know what, we'll just finish off the kills, we'll just swarm them. And then running towards the window room, took them down, make it very close range, and CT's unable to hold them off whatsoever. So after winning the eco round, they're actually struggling quite a lot there with the full buy. And now they'll be knocked down to an eco once again. Forrest is the first player towards drop. And Flamey just going ruthless here on the A ramp. He's going straight in. Going to get 2, but it's finally taken down by Freiburg. Edward replies, and that's going to be round over. Freiburg does recover an AK-47 here. It's got a smoke to play with as well, but I feel like that's not going to be the most effective. A little bit of utility here, considering that Na'Vi are making their way into towards B.
Yeah, and it's just looking too good here for Na'Vi. No reason for them to make any mistakes now. Get Right is going to look for a little bit of a trick jump. Just misses it.
Oh.
It's all right, Get Right. Nobody saw that.
Just 100,000 people watching, but
Yeah, nobody. Don't worry. All right, well, hey, as we try and wait to see exactly what's going to happen here, can we bring up the money real quick? Can you bring up the money?
we can do that.
What do we got? I mean,
So-
they'll have enough for a full buy.
They're going to get $1,900, and well, Freiburg's on 1,800, and Pitt is on 1,600.
Yeah.
So 2 players will be struggling, but Freiburg saved an AK right now. So if he can save that,
Never mind.
okay.
Shut up, Henry.
I was going to say, if you can save that, they definitely can buy, right? They can get, Forrest can get an AWP. But like I said, it's not like him picking that up on this map. It's going to be super effective. He needs to start doing something there. So you'll see most players like, let's see him get in Palace. Let's see him get in B apartments. Let's make something happen here. Instead of letting Na'Vi have full control of middle and then just doing what the hell they like.
Let's see them go for that aggressive mid take, actually.
Yeah, is this
Tactical pause time, maybe?
from NIP? Threats is there, just kind of, guys, let's just slow down. Let's think about this, surely.
I would love for that to be true. That would be fantastic.
You can see like the money on the screen right now. Okay, so we've got Freiburg 3K. This is the perfect time to take a pause. As I said, okay, have they bought anything already?
But Forrest just bought the M4. He's fully kitted
Okay,
out.
so I was going to say, like I think he had enough to buy an AWP, so they're kind of changing the mentality. Maybe he feels like he's not being too effective,
Yeah.
and not making things happen now.
I think that's fair, though. I think that's fair. Rather than try and force it, go
Yeah,
with
it's
something
fair
that you're a bit more comfortable with. Forrest is a
Do you not feel like this
excellent
is like
rifler.
the Dignitas effect, though? If you don't have someone who can... it's not even a
It's
tactical
not even
pause.
tactical.
Wow, we're kind of building up the
Dude,
romance
we're
there.
really bad about this like tactical stuff because we're always just like, oh, okay, this could make sense if you go for the tac pause here.
But
It's like actually
this is the perfect
every
time to take
single
a tactical
time.
pause.
Every single time it's been a tech like or wait. Wait. No,
What?
the rule set, right? You know, did we remove tactical pauses? Are you not allowed to take them anymore? So all of a sudden the players are like, oh, well, a team's being pummeled. Are we back in 1.6?
That's a cheeky one, isn't it? That's actually true. You can't really prove them wrong and say, oh yeah, just little technical balls coming in.
Oh, well, that's like the,
That's the
you
dream.
know. I wonder.
Well, if I was
I mean,
going to
Navi were like famous for that stuff, right? Back in
if I was going to
1.6.
call a tactical pause, this would be a perfect time for Nip. You've just lost 2 rounds in a row, and then you won an eco, and then you lost 2 rounds previous to that, right? The gun rounds haven't been that convincing. Let's see what we can do. We're up against a difficult buy. Let's work out how we're going to make these Famouses and these MP7s work out for us. Get right still yet to buy. I'd say this is an ideal moment to take a pause and work out, okay, what can we do to lock them down? Do we go for a little bit of mid-aggression here? Do we aim for the first pick? We're going to try and shut down Guardian with 3 players towards the top of the middle. Are we going to try and swarm lower ramp? But Flamey's there by himself almost every single time and actually wrecking us. So it's actually Navi that have dropped a player out. So all this speculation we're coming up with is completely redundant. But
Well, Guardian, yeah, is out. Get Right hasn't bought anything yet either. So I'm wondering if it was like Get Right dropped and then all of a sudden Guardian dropped and we started this chain reaction that's just going to end in the server collapsing in on itself. That might happen.
well, online CS, right?
Spawn a black hole in some server base somewhere and, end of the world. I'm telling you, Henry, it's on the way.
While we're here, there was a subject we wanted to speak about, right? $1 million.
That's right. We haven't spoken about that once, actually.
If you could put it in a nutshell how you feel about it, could you summarize in a couple of sentences?
Just, Matt, come back to me real quick. Okay, cut. It was just supposed to be come on, Matt. It's just supposed to be like a damn, man. Okay, now we might as well talk to you.
Okay, go
All
on.
right, what's up, everybody? Oh, now he goes back. Jesus. Who am I working with here?
I think there's a chain of communication that's to go through similar.
All right, but it's $1 million.
Right.
It's $1 million, and what I love about it is that it's top heavy.
Okay.
It's like they're sticker money still. So even the lower teams who wouldn't win the tournament, they're still going to get bonus money there. So they're getting that support, right? But it's also top heavy. I mean, you win this tournament, you're making $500.
You're going into more of the details. I want more of like your gut feeling. Like, do you feel like $1 million? Do you feel like it's about time, or do you feel like it's just enough? Like in terms of like compared to other games, like
Just enough.
I think that's fair, right?
Just enough.
I think like we don't want to smother all the other tournaments in the game by just going, you know what, we have a $5 million tournament, and then all the other tournaments are like, oh, we can only do 200k, and then all of a sudden no one really cares. And we have that Dota effect where only the major only the invitational seems to be anything anyone cares about, right? It's like
that's exactly it. That's exactly why CS, like the devs probably took it this long as well. I mean, granted, they were getting more and more viewership and more and more everything basically without having to just add money into the prize pool.
Yeah.
CS:GO majors have been growing nonstop, right? But yeah, you have this big example of a game that wrecked its own pro scene by creating this like freak of a tournament. There was supposed to be like a marketing stunt.
It's like
it wasn't even
to start
supposed.
off
Yeah,
with, right?
it was supposed to be this marketing stunt. Like, hey, everybody, pay attention to Dota 2. We're putting 1.6 million into it. Oh,
Yeah.
right. And then it just morphed into this monster that consumed everything in that scene. So obviously you're looking at that. You're like, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So sticker money, indirect
what's
ways of
the-
supporting the pros. That's more like it,
I
right?
saw a lot of people on Twitter saying like, "Oh, it's about time. Like, we deserve more than this and stuff." I said, "Well, no. If you think about it, then
About
we're
time.
gonna kill the whole circuit at that point, because then the major's just gonna be the only thing we care about."
Exactly.
So there's $5 million there, and like, okay.
It's about time. What, the sticker money never happened, bros? You guys making millions of dollars off the sticker
And
money?
to be
That never
fair,
happened?
It wasn't. To be fair, it wasn't so much the players. It was some more
Okay.
like the
community
the
heads?
pundits, the community.
I'm pretty sure the players aren't the ones complaining in a sense because, I mean,
No,
the
most of
money
them
that those
being-
guys make off of the signature stickers
Yeah.
is pretty significant. So, I mean,
They've got their own to
it's
play,
not
right?
exactly if that, a major, you make top 8, you're not exactly hurting either.
Like, I think it's a really nice increase. We've gone from 250 to 1 million. It's not too much. It's not too little. And it means that the first place prize, like I said, is top heavy, 500k. That's for some people, that's life changing money, right? 100k coming in for a few days work of CS. That's kind of sick in itself. That people are going to be aiming to win this. They're not just going to turn up and be happy with getting to group stages and getting $8,000. They want to go in all in this time. And I think towards the end of this year, that's when it's going to be a really interesting landscape. All these
It
teams
had
come
to happen
together.
as well, right, Henry? Just because you have these leagues that are coming up, Turner and ESL,
Sure.
they're showing up with these massive prize pools.
Yeah.
If CS:GO, the majors, just stayed at 250,000, even if there's a massive amount of money that's coming into it with stickers, that's not the prize pool. And people who are looking at the tournament, they're just saying, oh, but the prize pool's so small,
Yeah.
right? When maybe they're not aware that millions of dollars are actually being made off of stickers on the side,
Sure.
but they see the prize pool, right? So now Valve are just like, okay, the pros are still going to be making a whole lot of money off the stickers. But now there's a prize pool that kind of goes along with that,
This
right?
is the thing,
there's a balance there.
CSGO is definitely ready, right? Like if you look back to ESO 1 Cologne, like
You guys can just come back to us on the camera now, by the way. I mean, it's like if we're just going to sit here talking to people.
I can still see the game, so it's fine. Oh, okay. Is it like are they
Is it supposed to
trolling
go
us
live now? Is it supposed to go live? We going
They're
live?
trolling us, I think it's a joke.
It's a really weak troll. You got to step up your troll game, bro. You know what? We'll have some words after this, or I'll just sit down and explain.
Yeah.
This is how you mess with your casters.
I had a really good point.
But I mean,
today.
hey, it's ESL, right? They're not used to this. If it was Fragbite or Face, there's tournament organizers who are known for having like fun and messing around. Yeah, but this is ESL, so we can't blame them really too much, for being like
super serious.
If I switch the camera, they'll break my hands. I'm like, don't do it.
Okay.
Don't ask me to do this.
Weapons have been employed. Okay.
I know I look like a mobster, but I'm not going to come back there and break your kneecaps, right? Like, that's Kenneget's job. All right, so.
Okay, the point I was making was CSGO is definitely ready, right? We're seeing like ESO 1 Cologne like last year.
Yeah.
Like, that breaks like all the Twitch records and you get all this viewership and it's sick. And we only get 250k. That's like compared to all the other esports like League of Legends, Dota and stuff. That's a really small prize pool, right? Compared to all the other games. Like, and the fact we've got the opportunity now to show we can get all that viewership and we can have all the hype of this sick money as well. I think $1 million, like that's just going to be insane.
You got to get that 7 figures right and just be like,
Yeah.
there's $1 million. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to go up to 2. You didn't need to go up to 3. I mean, Dota 2. There's arguments that they even went too high with the majors there. Like, not only do you have this monstrous beast of the international now that you're never going to get any, nobody's ever going to get close to that.
Well, 16.
Now they made the
million.
majors $3 million as well, where it's like, well, now if you're a regular tournament organizer, you're like doubly screwed.
Yeah, you can't do
You're
anything.
just like, okay, well, now there's like 4 tournaments
It'd be like
this year.
considered like a fun tournament, 100k. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, just doing a little cute tournament over there.
I know,
Nice.
exactly. Now, like, the pros are just like, well, we've got like 4 tournaments. We win one of them.
We're done, yeah.
Mad Skrill. Like,
Yep.
no worries there. No, I mean,
That's what-
CSGO feels like we're getting to a place.
We've got so many great organizers, so much passion of different companies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I'd like to see them stay within the scene, not just be swallowed by 3 events that happen a year, right? So
It's
that's
all down to like a healthy tournament or like a healthy like tournament circuit, basically.
exactly.
It's not just one org that's like controlling everything. That's also going to be like like Riot with LCS, where it's just like, okay, this is the league. This is what you're paying attention to, and nothing else exists outside of this, right? They control the product. You got Dota 2, where now it's basically like Valve inadvertently like murdered their scene. And
yeah.
and now it's like, well, CSGO at least we've still got like
CS:GO
really
devs,
good
they've always said
competition.
that they don't want to do the same thing as Dota because that's not the direction they want to go in. They've seen
No,
how
Dota want to do the same thing as CS.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So like obviously like they've seen what's happened and it's great. Like it's cool. There's loads of money there. World record money. But anyway, talking of world record money, NIP definitely don't have that. They've got pretty shocking money. They're going to have MP7s, FAMASs, and a few M4s and 2 kits. So let's get back into this one. We've had a nice little podcast. And now we're going to work out how Navi are going to get into this one. They've heavily got the advantage here in terms of the equipment. AWP onto... What's going on here? Why is StarX playing?
Oh, did they lose Guardian?
Yep. DDoS or something?
Baby, Starix, I haven't seen you play in a long time.
What is
Way
going
too
on?
long. Okay, then.
Right.
Now, little do you know, Starix, he can be a pretty consistent offer. He's not Guardian, but he can do something. Unfortunately, if you line up in front of Pyth and he pulls the trigger, you're going to hurt. So, Seized and Zeus, they made it perfectly. They made it perfect there for Pyth. But Starix, with the op in the game,
Rolling back the years.
oh, he's dead now, but dead now, of course. Dead now, of course. But Edward.
All right. Okay. Let's calm down. For anyone just joining us, we had a big boards. It's online CS. I'm sure maybe a PC's blown up or there's been a DDoS issue or something. It does happen. And it seems like StarX used to be in the lineup. He's actually the coach. Is now playing. I'm sure he's a little bit rusty in terms of the pro scene, but I'm sure he still plays CS. And maybe he can do something. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Edward? Oh, Starix.
Yeah. Who hosts?
I mean, there was like, Starix was always like, he was here and there. He helped with the calling. He was like consistent. He never really had those like giant performances. There was just like this one time where he got like back-to-back, was it back-to-back aces or quad kills on Dust 2, holding from cars on long. Shit, actually, was that against Nip? I think that was against Nip like 2 years ago or something. That's what stands out though, right?
Okay.
He was never like this big high impact, I'm going to take over the game kind of opera like Guardian is. He was just kind of like, I'll get you a frag here and there kind of opera. I'm not going to say 5th level because that was pretty hard to reach, but Starix was pretty consistent, pretty solid.
Well then, NIP do capitalise on that round. It's a double spray down from Pyth that opened things up, and Freiberg going to continue his form here, taking down Seas, bringing it to a 5-on-4. It was a force spy from Navi actually. Now we can see they're kind of a little bit turbulent, running into all sorts of situations, running through smokes. It's not the Navi we're used to seeing, but Flamey making a case for them at least, and Freiberg finishes things off. And I feel like this game, even if NIP win, it might be a little bit of a hollow victory at this stage, but still, a win's a win in ED. They want to recover themselves.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Because right now, Nipper sitting 4-0 right now. That puts them, I think, second in the league.
Well, no,
so,
they're going to be 4-1 now. Right?
Yeah, well, exactly right.
Yeah.
They lost the one now, but if they could come back and actually end 5-1, that's a really solid scoreline for NIP, and that's going to be a kick in the teeth for Navi. They're just like
they're 3-3 right now.
They're just
actually like,
praying that Guardian comes back at some point here. I love
think
Starks to bits, but
I think the fact that they didn't really wait that long is like 10 minutes before they went in with Starx. I'm going to suggest he's not coming back.
well, it's probably just the admin at that point saying you guys got to go. You have a 6-man. He's here. It's just now I'm curious if it's Starks calling in game because he's the coach, and he's that 6-man, that caller for Navi typically. Is he actually doing that on the server now? Let's see. Get right, not interested in having any mercy whatsoever. He's just going to leave Starks alone. He made Starks watch all of his teammates die, all of his friends that he's known for years, and then he just left them, right? Some would say that that's having mercy. I would say that Get Right is a cruel son of a, for doing that to him. For doing that. Well, horrible.
He's going to continue it as well. I think I just saw another auto sniper purchase. Is that on the floor? Look, there's I can see rifles there. Yeah, the auto sniper's out. It exists. As we mentioned before, when they get rolling, he's one of the players that likes to bring that out.
And this is some OG exist as well, because that is one of the best lines to hold with the Scar 20.
Sure.
You hold it from CT spawn, looking at the A pit. You've got this great long line that the terrorists are going to have to try and cross to deal with you. And yeah, you see those smokes come down. Doesn't matter if you're blocked.
Or
you
flashed.
get your line going, and you just hold down mouse 1, tap, tap, tap. If you even get one tag with that auto sniper, that's more than enough. It's like having a scout.
Well then, looking like more mid-aggression coming in. Forest once again smoked out of position towards window, and they are going to be making their way up towards short. It seems actually have got control of underpass as well. It's going to be Seized coming out, looking towards connector, seeing if we can clear it out here. No smoke on the other side though. Oh, there it is. Going to be the best smoke, but it will do the job. And so let's clear this area out, smoking off the window again. It looks like they're resetting out toward a B play. As you can see the bomb. And Freiberg going through with that flashbang can do some massive work here. Gets one, answered back though by Zeus. He's going to come into a 4-on-4. We've lost Stamina again.
No. Game sound kind of went up somehow.
Okay, you looked panicked.
I was wondering. I'm like, damn, these AK spray is pretty loud. I can hardly hear Henry. I can hardly hear myself. That's not much of a problem. There's not much going on up here, but still, it's kind of important to just be able to hear your co-commentator in these sorts of situations. Right, Na'Vi, 35 seconds, and now it's going to come down to whether Edward can maybe pick up a kill here on the A site because they are rotating that bomb back here towards the pointy letter. I'm just waiting for that surprise moment where Exist gets to lay into somebody. It's like, surprise.
This is the thing. Forrest now, with the lack of utility.
Forrest, what are you doing,
I was about to say, he's got a perfect opportunity here to own it.
Why would you go up there?
Well, he fancied a change of pace, but Exist recovering the situation, brings it back to a 3-on-3, but going to be flashed out for now. It looks like the bomb may be able to get planted, actually for Connector as well, and CTs have no real presence here. It's a late rotation coming in from Pyth as well, so they've got to hold up here, but still no utility for the Ts. They need to just rely on pure crossfires and headshots to make this happen.
Curious to see if Exist will be as effective with the retake as Get Right was when he had the Scar 20. There's the deep flash onto Tetris. Flamey, full white. That gives Get Right the opening to get closer here to Sandwich. Starks holding the angle. Get Right picks up one, and just like that, flawless retake for NIP. Double kill for Exist, but it doesn't matter. It's all good in the end because Get Right and Pyth are there to get the job done.
It's an anticlimactic way to finish the half,
I agree.
And you can see that Navi were heavily affected by that. They just kind of resorted to just running through smokes and not really having much to work with. And I think Starx picked up 1 kill in the last 5 rounds he played.
Guardian is so key to Navi's play.
They based the whole setup around him. It's like the whole methodology of what they're doing is let's set out on the default. Guardian, make something happen. If you can't, we'll push forward, get some map control, try and make something else happen. As soon as you do, that's when we're going in. That's the whole thing. That's the whole setup. And they've got tactics of work around that as well. Unfortunately, if he goes at the server, it's kind of coming down to Flamies, and your Edwards to kind of open things up. And Flamey can do that role very well, but you saw him maybe a little bit frustrated, just running through the smokes and around, just trying to make something happen out of nowhere. Kind of as for, what's the point? Okay, I'll try and just do something here, boys. But they lose, what was it, the last 5 rounds or something in a row?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that went from being a fairly even match where Na'Vi could have really turned it around to NIP ending 10-5 again.
Indeed.
I mean, this time on the favored side at least, so they don't have. I mean, this should be like it's a good CT half, but it's not like a dominant CT half like 11-4 or 12-3. So I mean, if Na'Vi pick up the pistol, which is always possible when Edward is hitting headshots all over the place with the pistol in the pistol rounds, I mean, Na'Vi can still get themselves back into this game fairly quickly here. And okay, Starix is out, so I'm wondering if that means that Guardian is coming back in again.
Our boy's back. The hero Na'Vi need.
It's Na'Vi right now, yeah, they desperately need him. And they're going to take all of the time possible here in the halftime to give him a chance to get back in here. I mean, with that AWP, that's the thing. He not only is he key on T side, but on CT side, like what I was saying earlier, right? Guardian, he is instrumental for Na'Vi's mid-hold. Like, he just leaps out a window. He's constantly challenging, constantly changing up his angle. But when he gets on his game, he just turns into this aggressive, like, what is it, like a Rottweiler or something, just chasing down these ninja rabbits. And there's just not going to be anywhere to hide, right?
Ninja rabbits.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, he flushes them out into the open, and then it's just easy pickings, man. You put all that in a stew, and then Na'Vi eat well at night.
Okay, well, you've taken that as far as you could possibly go, I think. So we'll try and talk about what's going on here. Production, do we have any insight as to what's going on? Is Guardian on his way back? Do we know? Has anyone got any insight here? Oh, someone's back in. It's Starix. So maybe the hype is over.
So basically, I'll give another analogy here. You know, you saw the shape in the garage, the lights were off, you weren't quite sure what you saw when you were a kid, but it looked like a bike, right? You've been wanting a bike for years, and you're thinking it's this new 6-speed, shiny bike, right, that your daddy, like, broke the bank to buy for you, and you're like, I love you, Dad, and then it turns out you got the bike on Craigslist.
What? The second-hand, rusty, horrible, like, oh, okay. All right, well, I don't think that's... I don't think that's 100% fair. Like, Starix, he could turn up and do some work.
It's got 6 speeds.
It works. The pedals go round, right? Like the brakes.
It's got 6
one
gears.
Of the brakes are working. Like,
it's not a fixie. We'll put it that way, right? You know.
I use a fixie.
See, Get Right. No, not Get Right. Guardian would be a fixie, man. He only goes at 1 speed, either 0 or I'm in your face wrecking you, right? Like there's no in between there.
Okay. What about the BMX?
The BMX.
So it's like quite extravagant, lots of tricks.
No, you see, Kenny and JW would be the BMX. Man.
Yeah,
they're the
right.
guys who are getting off that ramp doing like 360.
Yeah,
I don't know what they call them anymore, Ninja Turtle flip, whatever. But like those guys
good,
with the op, JW and Kenny, they are like the BMX bikes of CS:GO. If we're going to go really far here, if we're going to go deep.
And finally, the unicycle.
Who didn't?
I was wondering which player you were going to go with there. That's kind of perfect. Nice work.
You set him up, Henry. I'm going to knock him down,
knock him
bro.
down every time. Perfect. Well, then, hopefully we're getting into this one. It's going to be 10-5. You're just joining us wherever you've been. You missed the cracker of a first map. It was Train.
I felt like showing some. I thought it'd been a while since we've given Hunden anything, and I felt like I'd have some mercy. Unlike Get Right, I'm a merciful soul.
Yep.
I thought we'd give Adren a break.
That's where I thought you were going to go with that. To be
I
fair.
thought we'd give him a break, maybe
that's
just take the foot off the pedal.
When I set that up, I thought, I know where he's going to go with this. But, you
Too
have to-
easy, man. Too easy. We gotta have some depth to it.
Yeah, indeed. Well then, we are looking like we're getting into this one. Ladies and gentlemen, second half. It's going to be 4 sets of armor for both teams. Flamey will have the kits and the HE grenade, very much as they did on Train as well. We'll look at NIP. 4 sets of armor, and they've got a P250 dropped for Forest as well. So smoke goes down, and looking like they're maybe favouring towards B. Maybe quite a fast approach as well.
Hello. Long range, right onto Starix. No luck for him. And Starix is also playing. He's trying to replace Guardian, basically. He's trying to play Guardian's positions right now, so fortunately he's not as quick, but that was like the slowest lurk I've seen in a while. Pyth, what were you doing, bro? Oh, I see. He was probably expecting the flash from Freiburg or something? Or he was expecting Freiburg to be holding the angle and Freiburg was out of position?
I have no idea. That was really kind of strange. They went towards B, all of them at the start. They kind of fell back. But Get Right, of course, lugs his way in towards window here and taking down Starix. He was the low HP player, so brings things back into a 4-on-4. And all of a sudden, the CTs now need to work out how they're going to respond to this. One player towards ladder room trying to take him down from the vents here, but
Look at all this work that Get Right's doing. This is incredible.
pulls
He's got
everyone.
3 players
Kind of
focused on him.
bringing them all in.
Like, right now, the rest of NIP need to be playing off of this. Seized all the way back in CT spawn. Edward on short. Now they're back in position. So now NIP actually have to deal with a little bit of the firepower here from Na'Vi on this take. But there's Seized getting his headshot. He's still alive in kitchen. That buys time for the rotation to come in from his mates because the bomb hasn't even been planted. And it's not likely it's going to happen, especially when Seized is there to dome exist at the end. Get Right. What more does the man have to do to give you the opening?
To be fair, right? Like, he's kind of hoping that he can get into a position where he's got that first kill
Yeah.
and he can stay alive for as long as possible, right? Like, he doesn't need to do anything with it. He's hoping that he can get the rotation. But you're absolutely right. When he gets that position, that's when they should be going because that's when they're so worried about Get Right and he's getting so much attention there, right? Everyone's kind of trying to pincer him in. That's when you should be going, but you should just be taking control of that situation right away, getting in the bomb site, getting the bomb down. But they waited a little bit too long and it didn't even get planted in the end, I don't think. So,
No, they didn't. They got hard denied there.
yeah.
Which prompts the force buy out of NIP. Okay. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this. Again, I would like them to be prioritizing nades so they can go into
Do you
a
know
full
what? They're
execute.
probably doing this now. Do you think, quick, let's do it before Guardian gets back. let's get as much done as we possibly can, take every risk, and make sure we get all these rounds.
And you're right, they go for a boost just to Starix. They're like, Starix is going to be playing window. Okay, we know where to go, guys.
Get him. And it's working.
How long has it been since Starix, stepped onto a DM server, right?
Well, you don't know.
Probably a while.
Like, I think we all enjoy playing CS time to time.
That's a very loose definition. At matchmaking, does it count as playing CS, or does it count as like self-flagellation? I'm not sure. I'm still not sold on that.
Well, Flamey will be the last player remaining, and as I mentioned, I'm not surprised they're doing this. Probably just want to take advantage of as many rounds as they possibly can, while the world's best AW player is not available. He's otherwise engaged.
This is maddening for Na'Vi. How incredibly frustrating. If all of the players, like if any of these other players on Na'Vi drop out, it's like, okay, it's not the end of the world, guys. We can still pull through here. And Guardian, maybe that just like unlocks his like full potential and he goes ham. They don't even have their star.
Well,
Starix, bro.
Do you feel like they've got... Oh, hello. A force buy from Navi as well.
I think that Na'Vi are realizing that they're in dire straits right now.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're just confident. So you're going to EKOs, we're going to do it straight back. Scout onto Seized. Starix with that CZ. And we've got the Max 7 on towards Zeus. He's getting towards lower ramp right now.
Do they have the flash setup? Yes, they do. Edward is there. But Edward's on short, so it's not going to be a flash setup for short. Or rather for Pit here, as we see Zeus is posted up. It's Seized instead looking up. And Edward is on the hunt right now, but he's going to hold passive. Hoping that Exist gets impatient, perhaps tries to push down here with that lethal range of the CZ-75. This is money time. There's the flash. Edward's so quick. He turns away. He gets the kill, but then he has to know. He has to know that somebody else is going to be. Where did that flash come from, Edward? I guess he thought that Exist threw it himself.
Refred does come in from Forest, brings it down to the 4-on-4, and you can see so much time to play with, so much utility. NIP make their way towards the A-bomb site. I'd be surprised if they didn't do some sort of simple execution here. Just a smoke towards the steps and jungle and a couple of flashbangs over just to kind of eradicate that being a possibility. They don't need to do too much. They've obviously got the rifle advantage here. Freiberg can be the recon player as well going in first. We'll see how they approach this. Get right going towards Palace as well. But there are 3 CTs towards the A-bomb side right now. And Zeus, he could be deadly here at close range. And Flame is actually the one to open it up.
Oh, yeah, right there. And Freiberg with the follow-up back 10. Point blank onto Zeus. So they still maintain control here, NIP. 2 players in apartments. I mean, there is the scout, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue unless they block each other. And then you got problems. Freiberg is going to take out Starix, but still, they're both so very low here. It's possible for Cease to pull something off with that scout if he gets into a clever position. If he can find a way to work his way through here. He's got that jump ability, as you guys can see. He's trying to make use of that, find that angle. But at this point, all Nip have to do, yeah, exactly. So hold passive as could be, not give him any targets, and that's so frustrating.
Well, the thing is as well, Navi are only at 1 stage loss bonus, right? So they're only going to be getting, what, $1,900 next round? And they've currently got 0 in most of their bank accounts, so this could potentially mean a double eco coming in. And the scoreline's currently 12-6. And Starx currently on 1 for 7. I feel like this is getting to the point of no return, maybe for Navi.
Wait, can we go back to Forest real quick? Oh, yeah.
What are we looking at?
I don't know. I was just admiring the skin.
What skin was it, out of interest? I could hook you up.
It's the best skin
Yeah?
in the world.
What is it?
You can hook me up with it?
Yeah,
Thanks,
man, I'm a
thanks,
very
man.
powerful man.
Yeah. It's going to break the bank.
Yeah, okay.
It's the cartel skin, of course. All right.
Of course.
Let's see. So match pause. I guess really this is Navi's last-ditch effort.
Yeah,
They're like,
it's
take the
like-
tactical pause.
Starix, you got to kill someone, bro. Come on.
What I mean, hey, at least he's not pulling a James Bond, right? It's not a James Bond. It could have been worse. But yeah, you're right. I mean, just this is, yeah, what can you do if you're Navi? Guardian, what is happening? How in the hell did Guardian get caught?
Well, should I have a quick look on Twitter, see if I can get some information?
Sure, go for it, dude. I won't judge you.
I can keep talking as well. I'm just going to go on Guardian's Twitter. I'm sure there'll be some information going on as to what is going down right now.
How does it feel to be Matt?
It's like, this is like, it's strange. Let's have a look. Guardian CSGO. He doesn't really tweet that much. He hasn't tweeted it in like a day or something. So, keeping his cards close to his chest, apparently.
Just doesn't want to give the man satisfaction, right? This is like a throwback to the old days, man, of like every map getting DDoSed, every map taking twice as long as it should because one guy gets
like,
to drop and then another
It's
guy
where you
drops
began,
and-
like on online CS, right?
Oh,
and kind
man.
of like the grind of every single game being DDoS. I never really went through this. I never experienced it.
Exactly. You were here for like the glory days. You just showed up and said, "Oh, you guys did all." You know, it's basically like we built the house and you just moved into the house, Henry. That's kind of how it worked.
I moved into the basement.
No. Yeah, you kidding me, bro? You're up in that penthouse. You know, you got that wall that's just a window, and you're looking out over everything. And you're just like, yeah, it's good to be here. And then Anders and I are basically like dirt covered Vendetta 2. You know, just dirt covered. Like,
Back in the day.
it's done. It's done.
Yeah, I've never
It's
actually.
not quite done though.
Okay.
It's not quite done. Now we got $1 million majors. We thought that it was done last year. Now we got multi-million-dollar leagues, $1 million majors. I mean, this has turned into a mansion,
Well,
a castle.
maybe we can get our own real life one instead of a proverbial one. We could all move in together.
Don't get my hopes up. You did this to me once already.
Oh no, don't. I've
You
opened a
dick.
can of worms now.
Are you sure you want to go down the track?
No, I
So
forget.
for those of you wondering, Henry was supposed to move to Stockholm.
Yes.
I was looking forward to having a bro to talk CS with since Fifth Lauren moved away. And then he's like, "Oh, nah, bro. I know I've been keeping you waiting for months, but I'm actually going to stay here in London. I got a friend. His place just opened up. I actually really appreciate the UK." It's like, okay, traitor.
Could I defend myself
Okay.
for 5 seconds? So the
One.
amount of time I'm away.
2.
Okay, the amount of time I'm away, I'm not going to ever be there to meet any friends apart from you. We work together anyway. So I see you pretty much every week anyway, so let's be fair. It's not like you're going to miss me.
But I want to see you every day,
every
Henry.
day. It's come.
I want more out of this relationship.
Well, I'm sorry I haven't been there for you recently. I've been casting minors and fun events, and now I'm back. I'm back to serious stuff. I'm ready.
Is that some kind of like roundabout jab at ESL or something? Like, I've been casting
No,
fun
I've
events.
been no, I've done.
Don't worry, man. It doesn't mean
I
it,
did the
doesn't mean
minor,
it.
and I meant APM as the fun events. And then Barcelona was a very fun event. I obviously had top teams there. Is what I meant.
Barcelona was pretty sick. I actually
Yeah.
watched some of it this time. I didn't really get to watch Gamescom much, but Barcelona was pretty sick, man.
I liked it that the crowds were ready for the maps this time. That was good.
Fnatic.
Guardian's back.
So
Oh, he's not back right now, but he is coming back.
glorious.
He's in the car. They're delivering him, the VIP.
That's right. In the back of the limo.
Okay, so this is what's going on here. YC's got a weapon. Did he save last round? I can't
Yes, sir,
remember.
he did.
Yes, he did. Okay.
He managed to get into underpass.
That's
where
right.
There was that Moss chilling.
So, like I said, this is only second stage Lost Benison. Not really much to work with apart from that Famous. And Guardian has dropped in on the server. He's being deployed.
Oh, how must this feel?
But Starix has to play this round out. Currently 1-7, trying to finish things off and maybe get 2 frags here. Get right, make his way out towards Shadow. Gets a first frag, but Flamey takes him down. That silence USP, looking very strong. That's a nice shot from him. And you have to feel like, why was Get Right doing that by himself? I guess he's only got the Mac 10 and is trying to work out whether there was a stack towards
exactly.
A. And he's kind of established that now. And this is kind of interesting for an IP. Obviously, the CT's probably thinking, oh, they know there's a stack here now. Everyone get to B. But actually, they're going to go into A. And there's Edward pushing out as well. The rotation started to come in, and now NIP can just walk into
Navi don't know what to think now. Like, hey, is it going to be A? Is it going to be B? Was that just a guy alone?
Starix is going to be like spearing at this. He's just like, I just went full eco and Guardian's back this round. I could have bought a pistol. I could have done something with this. I'm going to leave the server on 1-7 and just tarnish my name.
Well, well, hold on. We'll hold off making a Starix joke. See if he can actually make this work. They realize there's the stack, and unfortunately, Starix. Look at that.
Help.
At least they give him a Viking funeral. At least they look out. NIP, the Swedes that they are, they understand. For a fallen warrior who's going to be clearing out fairly soon, this is the least they could do.
An honourable death. And there we go. It's going to be the 13th round coming in for NIP. Just Siege remaining. He did save that Famous, and you feel like the position he's in, he might survive. He might be able to get an AK and upgrade and shoot off to underpass, but Pyth hunting him down. You can see that vent's not broken, but he is considering it. He's going to spot the feet here. Can see the kneecaps. And that triggered discipline, though. He's got up his sleeve here.
You're right. That was very, very nice. Very nice. If he can survive this, and it looks like the rest of NIP are going to be clearing out through CT where they know it's safe. Now the question, this begs the question, does he try and pull the trigger? Does he try and catch somebody out here, really make it expensive for NIP? I mean, I can only see him being in the kind of like that one and done situation, right? Where he'll pick up the 1 kill, maybe if he's lucky. Or he might just die horribly. Yes, he will.
Why do that? Like, you're so committed to that stage when you've gone through the vent. The best you can get is a kill, and then you're just going to keep the Famous anyways. It's $300, right? And he's at the port. So I assume this is the substitution, and Guardian will be jumping in the server.
Whoa!
What's happened?
Wait, no, that's really smart.
Okay.
Nicely done, Starix. Nicely done.
Wait, so...
He just dropped the Starix. So Guardian comes back in here. He's not going to have any money. So, wait. How does this work? Because if Guardian comes back in here
right?
and Starix leaves, then, yeah, he's going to be at like 800, right? Starting money. And so what Starix did is he dropped a gun for Guardian.
Is that cool, though? Is that fine?
I wonder. That's a little bit of a gray area.
Like, I guess it's fine. I mean, Starix is back.
What the hell? Well, Starix is back.
Confusing.
I don't know if we're happy about seeing Starix back, though. Is that a good thing?
1 for 8. He does seem ready to make the comeback, but...
Apparently it's a coach issue now that's stopping us from getting Guardian into this. But yeah, I mean, that's actually really interesting. I mean, considering Guardian would probably have like similar money, he'd be able to force up after the eco. So at least, Starix isn't saying, okay, well, we got to like reset Guardian's money or anything like that. He can come onto the server and just pick up a gun.
I don't know how VSCA works. We have like an e-bot sort of style thing where we can kind of go back to certain situations. This looks really confusing. This is like a logistical nightmare.
This is where
you got a coach coming in.
That guy just gave up on life, right? He's so frustrated with this situation. He's just like, screw it.
Maybe we need to talk about a little bit more news or something. This could take a while. But
the majors. There's also Mongols not being able to make it.
Yeah, that's obviously a big part of it.
Heartbreaking.
Another grey area. A lot of teams. Is Splice replacing them now?
Yeah, apparently it is. Well, Splice are in. Renegades were already in. That was actually like a little bit of a discussion going on Twitter earlier with the Renegades owner Monte Cristo, where he's saying, let us play a best of 3 to sort out the seed. So who gets the higher seed, right? That first seed or that second seed. But looking at the groups, I mean, yes, obviously it's like, okay, let them play the seed out, and maybe it sorts out who gets the higher seed and who the lower seed. But it doesn't really change out like the balance of the groups, because both of the groups that both Renegades and Splice are in are very even. We're talking about the MLG qualifiers that are coming up this weekend for the major in Columbus. We'll have, basically we'll be figuring out 8 teams that are going to fail to make it into the $1 million tournament, and 8 teams that will succeed.
Have you watched much of Splice at all? I think I cast some very early PGL
Arya
days.
has been around for a while.
I remember Davey and Professor Chaos, and I think Abe
Professor Chaos as well. Yeah,
we cast in very early PGL days when we were doing the insane.
It was very early PGL days. It was also I think Arya was definitely at the last ESCA LAN, like the one that was held in like the DoubleTree or whatever that hotel is called in Dallas.
Yeah.
So I mean. that's where I got to meet Arya. That was also when Lex was there. I'm just blanking on the name of the team that they were in. I think it was Luminosity. That was Luminosity back in the day, before obviously the Brazilians took over.
Indeed.
Before even Devil Walk moved over, or Pyth.
I think we're okay. The game's looking like Guardian's actually in the server. He has $0, which would make sense. That kind of, if he comes with 0, that balances out what's happened, right? Because then he can justify. He had the
Wait a second.
Oh, we got.
Oh wow. Okay, so they're actually replaying Starks giving up, or Guardian giving up on life. Thank you for that. Okay, never mind. But yeah, Splice. I don't know, man. Splice is just. I'm not expecting like really big things from Splice.
I don't think
anybody is really.
To be fair, like no disrespect, but I don't. For some,
they just don't have the
predictions
level,
top 8, yeah.
and their group is actually pretty. I mean, you've got Vex, you've got CLG, if I'm not mistaken, in their group, and SK.
Yeah.
And it is not going to be a fun group for them to be in at all.
Well, we are back into it. Guardian has an AWP as well. No armor, but they are back. It's 13-6 in favor of NIP, but this is where Navi can turn things around. Now, seeing as a star player has made it back onto the server. We're jumping in ourselves.
And Nip, just trying to measure things out here, figure out where they need to go. I mean, if ever there was a time for Guardian to come alive, this is it. He has to do something big here with that AWP. Well, Get Right finds Zeus. That's not going to help things. A little bit more pressure on Guardian's shoulders. Guardian, as if you didn't have to carry hard enough. Bro, now you need to do it 4v5.
It's a very happy-esque play from Get Right. The fact that he's just in Palace by himself, he's so confident in his own ability, and this kill is going to mean everything. If Get Right had gone down there, it gives him something to work. He could have picked up a rifle after falling Get Right, but looking like NIP will be moving back in towards A. Looking at their utility, they've got one smoke, a few flashbangs, and a Molotov. It's been more of a contact player, I'd imagine. He's trying to work a pick here, but Flamey, Guardian, and C's waiting. But look at this, though. He's actually in underpass, waiting for those rotations, listening for footsteps. He could be the thorn in their side here.
It's too late, though, for them to rotate around, I guess. But Exist, he's hearing that rotation come in, and he's looking to play. Yeah, exactly. He's looking for that big play. He's going to take out C's, draw attention to himself, but Guardian, Edward, Flamey, everybody chiming in here. And NIP, they get wiped off the face of the planet. That's what I'm trying to say.
He got that in the end.
But Guardian, 2 kills for him from CT. And it looks like that single smoke. Where did it go? It looked like it blocked off jungle.
Yeah.
So, bad choice, basically. It's like a gamble. Where's Guardian going to be playing from? Window or...
As soon as he gets back on the server, look at the difference.
It's just like instantly 2 kills, right?
So Starks is here. He got, what, 1 for 8?
You know what's going to happen, bro?
What?
There's going to be balance in the universe.
Okay.
Starks went 0-7 or 1-7. Guardian will go 7-1.
Okay. Well, so far he's at... Can he keep his own score? Yeah, he's
He's at
2-0.
He's at 2-0 right now. 5 kills. For a player like Guardian, perfectly acceptable. All the flashes in the world, and Seized has no idea what hit him. Unluckily for Forrest, though, Edward is holding close to sight, so he's going to be able to get the drop on him. That's the bomb down right here on the B side as well, so the rotation is going to come out, but not before Flamey picks off the lurker. That's Get Right dead. So now, Navi have to know that the rest of NIP are going to be moving in, but they have no idea what to expect, and they have no idea that Exist is going to be joining the party for a quick snack over here in kitchen.
That's a really nice play from Exist. They're getting to the window, getting through the vent undetected as well, takes down Guardian, and now Edward and Zeus with it all to play for. They're both committed towards B. They have got the bomb, though, so that's the one thing they've got going for them here. They may have the man disadvantage, but Edward patrolling the B apartments right now, and Zeus is kind of backing him up from the van as well. The problem is, players coming from short, players coming from kitchen, going to have to lock down one area, and it's going to be the apartments for them this time. Loads of time for an IP to play with.
Yeah, at least they have 50 seconds. They have a smoke as well to try and eliminate an angle.
This is so hard to look at Edward's position. Like, this is actually the perfect setup now. Like,
There's the flick.
Okay.
Misses it. Freiberg spots on short, so Zeus is there to hold that. Problem is that Zeus is now compromised. They're going to start pushing onto that site from kitchen. Yeah, exactly. He's going to have a little bit of trouble here just staying alive behind Van. So he was able to get off a balcony. That was the important bit. Now that shot has to come through from Edward, and he is just not going to manage it. Exist and Pyth ruthlessly hunt them down.
Yeah, nice little play there from NIP. Jumping across that window. Had that player gone down, that could have been the round over, but they managed to survive, work out where he was, and they can adjust accordingly from that point. Make sure they're approaching at the same time. The opponent can only fire 1 shot at a time, right? So as soon as he's facing, you're taking him down. Zeus getting himself stuck behind that van area, and after winning 1 round and losing the subsequent, that's the full reset coming in. So you can see how this has affected them. Of course, they're doing a force buy here. CZs, Mag 7s, but NIP in touching distance now of map points. So that Star X phase definitely boosting them here a little bit.
No, yeah, they definitely caught a lucky break there for NIP. So if Guardian is here at the beginning of the half and they get rolling, Navi.
Yeah, of course.
Really, really, really scary situation. Luckily for Seized, he doesn't have to be worried about anything ever again. He is gone.
Eternal sleep.
That's it, man. The slumber. From which you do not wake. Into the great dark. And Pyth, maybe he's going to send Zeus as well. Or maybe he'll join him.
Well, it would be quite fitting at this stage. The team don't really have much to work with. No utility apart from... Zeus has got one smoke. And Edward with the full investment. He's got the Mag 7. But NIP, all 5 players alive. 1 minute to play with. Looking like it's going to be another A take once again. And we'll be get right, of course, in those Palace apartments. Making sure he can get the opening frag. But he's got Flamey waiting for him with the CZ. And there is going to be Edward in the lower ramp with the Mag 7 as well. Can only be really good for 1 kill here, surely.
That was a little surprising. Exist just not even checking that angle. Flamey so close to getting the point blank headshot there. That might have made the difference. But now it means that they'll be able to move out onto this site. No problem at all. Freiburg opens up on Zeus. And Guardian now with the dig. Misses the shot. Pyth, he's not strafing. He was going back at like a diagonal angle, and that really messed with Guardian's head there. Would have been perfect if Pyth was just strafing side to side.
15 plays 7.
15-7.
$2,000 to play with.
And
Can
what
you
do?
Can you find it in you to win these rounds and get 8 in a row and draw this out?
If this was like 2013 Nip, and not in this situation, and not Na'Vi, obviously, I'd say, yeah, bro, it's fine. Or Fnatic. I mean, if it was Fnatic, I could also say, yeah, they got a chance. Unfortunately, it's Na'Vi. And, it seems like Nip are a bit too hot to handle right now.
Right now, in this certain situation, yes, I would say this is pretty much over.
But then again, they got 10-5 on train.
Calling them out.
Calling them out, and they still successfully lost that map, so...
Oh, okay. Exist goes to the face and B apartment says Siege punishes him, rips his head off, comes down to a 4-on-4. And Zeus actually doing work here as well. It seems like that solo lurk coming from Get Right towards really not working out for him. Now they're able to salvage an AK, the Scout, the Mag 7. This is actually kind of interesting for Navi.
No, and he actually manages to fall back as well, so changing up the position. Now Nip have no idea what the setup is here on this A site, so they're going to have to guess, they're going to have to gamble. Luckily for them, they have some utility to make their lives easier, so no Zeus in the sandwich. It's going to be Zeus in the CT that they have to deal with instead. And Guardian with the dig. And Guardian, man, he's just powering forward, and there we go, boy! Gets the first headshot. Could be getting the second as well here. Forrest, he's going to get scoped up, and he just annihilates Guardian with the AWP. Guardian is like, I wish I had one too. Forrest is like, I'm turning into Raheem here or something. I'm just like, but bam!
They should do. I feel like you could improve your casting with that kind of stuff. That's the only thing you're
think
missing
so?
right now. Yeah, a bit of sound effects, some little bit of noises and stuff.
Right.
That was the prime opportunity.
Oh, right.
You didn't take it. Come on.
I just can't channel it that way, man. It doesn't work that way.
No? Okay.
Has to, it's like boop. That's my sound effect, right? But then that has to be like you have to see it coming.
Okay.
And eventually the guy just walks into the crosshair and bam, right?
And we can make a similar soundboard, and then we can make an app out of it, and we start making money out of it.
And then it winds up on Take TV someday.
Exactly. Indeed. We could be using it on the sofa one day. Anyway, we're back into this one. And Navi somehow avoiding death there with Mag 7s and CZs. We thought it was pretty much impossible, but of course, they find a way there. And it's going to be a lovely shot there from Get Right to take down Guardian. That's actually a kind of a sick approach when that smoke goes down. That's very unpredictable. I like that.
I like that a lot, too. I like that a little less. But that was sick from Get Right. That was some of his old artistry coming into play for sure. Flamey making sure that they can't push him down. He's going to get the long distance spray. Could get the second as well, but he can't control the spray well enough. And Python exists, bringing it back. One frag at a time. Pyth full flash is going to make it interesting for us. Because now with a minute, well...
Edward's been so sick in these kind of situations recently.
He has.
Dude. Like, especially like in Minx and stuff like that. We saw him. He's just stepping up his game in these such situations. When this guy's alive, you kind of feel like he can win his 2-on-1s all day long. He does another one just then.
Oh, Edward, you saucy minx.
Yeah, well, he's ready, man. He seems like he's actually doing that on train as well. He's winning those key rounds. Actually locked NIP out of the game and actually denied them the victory. So, let's see how we go. As it looks like Navi are actually getting into double digits. That's when it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable.
I agree. I mean, just especially if they can maintain control of Nip's economy. A little bit of a shot through the wall there, but Zeus is, there to get the easy kill in. Double dunk nade. Yes, please. Just slaughter outright. Closed quarters with the HE going off in their face. That did a lot of damage, but they're not going to be able to make it out in one piece. Flying through the air. It's seized.
And what a fantastic job he did with the MP9 as well.
Indeed. Now, 5 rounds separate these teams.
Let's slowly but surely. I'm calling overtime, Zemler.
You're calling overtime?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to happen.
I mean, Guardian is feeling pretty groovy right now. He didn't
Yeah.
go 7-1-1. I kind of cursed him, but he still got 5 frags.
I think this might actually be a thing. I mean, 'cause we've seen so many teams in this position. We saw it from Dignitas at the weekend as well. I think they were 15-10 at one point against Fnatic, and it can happen. It looks unlikely at some points, but it definitely can happen.
How maddening would that be? And now it's Forrest to try and take control of this issue. Nate is going to go past him, but that gives him just a little bit of information, perhaps, as to where C's was playing from. And now he's waiting for the Van Peek, perhaps. He sees that angle, and he misses the shot. C's jumps up, basically gifts himself to Forrest. Absolutely the worst way to peek that position. And well, now Forrest is in a bit of a tight spot. He's going to have to fall back. C's chasing him with bullets, and he gets out of there with 2 HP. Way too close for Forrest. Now, what would be next level is if Zeus had actually been wall-banging through. How sick would that have been, but...
Python's managed to get towards ladder room right now, so at least they have something to work with here in terms of like pushing back the window players as well. You can see Edward, it looks like he's actually aware of the situation as well. He's going to be flashing towards middle there. Oh, Forrest taking down C's. He was low HP as well, coming back with 2 and making that work for himself. Edwards now jumped out towards the window. He's actually got himself in a very strong position there as Exist, just kind of napping in towards the connector area there. He gets taken down. It's a 4-on-4, but NIP committing towards the B site. Zeus, though, why is no one checking that? That's crazy. He's going to pick up a couple of frags here. Actually, only gets 1 for his troubles. Freiburg takes him down, and B bomb site is open for business now.
That was Forrest as well, and Forrest only had like the 2 HP, so best to lose Forrest. He goes in first. He gets the info on Zeus, and they trade effectively. Now they can set up the Triangle of Doom here on the B site. Edward is already up on short, though, so comes down to timing here for Na'Vi. What are they waiting on? Waiting to see if somebody on Nip gets antsies, tries to go for a peek. They have a couple of flashes to facilitate things here as well, so we'll see when those come into play. But for now, it's going to be Flamey just pushing forward. Straight up YOLO, no fear.
Okay.
And, well, it's now he's got nothing to be afraid of. You're right. Guardian is going to be the last man alive here in a 1v3, and pretty impressive that his teammates are already leaving the server. But Crossfire and hardly any time to defuse. This should be impossible for him. Missing the shot as well isn't going to help. And that will be it. 16-10 win for NIP here on the second map of this best of 2.
Interesting scenes. Obviously, a little bit of a damn squib, I would say, considering we had the he's a manager jumping in and coming in. And
I know. I was pretty happy to see Starix in the server.
Yeah.
I don't think that Na'Vi were very happy to see Starix in the server. But I was a little happy to see Starix in the server. So, you know, it brought back, you know, the memories of actually a very similar Starix. You know,
good old times.
Good old times. A stroll down memory lane.
But there it is.
A ride on a bicycle.
Get Right actually finished on like 25 frags at the end. He had a very strong game.
That's 2 maps in a row that Get Right has actually stood up tonight. So Forrest, he didn't show up in such a hard fashion.
On Mirage, he was very quiet indeed. Like you saw his AWPing not really working out too much on the CT side. Like he's being very passive, kind of a bit caged, and wasn't having that dynamic style, having a huge impact. And he swapped over to a rifle, and they kind of recovered it and looked a little bit stronger. But there it is. Unfortunately, after Guardian does drop out, it's a pretty simple affair for NIP, and it's going to end things 1-1 in this first series.
1-1, so that puts up NIP, what, 5-1 now? So pretty much tied with Fnatic, actually, for the leaderboard.
Na'Vi like 4-4 as well, so they've just not really changed.
So good stuff, good stuff. Now we're going to have another series coming for you guys, obviously. There's actually 2 more best of 2s coming up tonight, so be sure to be here. We'll be just a couple of minutes here with a quick break, and then we'll be coming back with the guys who are equally uncaged, the analyst desk. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Counter-Strike Go Pro League, ESL, of course. So, let's talk about that one briefly, and I do mean briefly. Na'Vi, NIP, we could probably skip over Mirage because, frankly, that was a bit of a mess. Guardian obviously having internet issues and couldn't be in there for the moment. Starix trying to rekindle some of his youth, but sadly not to be. But let's just skip straight past Mirage and let's go straight back to Train, because that's really where the action happened. We thought NIP started brilliant. Forrest pulled out an ace in the second round. It was like, here we go, this is it. We said Forrest had to deliver, and he almost did, but they fell apart when they got to the CT side.
Yeah, which is really surprising to me as well, because we talked about how we haven't seen too much of NIP playing Train or playing at all with the new lineup. But what we saw from them last week versus Dignitas, their CT side was where they did most of the work. So I was going into that thinking, wow, they might be able to do it. They got off to such a strong start. You mentioned the Forest Ace and the Eco round. So I was thinking to myself, well, okay, we're actually going to see NIP kind of trounce Na'Vi here, and that's going to bode well going into the second map. And I don't even know what happened properly on that CT side, because they just fell apart. Obviously, largely due to the fact that Na'Vi had an extremely solid T side on that map. But that was it felt like kind of like the Mouse Sports NIP games we saw yesterday, where NIP probably should have closed that train, but weren't able to do it.
Yeah, I think Edward was really good for Na'Vi. I think he got a lot of big important rounds, big important kills. They just kind of just shut him down on the main 5 rounds that they won on CT. I feel like he actually got most of the big kills, like a big opening important kills, and then they just, I guess, on T side, on T side, Na'Vi just trampled it really. It was impressive, lots of big strats, and it was just like there's nothing Nick could really do.
Well, you guys don't forget to get involved with the Score Esports app as well. You can obviously get that online, iOS or Google